Big Cat, you're a winner. I'm a winner. I have a quarterback. None of you have a quarterback. I have a quarterback.
I have a quarterback.
When are they going to get a quarterback?
We have a quarterback.
You boys did the same thing when Justin Fields got drafted. Now you're doing it again.
Doesn't matter.
Super Bowl,
take the Trubisky jerseys, take the Field jerseys, throw them in the lake.
They got dreams of winning this. We got nightmare. We're the
We've had teams all night, and you guys are the first negative fans we've had.
It's been 23 years since we won a freaking playoff game.
24.
You're damn right we're negative.
Isn't this the part where we're supposed to boo and be really upset?
I mean, the Saints have a lot of needs.
Do we? You're talking to Cam Jordan.
I feel great. I'm just on so much testosterone right now.
Drag it, Sean.
Chug it.
There you go, babe.
Go.
There we
yes,
go.
Sir.
That was a good shot. I haven't heard that, but if Jerry says that's a picture.
It is a pic. I got it straight from the owner.
What kind of fragrances do you rock, Dana?
What kind of fragrances do I like? What the are we talking about here?
From the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, I present to you Dave Portnoy. You're not on the team.
Well, Brady, Belichick, Portland.
And here we go again, the 2025 Barstool Sports NFL Draft Show. We are back again. The boys are here, presented by DraftKings. To my left, I am so pleased. My thing fell out of my ear already. I am so pleased to announce Super Bowl winning fan Stephen Shea is here with me. It is awesome to have him. And for the first time, John Gruden.
Thanks.
Coach?
Fired up to be here. I love this night.
You love this shit, huh?
I do. I love being with you guys up here. Let's have a great draft, man.
Yeah, what a fall from grace for you. Next to me and Stephen Shea, just a couple of fucking idiots.
Well, no comment on that.
This is a huge night, NFL draft, big time. You've been through this many times on the other side. What does it feel like for you guys? You get butterflies and shit, or you just want to work?
Well, I was telling Steven, you do all the preparation. See, there goes my glasses.
It's all falling apart.
You spend a lot of money and time getting all this information. The preparation is extensive. Now tonight, you got to present that preparation. You got to go make the picks, make some trades, get the guys you think you need that are going to really develop your future.
Well, we are doing the NFL Draft Show, brought to you by DraftKings. Of course, the draft is here. And if you love the game as much as we do, we have a killer deal for you. Head over to DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers who bet $5 will instantly score $200 in bonus bets. That means with just a small bet, you're loaded with extra power to back your predictions and cheer on your picks. Whether you're watching the draft or gearing up for the season, this is your chance to join in the action. Download the DraftKings app right now. Sign up using code BarstoolDraft. The crown is yours. Now, I have this big segment I'm going to do, the DraftKings First Instinct segment. We're going to get to it. But first, right before the show, Stephen, you turned to Coach Gruden and said, actually, I met you about 15 years ago at the draft, and he looked at you and went, huh, tell that story again, please.
not crazy excited, but I went to the draft every year from 2005 to 2012. I missed a year for a bachelor party, but it was the highlight of the Bucs. A lot of those times were picking fairly high, in which case I was very, very invested that it could be a franchise-changing player that we're picking. And it was in New York City. I lived in New York City. It was a free event.
Right.
Very fun. Imagine this. Cold winter.
Should be
easy. You're getting through it. You finally get your first nice day in April, and you're going to go stand outside with 2,000 of your best buddies wearing football jerseys, talking ball for the first time in months. Great, great time. Tickets were free. You get to go in. You get the headsets. You're listening to the ESPN or NFL broadcast. And then, you see Super Bowl winning coach John Gruden. I was a Bucs fan. I remember I caught you right before basically I was on a barrier. You were going making a quick bathroom run, a commercial break. I wanted to say hi.
And Coach, what are your memories of that incredible occasion?
Well, I think I don't remember much of that, but I was doing the draft for ESPN at that time.
Yep.
I wasn't coaching the Bucs.
Yep.
But I think I do remember you. You're one of those
No,
faces you'll
come
never
on.
forget, ever.
You do not remember him. That's not a thing.
No, I don't.
Anyway, all right, it is the First Instinct segment brought to you by DraftKings. So First Instinct tonight, we have a draft class that is, maybe possibly on the weak side. There aren't the huge waves of big-time talent coming in that we think so far, but maybe those are the drafts that surprise you. But Coach, if I lay the entire draft out to you and I want your first instinct, what is the first thing that stands out about this draft for you?
Well, this is a different draft because these players were impacted by COVID, and they've been impacted by the transfer portal and NIL. A lot of these guys are on their third team, so the reps has been watered down. A lot of these guys don't have spring practice. They haven't been in the same system for multiple years. I don't think this is a real strong draft. I think there's a lot of good prospects, but a lot of unfinished prospects because of the circumstances.
Steven, what's the number one thing that sticks out to you about this draft?
The lack of sizzle, mainly due to the quarterback position. Like Shedeur Sanders is the big name in this draft, and both guys sitting next to me don't think he's going to go in the first round. Cam Ward is the presumptive number one overall pick. That's all but officially announced by the NFL in Tennessee. But after that, is there going to be a second quarterback to go in the first round? Is there going to be a third? I think that's going to be the lead story of tonight for sure.
So I got to introduce the whole cast of characters. We have, of course, Coach John Gruden, Super Bowl winning coach. We have Stephen Shea, ball knower. I got a couple of other ball knowers sitting over there, and you may know him. He's back with us for, I don't know, however long we've been doing this. He's been here every year. He's on the ones and twos, Mr. Frank the Tank. Those are the fingers that he will be using. And I'm not real sure what the first mask is. I'm going to go with some. That's a raccoon.
Is the mascot of the Tennessee Titans.
All right, excuse me, the raccoon. And to his right, hold on. To his left, my right, it is ball knower supreme making his NFL draft show debut, Liam Blutman.
Hiya, folks.
Oh my God. That is what just happened, Coach.
What is that?
Is it sinking in now that you're just surrounded by a bunch of morons?
It's a great cast of analysts. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds.
You've got some history in Green Bay. You spent a couple of years there, rising up the ranks, right? You love the town, correct?
I do.
You look at this scene right here. It looks like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. Huge crowd. What do you make of this scene?
I'm not surprised because Green Bay is a football town. They love football year-round. There's not a lot going on right now in April in Green Bay. I'm sure these fans have had a lot of time to get ready for this event. There's probably some really good beer prices right there, and a lot of guys are raising hell. They can't wait for the Packers to pick.
So I'll go ahead and announce that the Tennessee Titans are on the clock, which means the 2025 NFL Draft is officially underway. I don't know. Do you think they're going to let the entire time run off? We know who they're picking.
I think that's a rating. I think they are going to let the time.
They're going with Cam Ward, the quarterback out of Miami, the quarterback out of a lot of places. But they're going with Cam Ward, and I guess I don't know if we got him ready yet. I haven't talked to my guys in the truck or anything. But have we got our Titans guest on the ready right now?
Here, if you're referring to me. Hey, guys.
The
What's going on?
coach in Tennessee Titans history. That is, of course, Jeff Fisher. Looks like he's in a Chrysler minivan right now and joining us from soccer practice. We appreciate that, Coach.
No, let me correct you. There's paneling on the side. It's a Buick station wagon, and it's Little League, grandkid Little League practice. So it's actually a game. He whiffed. He struck out his first at bat, so I didn't miss anything. But how you doing? Thanks for having me. Coach Gruden, what is up?
What do you say,
Good to see you.
It's Tennessee Titan time, man. Nobody knows the Titans like Jeff Fisher. Last year they brought in a new coach. They said they were going to get this Levis kid going. Are they going to take another quarterback? Give us your gut feeling.
You know, if they don't, people will leave Nashville like people leaving Tampa Bay after spring break, man. They have sold this place to Nashville about the quarterback. When you hear words like generational talent or the face of the franchise, you're not talking about an offensive tackle. You're talking about a quarterback. I actually am a Will Levis fan. I watched him from afar, thought he had some talent, just thought he needed some time. Obviously, he's been in a number of systems since he got here, and so I think he's got a chance. But you know, everybody around town, everybody that I've talked to, of course, you know me, I have to prepare for this. Everybody that I've talked to says, Cam, that thing is a done deal. So, generational talent will I don't know if we'll find out in time. Coach, you were talking about NIL and all that kind of stuff. I actually think the only good thing about NIL and players besides the players making money is you get to evaluate quarterbacks in different systems and on different teams and different locker rooms, and that's been the case with the Titans. It was brought to my attention that Amy Adams Strunk, the owner, actually went down to the last workout, the pro day. That's unheard of in this organization. Bud Adams never really did that. He kind of cut us loose. So,
Jay, you had a question?
Are you guys there?
Yeah. I mean, so you led a Titans team to, I believe it was 13-3, number one seed in the AFC with Kerry Collins at quarterback, and obviously a talented guy throughout his career. But if you were running the show in Tennessee, would you opt to build not necessarily around the quarterback this early with the roster they have?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of holes. I mean, you have to go into this from this perspective, and that, okay, go get your quarterback, but you're going to have to take some time and develop him and let him learn. Go with Will. Let Will get started. He knows the offense, and take time, because you got to surround a good young quarterback with good people, and they're not close to that yet. They got a lot of holes to fill, and they admit it, and they're working hard at it, but. You can, as we all know, man, you can hurt a quarterback early if you play him too soon and he's not prepared and you don't have people around him.
Coach Gruden, I'll bring you in here. When you're picking at the top of the draft, like there's a certain pressure that's going to go to this kid. There's a certain pressure to everybody in that room. How does everybody deal with that pressure?
Everybody handles it differently. I mean, there's general managers, there's owners, and there's coaches. And sometimes they don't work as one. There's not everybody on the same page all the time. But I will say this. Will Levis is a good player. They have a lot invested in him. This decision to go with Cam Ward, to me, is incredible. I mean, at the press conference less than a year ago, Callahan said, we're going to make Levis a player. And he had some growing pains, don't get me wrong, but they are really switching gears, going with a young quarterback. And I don't know if they're all united on the pick. I'm anxious to see if they actually make the pick, personally.
You're starting to suspect they might not be making the Cam Ward
Well,
pick.
They're not picking yet. If it was a done deal, wouldn't you just come out and hand the thing to the commissioner?
Hey, it's TV, baby.
I don't know.
It's TV.
Who knows what they're going to do. But it's great seeing Jeff Fisher. Every time I close my eyes and think of the Tennessee Titans, I think of Fisher. And I think of Eddie George. And I think of Keith Bullock and Javon Curse and Albert Hainsworth.
Please say Steve McNair.
Well, Steve McNair. I mean, he's at the top of the list. But the Titans need players.
Yep.
They need players at every position, and I'm kind of surprised they're going to restart at the most critical position, which I think they have a pretty good young quarterback already.
Coach Fisher, what are your thoughts about that?
All indications are they're going to do that. Now, you can over-evaluate somebody, and you can create, kind of illusions that they're gonna. I've heard people say they remind him of Patrick. I mean, come on. I mean, this thing is gotten a little bit out of hand. I personally have not seen him other than the TV scout him. I think from what I've heard, he's done an extraordinary job where he's been, starting at moving into Washington State from Incarnate Word and then at Miami, and he's handled everything. The one thing I heard about him that's real positive that makes me say, okay, this is going to be okay, is they say he's authentic. He's not a BSer. He's not one of those guys that tries to get in a huddle and scream and yell at people and everybody rolls their eyes and they quit listening to you. He's authentic. He understands. He's got talent, and he'll get coached. Coach Callahan's going to coach him, but the question is how soon is he going to be ready? It is not easy to step in there day one unless you're surrounded with a lot of good people.
All right, Coach, let me just walk in right now. Roger Goodell is walking to the podium. He is addressing the mic and he is announcing the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. A huge crowd is looking at him. I am stalling because he is stalling. And he's just taking all the time in the world. And now he has announced it, the number 1 pick, Cam Ward, University of Miami. It was long suspected, no surprise. But Coach Fisher, I'll let you have the last word on Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. It is now official.
Well, I'm really excited for the fan base here. It's a great fan base. They've been disappointed, over the last couple years. They haven't had a guy that they can turn to. Coach Gruden alluded to Kerry Collins. We started 10-0 with Kerry, but we had good players around him. If they can build this roster through draft and after the draft with, the college free agents and free agency, I think this kid's going to be a good player for him. But time's going to tell, and people have to be patient. It's hard to play quarterback in your first year in the NFL unless you got good players around you.
We have, Coach Fisher, I'm going to let you go. We appreciate you being here because the Cleveland Browns were supposed to be on the clock at number 2. They are not on the clock anymore. They have traded out of this pick. The Jacksonville Jags are now on the clock. We thank Jeff Fisher for being here as our Tennessee Titans representative. And we bring in our Jacksonville Jags representative. He is Uncle Chaps. We knew we would see him sometime tonight. We thought it would be a couple of picks down the road. The Jags and the Browns, and we were going to have Jeff D. Lowe and Joe Thomas here. We'll have them in a little bit. But the Jags now on the clock at number 2. Chaps, what are they doing?
Giving up way too much, I think.
To go get who?
Travis Hunter.
To go get Travis Hunter.
The only thing I thought about it a little bit more, because I've been a Travis Hunter hater a little bit, because
Sure.
I don't want to give up that much.
Yeah.
He probably is the perfect complement to BTJ. Like, perfect.
Coach Gruden, you've studied these guys, you've researched these guys, you've done all the things, and you do all that research, and you come into this day thinking you know what the top 3 picks are going to be, you know where they're going to go, and boom, we have a trade. Boom, the Jags do this. What do you think?
I agree. It's going to be Travis Hunter. They need to sell some tickets. There's just not a lot of interest in the Jaguars. They are fading, man. They need to get somebody that can sell tickets and make plays. Gabe Davis was signed from the Buffalo Bills to be a go-to receiver last year. It didn't happen. Now, I still think Brian Thomas is a hell of a player, but they got to get some weapons for Trevor Lawrence. He fell out of favor last year. He did not play well. They gave him a ton of money, and I think they named their stadium after the guy.
Yeah.
So they better get a playmaker. And I think if Hunter goes to Jacksonville, you're going to see him play predominantly on offense, and they'll have some packages to get him rolling a little bit on defense. But I can only imagine them trading up for one guy in this draft. I don't think it's Abdullah Carter. They've got Trayvon Walker. Yeah. They've got Josh Allen. I would be surprised if it's not Hunter.
Pretty good haul. So Schefter's report. Schefter, by the way, looks awesome. They showed him on TV. These guys got a new.
Steven Schefter. Why do we need to know what Adam Schefter looks like?
It was a controversial thing online before with what he was wearing. He was wearing a shirt and tie with a hoodie over it, with a sport coat over it.
Your first report about this trade is that Schefter looks good?
I'll exclusively report that Schefter looks great. Everyone who doesn't agree is a hater. But this is the trade.
Please give Barstool Sports the scoop on that.
The Jaguars are trading the 5th pick. The Browns are trading the 2nd pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 6th-round pick to the Jags for the number 5 overall pick, a 2nd-round pick this year, a 4th, so swapping 4ths, and a 1st-round pick next year.
Jeez. That's aggressive, isn't it?
Expensive.
I'd just like to, can we bring attention to Frank, who is at the ready for the Jacksonville Jags pick? He is ready. He is ready to go. Gruden,
there hasn't been much for in Jacksonville, so meow.
Chaps, thoughts about the meow?
I love the meow. Frankly, we deserve it. Giving up a first-round pick for next year is just so stupid. The team has so many needs. Travis Hunter is probably going to be fine, but no way he's worth
May I interject here? Are we 100% sure it's Travis Hunter?
Yes.
We are?
Yeah.
How are we that sure?
I mean, I have heard that they want to move Walker inside, but that's the only other way it makes sense. Because you're not making that move for the tackle from LSU.
I think the team you got to be talking about is the Cleveland Browns. I think they fleeced Jacksonville. To get the Jaguars' #1 pick next year and only move down a few spots. Is that
they
what
moved down
I'm
3
hearing?
spots. So they got the 5th overall pick this year. They got 2025 second and 4th round pick. So they got a second rounder this year
and a first rounder
next year. So they got another pick. They got an additional pick tomorrow, and then another pick for next year, 1st round pick, and swap 4th round picks.
Yeah, I was on that movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That's one of the great trades I've ever heard, even better than the ones we made on Draft Day.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Browns.
That's so painful.
See, he's still wearing the hoodie.
Yeah, I'm saying he looks great.
You said he got rid of the hoodie.
No, I didn't.
I think that's the worst look I've ever seen.
That's not a good look. He's wearing a.
Come on.
Be a professional one time. You're wearing a suit jacket on top of a hoodie. What kind of loser are you?
Trying too hard.
Trying too hard to look
announce
casual.
the picks, man.
Unbelievable. This looks good to you. Doesn't even
He
look like a
looks
hoodie.
great.
It looks like a nun.
It's matching. It's
Looks like a blue nun.
He looks awesome.
It's a bad trade for Jacksonville.
Terrible
bad
trade.
hood.
Completely agree. We're an abomination to the Lord.
Also, if the Jags stink again.
Let's not overreact here.
It's going to be a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
That's my point. If Trevor Lawrence plays poorly again and the Jaguars win 4 games,
now,
the
I don't
Browns
care.
are in business.
He's not talking on the phone right now.
I don't care what Shefty looks like. Let's talk about the player suits. This is a Pepto-Bismol pink suit from Travis Hunter with the black shirt. What are we thinking on the suit?
I think if you're dressing bold, you're a bold guy. I'm drafting bold guys at the top.
You're drafting bold guys
I
at
like
the top.
it. Do I personally
feel
like
a little
that
bit
suit?
better
I
now that
don't.
I see the fire pink,
the pink suit,
sports coat. Yeah.
He's got confidence.
Yeah.
Are we sure it's him? He's not talking to
He's
anybody.
not on the phone. He's not on the phone talking to the Jags being like, yeah, coach, man, I can't wait to get down there and play. They're talking to somebody.
They're happy.
They're happy. He ain't been talking to nobody.
Yeah. It's got to be. Yeah, here he is.
Coach, you ever called a draft pick and said, hey, how would you like to come be a Raider or a Buccaneer? And they're like, not really, coach.
That has not happened.
Hadn't happened.
No,
Okay,
that
all
hadn't
right,
happened.
You're not saying that's what's going on.
I'm not saying that's what's going on. I'm just saying.
He wants to be in Jacksonville.
Listen, we have a Super Bowl winning coach here. I'm very curious about his draft interactions and whatnot. I just think it would be funny if you got the 23rd pick and you call the guy from Nebraska and you're like, hey, you want to come to Tampa? And he's like, no, not really.
I'll say this, too. It's hot as hell in Jacksonville. It's going to be hard to play both ways in that heat.
Oh, good point. That's a good point.
He did play in Jackson, Mississippi, though, for a while.
He did, yeah, for 3 months. And I guess it's only hot in September. And here comes Roger Goodell to announce who they traded up to pick. The pick is in. Frank, did you play the music? There we go. Let's keep it sharp on the floor, everybody. All right, Goodell is to the podium. Go ahead and tell me who's beside him. A giant of a man.
It's Armstead.
Oh, it's Ron Armstead? Or no? Eric Armstead, defensive tackle.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay. There's Armstead.
Former Niner.
So he is this the Walter Payton Man of the Year? What are we doing? We're stopping and doing the Man of the Year already? Or is this what this guy won?
Yeah, he's Jags, too.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Last thoughts before your team throws away its future.
I'm just glad I don't have to stay in the league next year for this because we gave our pick to the Browns.
You still have to.
I'll be here for the Browns pick?
You still have to be here next year.
Okay.
I mean, you never know. They might trade up into the first round. You never know.
Yeah.
How's Tony Khan doing? How are the Khans?
I think he's probably happy with this. This kind of makes me nervous about the 34-year-old GM. Got to be honest with you.
Okay. Right.
Not great.
What are you guys doing? Why are you sending signals to Coach Gruden?
I don't know.
Are y'all working on something over here?
It's a football guy thing.
Okay. All right. So we are. That is Eric Armstead, the 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year. That's an impressive.
Do you get
award.
anything for that?
You get to be called the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
You get the little emblem on your jersey, but aside from that, are you getting a little cash prize for your charity or something like that?
That's charitable stuff and just being generally a great dude.
Sure, yeah, that's great.
I love Walter Payton. Walter Payton from Columbia, Mississippi. A lot of people don't know that. They know it. I just still like to tell them. Announce the fucking pick, man. Blutman, is it crazy to trade up for Travis Hunter?
Yeah, that haul is hilarious. I'm with Gruen 100%.
Not that funny, Liam.
Yes, it is. That's insane to mortgage.
That's a certified ball knower.
Yeah.
And I'll have you know
2026 draft is so much better. It's comical to do that when you're not even in a good spot.
The Jacksonville Jags have selected with the second pick of the NFL draft, acquired from the Cleveland Browns, who play in Cleveland, Ohio, and have for some years. It is Travis Hunter, and I don't know if he was happy or not, but he's happy. Everybody's happy. Travis Hunter is headed to Jacksonville. Chaps, you're happy. Don't act like you're not happy to get Travis Hunter.
Happy. Now that it happened, it's officially happened. I'm all in. I'm a Travis Hunter guy. Love that dance. Now I'm in.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what they do with him. It sounds pretty. He's going to play both ways, and he's going to be great like he was at Colorado. We drafted Charles Woodson with the 4th pick. He played offense at Michigan, and he played defense, obviously. We played him on defense, and once he mastered the defense, we let him play a little bit on offense. But you got to major on one side of the ball first. Yeah. Now, I know the Jaguars' defense was not good. They got a young corner, Jerrion Jones, Tyson Campbell. Do they make him their go-to corner, their star shutdown corner, and mix in offense, or do they make him a receiver, which I think is what his favorite position is, and mix in the defensive backfield stuff? But it's awful hard physically to ask a young player as a rookie to come in this league and play both ways in Jacksonville in that heat.
Coach, I know you're an offensive guy, but if you had the number 2 pick, I love the energy from Travis Hunter, by the way. This is pretty incredible. Yeah. If you draft a guy of this skill set, I know you're an offensive guy, but do you say ceiling is elite receiver, elite cornerback? Which one are you plugging in first? Which one are you trying to get to first?
Well, I like the idea of making him an offensive player. I can get him the ball more. I think he can impact the game more. I think Brian Thomas will be better. I think our quarterback will be better. And let's be honest, if Jacksonville gets better, it's going to be because Trevor Lawrence gets better. Yeah. And I think their whole offseason, this whole draft, and it's all about getting Lawrence, getting his act together under center.
No doubt we needed a number 2 because Gabe Davis stinks out loud. Like he was awful.
That's negative.
Like he's bad.
It's negative.
So. Yeah.
Chaps, I appreciate you. Okay. We got a gang of people in New York waiting to go. The Giants. The clock is just steady rolling. We got 3 minutes left in this Giants pick. Like we've already had some crazy things, but the Giants crew is there in New York. It's Clem, it's Big Ev, it's Rico. They're joining. Oh, they're the boys. Look at them. They are fired up. Giants fans, take it away because the time is running out. Go ahead.
We're scared. We're really scared. Everything about what the Giants have done this offseason says they're not going to take a quarterback at 3, which is why I think they might take a quarterback.
No, they're not taking a quarterback. They're taking Abdul Carter.
They fucking better, Brandon.
Why on earth would they not take Abdul Carter right here? Which quarterback do you think they're going to take? Rico, who do you want?
Why on earth did they take Daniel Jones?
Good point.
That was years ago.
We don't talk about Daniel like that.
That was good. I'm choosing to trust Shade. I don't love what he's done so far, but I'm choosing to trust him. Abdul Carter's the best player in the draft. It's a blessing to get him at 3. A blessing.
Bosco, thoughts?
Yeah, I think you take the best player available. Abdul Carter's obviously great. I don't love the State Penn guys, but he's a hell of a player. Solidify the defense. I roll with that. The last State Penn guy, we turned out pretty well. He won a championship for somebody else, but he was a hell of a player. So, maybe we strike lightning in a bottle twice.
And if we don't have a quarterback, we just rush the shit out of all the other quarterbacks in our division.
I like
Good plan.
That. I like that.
Is this the end of Kayvon Thibodeau in New York?
What? I might say that the Giants mask is the best mask I have ever worn. It's huge. Everyone is talking about this mask all the way up to China.
That kind of looks like a John Gruden mask. We have fun here. All right, boys. The pick is in. We're finding out shortly who you are going with. Of course, we're on commercial right now, and they're doing a Travis Hunter interview. So, Clem, do jazz hands later.
Coach? Who would you take if you're in this spot?
Coach?
I think this is an interesting pick. Everybody's been talking about Shedeur Sanders. Here he is for you, New York. He's right there for you. You have 2 quarterbacks, I believe, that are both on 1-year deals. You got to address the quarterback position in the long term sometime. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think this says a lot about Shedeur Sanders and where he's going to go. If the Giants don't take him with their quarterback situation, who's taking him?
It's going to be a while.
I think Abdul Carter is the pick. I think that combination of Brian Burns, Thibodeau, Carter, Dexter Lawrence, that gives you a chance every Sunday. And how about Ashton Jeanty right here to replace Saquon Barkley?
Right here?
I mean, I'm just saying Barkley was a guy that went to Philadelphia and shredded people. They could use a feature back. Let's not kid ourselves.
Boys, thoughts?
That'd be the funniest thing probably for everyone else. I love Jeanty.
I would change the turf to blue, too, to make him feel at home.
I think it's Blutman weigh in here. Abdul Carter, you think he's the best player in the draft, correct?
Yeah, I think Abdul Carter is the best player in the draft. I think he's one of the more safer options in the draft with a very
high ceiling, violence, going crazy after in the pass rush, and he's just a really good run stuffer. I don't think there's a way he doesn't pan out. This is a good pick.
Coach, if we get through this pick with no Shedeur Sanders, do we now start the watch to where do we start really counting picks and say, where is this guy going to go tonight? If he goes tonight, I know it's early to say that, but this is a quarterback-needy team that might pass on him.
I mean, you guys are both saying he's not going to go.
I don't think he's going in the first round tonight, no.
His over-under has been slipping. It went to 10.5 yesterday in the books, down to 14.5 today. I mean, you got quarterback teams, New Orleans. Well, Cleveland is now – I would think Cleveland is at least in play at 5.
Oh,
they're a quarterback needy team. That type of quarterback, quick mental processing, not the biggest intangibles with arm and stuff like that, that has worked with Stefanski.
All right, boys, you are going with – that's Abdul Carter, correct? Abdul Carter, the edge. The Big Ev is happy. Clem is happy. Clem has switched to a Darth Vader mask. I don't know why. Rico, thoughts?
I like it. Best player available. I had the Darth Vader mask.
He had the meme where he was in the fucking back of the tank. He had Vader on his nose thing or whatever. We need to fucking market our people in New York to get behind him. So he's gonna fucking wreak havoc like Darth Vader did once upon a time in the crowd.
He is a huge Star Wars nerd. Some people would look at that as a red flag, guys. Good stuff. All right, so I guess we're done with New York. I didn't know that. Nope, we're back. Hey, boys.
Still here?
Okay, yeah, my bad. I don't know. Yep. Congratulations, boys. You got your guy. You got Abdul Carter. Suit check on Abdul Carter. You don't like it?
He looks like he's in the Matrix right now. So
the Matrix? Is that like
the Matrix?
The Matrix. Okay.
Matrix.
The Matrix sounds like a pizza I would eat. Anyway, you don't like that joke, huh? You don't like pizza jokes? Is that right?
I'm not familiar with that, but
all right, fair enough.
Matrix, any of it. But I do know this. He is not a real experienced edge rusher. He played inside at Penn State 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Chop Robinson was on one side. I was looking for him to be on the other, but he played inside. He's still young, learning the position. He's a lot like Brian Burns, I think, as a rusher. He's got great speed, and I think he's got some twitch. But I'm kind of surprised a little bit that they didn't go quarterback with all this hype that we have surrounding that position.
In this pass-happy league, though, can you have enough Abdul Carters? Can you have enough Thibodeaus? Can you have enough of those guys to put quarterbacks on their ass? Like the New York Giants fans said, if you can't get a quarterback, get somebody that knocks them down. And that's what the Giants are doing here. Maybe they address the quarterback next year. Maybe I don't know what they do, but I think it's a good, solid, high upside pick. I think he's the best player in the draft myself. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I put Travis Hunter right there, but Abdul Carter right behind him. I think that's a great point. Like they have enough veteran quarterbacks with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston to at least survive this. You're not the absolute worst. It's not a very bright long-term future, but they took the best guy, and don't rule them out for coming up for Shedeur or another quarterback later in the first round.
I like that. I like the idea of getting Abdul Carter and then coming back into the late first round or at the top of the second. Go get Jackson Dart. I know they like Jalen Milroe. I'm sure there's some guys in this draft at the quarterback position they would love to put in that room.
So you think it's possible we haven't heard the last of the Giants tonight?
I think we have not heard the end of the Giants. They're going to make some noise in this draft.
Well, speaking of Giants, we have an internet giant joining us right now. I don't know why I'm kissing his ass. Anyway, Boss Man's here. The Patriots are on the clock. Portnoy is here. Dave, you're not taking quarterback. You're not taking anything like that. You're probably taking offensive lineman. But where's your mind as a Patriots fan?
Well, I'll start. And it's what I said last year. I'd like to refer to when you introduced me as six-time world champion, New England Patriots on the clock, Dave Portnoy. I think I've earned that. If you put together all the world championships of everybody at this company, including Coach Gruden and everybody else, I still have more. So I please say six-time world champion when we get into this. Yeah, it looks like
I feel like that's worn off by now. It's been a couple of bad years for Patriots.
No, it hasn't. We're in a great spot. I love our coach. I love our quarterback. We're going to protect the quarterback. We're going offensive lineman. I would have traded up for Travis Hunter. I love him. I think he's a once-in-a-generation player. Having said that, you got to protect the quarterback. We're going to go with the lineman. It's very obvious here, and I like it. Also, Walker, I'd love for you to fix that earpiece. It's tough to take this whole broadcast seriously when that thing's sticking out to China like an asshole.
I don't know what you want me to do. It happens every single broadcast. I can't do it. I have big ear canals, and we don't have the right equipment for my ears, and I apologize. Gruden talk to his ass so I can fix my earpiece.
I was curious about that earpiece myself.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's a very professional set, and then we have an earpiece that looks like it unfit. There we go. That's better. We're going offensive lineman here. You got to protect the quarterback. We have Drake May. He's a franchise guy. We hit a home run. That's why we have Zabel as the coach. I would rather be us than probably 95% of the league right now.
Bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
Why?
You thought Mac Jones was the home run 2 years ago. You thought he was the guy.
That's because I drink the Kool-Aid. I have our guy. We have
You're
a
drinking it now.
franchise quarterback, and we have a great coach. I love where we're at. I think there's a playoff team.
You know, if you paid for good earpieces, this shit wouldn't happen.
Question is, which offensive lineman? I mean, which offensive lineman?
They're going with the
one I
LSU
wanted.
kid.
Campbell.
Will Campbell.
Short arms.
Yeah.
The whole arm length thing is weird because a lot, and this isn't just him, but a lot of guys had different measurements at the Senior Bowl versus their pro day. He measured at 33 inches at his pro day, which is not ideal, but you can suffice with that. If you're below that, that's kind of the Mason-Dixon line.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm pumping, fireworks and doing a dance when we get an offensive lineman. Nobody gets excited about an offensive lineman. They're an offensive lineman, but that's how you win football games. I get it. You win it with the big uglies down there. But am I a guy who can judge somebody's length of their arms? Hopefully this guy's the guy. It's the number one consensus guy. It's a boring pick, but a necessary pick.
Coach, you have made a preposterous amount of notes. What are your notes on this guy, this Will Campbell?
Well, he's polished. He's experienced. He's 3 times all SEC. Mm-hmm. He's a left tackle
Best
in college.
conference in the land.
You know, Brandon Sheriff came out of Iowa a few years ago, was a high pick of the Washington Redskins. He didn't have the long arms. They moved him inside to guard. I can see Campbell starting at left tackle, and if it doesn't work out, they'll kick him into left guard. Cole Strange has been a disappointment. Morgan Moses is an old guy at right tackle. They got to get an offensive lineman they know can play. And Campbell can play. And I think he's got some position versatility, a lot of experience, and he's 6'6", 320 pounds. They got to get somebody reliable up front because they're not very good up front. I don't care who plays quarterback.
He dresses like he doesn't have a mirror.
But that's kind of what you want in an offensive lineman. This guy only gave up 1 sack in his final 30 games. I think the potential concern here is, we all talk about arm length and does that matter or whatnot, but is pick number 4 too high if he has to play guard?
Yeah, it's awfully high. But when you look at the New England Patriots, they put a lot of money and some pretty good players on defense. They've improved that defense. They're going to get this quarterback's ass knocked off if they don't address their offensive line. And the only way to do it, unfortunately, right now is the draft. You can't go back in free agency. They've got to draft and develop some linemen like they did for years with Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach.
Sure.
That's what Vrabel's got to prove, that they can get some linemen, develop them, and help this quarterback take his game to another level.
But
Frank, I got to ask you,
right?
how many of your Master?
I do, yes.
Can I have the floor? It's my pick, Brandon.
I'm sorry. Frank's wearing a political mask. He's wearing a JFK mask. I got distracted. My bad.
Why are we going to Frank in the middle of my pick?
Trump and now I'm wearing
I thought, Dave, you've been talking for 2 hours. I thought you were going to be quiet for a second. My bad.
I get 10 seconds here. It's my pick. I asked the coach a question about Drake May, and you're going to Frank because he's wearing a political mask. I don't get that.
Ask him your question.
Do you like Drake May?
I do like Drake May, and I think we all would agree they got to get him some weapons. They brought in Stephon Diggs. Last year, all they did was throw the ball to the tight ends. They got Stevenson at running back. The offensive line is a critical need. We all know that. This should be a lineman right here.
Yeah.
Well, let me patch things up between you guys because, Brandon, I don't know if you saw, but Dave is a fishing guy now.
Yeah.
Dave, what type of bait you using out on the spinning the rods? On the lake?
You don't tell other fishermen. You don't give away your secrets, Stephen. That's rule 1.
He has no idea. That's by the way, it is official. Will Campbell, the LSU offensive tackle, is headed to New England. All bullshit aside, it's a necessary pick. If the quarterback is the right guy, you're now protecting him, Dave. I'm sure, it's not sexy, but it is what it is.
I would rather be us than any other team right now in our division. And that's the truth. I know you got Josh Allen over there in Buffalo, but they've had their window. They can't seem to close it. The Dolphins are a mess. The Jets are a mess. We are building. We brought back in one of our own, a Super Bowl champion, 6-time Super Bowl champion franchise. I like where we're at. It was a year or two of roughness. You have faith, and the rings will come. I truly believe that. We're right back where we need to be. We have the guy we need at quarterback. We have the coach. We have the culture. Things are looking up.
Well, I'll give you Jets and Dolphins, but no fucking chance would you rather be a Patriot than a Buffalo Bill right now. That's just a lie.
Absolutely. Well, they keep blowing it. Listen, I know a thing about championships. When your window closes, you miss these opportunities. They don't come knocking every year. You got to seize that when you have the chance, and they haven't. So, you know what? You blink, and we're right back on their ass. So I like where we're at. I'd rather be us on the come up than them on the come down.
All right, so that's the Patriots pick. The Browns are back on the clock, Dave. We appreciate your time as always,
Browns.
sir.
Wow.
Well, we still got to talk about the Browns. We got Joe Thomas. We got a Hall of Famer joining us for the Browns.
That's true. Well, what's he gonna? It's the Browns. I have Jeff D. Lowe. I have Jeff D. Lowe. For some reason, I see his face on my screen. I don't know why. It's like I'm playing the dozen. It's you guys and Jeff D. Lowe. I have no idea why.
I'm not saying anybody should be excited that the Browns are up, but that's how the draft works. Sometimes teams come up that you don't want to talk about, and the Cleveland Browns are up right now.
So as a host, maybe when you know the Browns are on deck and you have the lead guy at the company on air, you don't kick it to Frank the Tank when you know the Browns are on deck, and you let me have my moments and do it to Tank when the Browns are up.
I'm sorry. Now he's wearing a pumpkin on his head. You can't be in this room and not pay attention to Frank the Tank. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I'm
Dave,
happy with the pick.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What an asshole. Anyway, Browns are on the clock. I don't know that I know we have Jeff D. Lowe coming in. Originally, we were going to have Hall of Famer Joe Thomas joining us. Do we still have that production room? We're waiting on him to rejoin. So we might have Hall of Famer Joe Thomas in a second, but we know we have Jeff D. Lowe.
Trivia Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Future Hall
sure,
of Famer.
in his own mind. Jeff, where are you at? He looks so excited. Oh, my God, the excitement is palpable in the Jeff D. Lowe house.
Look, their pick is in, so I'll just shut up and just get through this quick. And I'm glad Joe Thomas is not on for me to just trash this franchise. I understand the Hall is okay. I like it. Hold on, Shay. Give me my moment. I understand you've won a Super Bowl. I've never come close. I understand, Coach. I like what Coach Gruden said. It's a Hall. You have to understand this franchise thinks they're smarter than everybody, and they always have. You know how many times we've traded back in the first round? You know we've gotten Corey Coleman, Still Taylor. Who else? I'm trying to think. Jabril Peppers. Who was that guy? That awful guy from Florida State. That Cam Irving. It's never worked out. It's a great haul. That's fine. Whatever. Like maybe I'll be wrong. Hopefully it's old takes exposed. But you had a generational guy in Hunter. You had a generational guy, Penn Stater and Abdul Carter, potentially. You don't take either of them. They think they outsmart everybody. They've never outsmarted anybody ever at any point in time. So maybe this is a good trade, but what should I hang my hat on to say, yeah, this is great. I feel good. Nothing. There's nothing to hang my hat on. I hate this team. I hate this franchise. I like Joe Thomas. If he was in there, I'd say that. Everyone else stinks.
You know what Browns are?
Yeah.
And I don't want
Charlie Brown listening to football. Because that's what they are. They try to kick the football, and they end up, Lucy pulls it away, and they end up flat on their back.
But Jeff, like Chase said, I mean, yeah, you're not walking away with Travis Hunter, but you're walking away with whoever this player here is, probably going to be a good player. You're walking away with a second-round pick for tomorrow and a first-rounder next year from a possibly bad team. Like
more picks to get guys who won't be in the league in 3 years. I love it. Love it.
You get the arch.
I think the most exciting thing here is what are they going to do with the pick?
Yeah.
Listen, they don't have a quarterback. Joe Flacco's in his 40s. Kenny Pickett hasn't proven he can play anywhere.
Yep.
And they're sitting here, and here's Shedeur Sanders sitting right there for you. Are they going to take Sanders? Mm-hmm. He's played in cold weather in Colorado. The Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback.
Yep.
And the Deshaun Watson saga sounds like it's finally over. But when you're sitting there with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, you better do something at that position. It's got to be Shedeur Sanders. Because if it isn't, I'll be shocked.
It's going to be line. It's going to be D-line, I think, Coach. I think it's going to be Graham.
You think they traded back to get Mason Graham from Michigan?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
So, Jeff, just setting things up for later. So, if Cleveland passes on a quarterback here, as Coach mentioned, you still need a quarterback. You're going to have picks 33, and now it looks like pick 36 from Jacksonville. Is there any guy you want to move up for in the first round to target with those 2 picks?
Okay, it's Graham. I like Mason Graham. I think he's going to be really good. But not really. There's some things with Dart that I like. I like Coach's video with Dart. I'm a Quinn Ewers guy, so I don't think they're going to trade for Quinn Ewers. Maybe get him later in the draft. I don't know if I want them to trade up for Dart or Sanders, though. I don't know. Like, I think the circus has never really worked out for the Browns, so I don't know if that'll work. Milroe's been a name that's been tossed around. I don't trust Jalen. I mean, Brandon, give me a one-word reaction on Jalen Milroe.
Not an NFL quarterback.
See, that's like exactly. So,
Right.
No, I don't think so. I think stay where you are. It's going to be a loaded amount of players. I feel like Blutman probably agrees with that in the second round, and maybe next year you take your quarterback, whether it be Arch or Aller or something. I mean, what's the point? What's the point?
What's the point of any of this? What is the point of any of this? Anyway, I got to say this. Just vibe check. Bad suit on Mason Graham. No tie, bad suit.
Will Campbell, no tie too.
I didn't pay attention to Will Campbell because I was dealing with my ear.
I couldn't stop looking at how short Will Campbell's arms were.
Tiny arms, right?
They were so tiny.
T-Rex arms.
I'll tell you what you are getting on Mason Graham. You're getting a guy that has a rare combination of power and twitch. I mean, this guy can move from gap to gap. He's not a great pass rusher, but with Myles Garrett, the Browns need somebody that can push the pocket and create opportunities for Garrett off the edge. And this guy will play his ass off every single snap. You got to like that about him. He can help get you to third down because he can stop the run. He's a hell of a football player.
All right.
Is that enough? Is it a guy who can get you to third down and stop the run worthy of the pick at number 5, though? I mean, this guy had 3.5 sacks last year.
Let me bring in right now because guess who's on the clock?
The Raiders.
The Raiders are on the clock, which means we bring in a friend of the show, somebody who's been here before. I think he was lost last time, just walking through the stadium out there. But Max Crosby is joining the show right now to talk about what the Raiders are doing. And what are the Raiders doing? Because the coach is just out there on a tweeting spree right now. With his first tweets in 2 years, we've already got the stogie out. What's up, Max?
What's up, boys? How are we doing? Coach Drew, I love
it. Say Max.
So you've already got the celebratory cigar out. Is that a celebration, or that's just how you living right now?
It's feeling like Jeanty. I don't know. I just smell it in the air today. I don't know.
So what's the thought process with this number 6 pick right here for you guys?
Honestly, we just need great football players, guys that love the game, guys that are all in, and going to help us win games. That's truly all that matters to me. So I think a lot of people have been projecting and predicting Jeanty, and it seems like that might be the choice here.
Coach, I asked you beforehand, I was like, this ain't for the show, but who's the best draft pick you ever had? You gave me 3 names. The first one was Max Crosby.
Well, Charles Woodson wasn't bad. Max Crosby damn sure is at the top of my list.
Yeah.
I loved all my draft picks, damn it. I know some of them didn't work out.
No,
like
you
some
didn't.
Fucking geniuses like him. I liked all my picks, and I love that pick right there, Crosby. But real quick, Max, you've been with Pete Carroll now. Just a quick summary of how it's going and what Coach Carroll's bringing to the table. What are you feeling?
Coach Carroll's energy is 1 of 1. He's been incredible. You know, we're in OTAs right now, so practice, meetings, everything has been elite, and we're having an absolute blast and just bonding together every single day. So energy's been on point, and we're just taking it one day at a time. But Coach Carroll's been amazing.
I heard the defense looks pretty solid out there. I heard you guys are dominating. Colton Miller's holding out at left tackle. He's another one of my old draft picks. Is there a chance you think you go get a big offensive lineman to give you some depth?
It's a possibility. We have a lot of draft picks, but at number 6 right here, I feel like it's going to be Jeanty. I might be wrong. I might be right, but I just feel like that's where we're going.
As a defensive player, how important is the running back for you? Obviously, a guy that would keep you guys fresh, keep you guys off the field. Is that a guy that you're really in tune with on defense?
No doubt. I mean, every single player, every week is, you're scouting teams differently. But when you have a generational back, you got to make sure you know where he's at all times. And, you have a feature guy who's touching the ball 25, 30 times a game. You got to be dialed in. So, yeah, it's super exciting.
All right, we're finding
Here
out
we
right
go.
now. Roger Goodell is at the podium. He's passing off the stogie, getting ready, and he's got it. It is Ashton Jeanty. I love that. See, he was playing it cool, he was playing it chill, and as soon as the pick is announced, he's fucking excited. Max Crosby, he is excited as hell. You got your guy, man.
It's a hell of a pick, man. It's a hell of a pick. We had Josh Jacobs, by the way, Brandon. That was another pick I actually liked.
Well, I wasn't trying to insult you, Coach. I was just trying to hype up the guest.
They let Josh Jacobs out of the building. Now they go get Ashton Jeanty, and this guy's magnificent. Great kid. He can catch the rock. You got to get a little bit better in blitz protection, but this guy can finish runs, man. He can take it to the house. He's got twitch. I love this pick, Max.
Fired up, guys.
We're being taken over right now. Barstool Big Cat is joining us.
Buddy.
Uh-oh.
0 for 2. 0 for fucking 2.
Are you 0 for 2?
0 for 2.
Oh.
His pick of the fucking draft was Raiders taking offensive linemen. You're on the hook. If you go 0 for 3, you're in deep shit.
Oh, shit.
Wait.
Jay.
Hey.
Did you promise him Jeanty or something?
No, he said offensive lineman Raiders was the pick. I bet it, plus 145 for $5 grand.
Oh, fuck, Jay.
He asked me what my favorite prop of the draft was.
They said Pete Carroll made a cryptic tweet. Didn't it? Didn't they say that?
Yeah, he had multiple tweets.
Some tweet. Yeah. Like Pete Carroll's going to come out and tweet his pick.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, you really think that he's going to pick out, he's taking Kelvin Banks, he's going to tell everybody?
Yeah.
That's not how these things work, Jay. I don't know why we're yelling at you, but I like it.
The other day, the Big Cat was on the couch, walked in, he asked me what my favorite draft prop was. This was. My buddy is the GM of the Raiders, John Spot. Shout out to his son, by the way, who basically made this pick. His quote, he walked right into Jack Spytek. He walked right into our building and basically told Mark Davis, if my dad doesn't take Ashton Jeanty, he's doing a bad job. So shout out Jack Spytek.
Shout out Jack Spytek.
Oh, yeah.
Max Crosby, congratulations. Oh, yeah. Enjoy your cigar. Enjoy the night. You got the guy you wanted.
Absolutely. I love you guys. It's great to see
Love
you
you,
again.
Max.
Coach,
thank you.
You're the greatest.
I love you, brother.
Again, I was just trying to hype up the guest. I wasn't insulting your other draft picks.
You insult me every time I see it. It's okay. I have a thick skin. I've been booed and fired and traded and trampled to death. It's okay. I can handle it. I do love this pick. Go ahead on him, Stephen. What do you think about Jeanty?
I mean, he's an electric player. Like, missed tackles, contact balance. He's the guy that you're going to want in your backfield. You can line him up. You can throw screens to him. You can have him run routes. He's a really good player, and he finished, like you said, he finishes runs. He's awesome. The NFL comparison they're making is Emmitt Smith. I don't personally, I mean, you're talking to, one of the greatest rushers of all time. That's lofty comparisons for anyone. But Jeanty is certainly a game changer in a draft that there aren't many.
Well, I said it 6 months ago on Emmitt Smith. He's the exact same size. People that knock Jeanty's size are full of baloney. Emmitt Smith and Ashton Jeanty are the exact same size, and Emmitt's the all-time leading rusher. This guy is tough to find, Brandon. I mean, you're a linebacker, and they hand the ball off to this guy. You can't find him because he's behind his lineman, and then all of a sudden he bursts out of the hole, and you got to find him. He's a hell of a back.
Last thing on Jeanty before I get to the New York boys, because the Jets are up next. Ball knower supreme Liam Blutman, before Jeanty ever took a snap at Boise State, called him one of the best running backs in the country. He was ahead of everybody. You saw this coming, Blutman.
Yeah, I loved Ashton Jeanty. He played wide receiver too. Comes from a really good family. Just went out there at Boise State, carved early because of the special traits, the contact balance. How strong is that guy? The best thing though might be that he got John Gruden hooked on Migos. That might be better than anything he did on the field. Also, one more note. The Browns were looking to trade out of 5. I feel like maybe the Bears were trying to move up to 5 to get Jeanty. Sure. Nothing materialized. Bears get sniped of Jeanty. They got to be unhappy in that front office.
All right, I got to go to New York because the Jets are on the clock, and this is always a chipper, fun group. This is always a group that is so excited. And KFC actually looks like he is chipper, and Clemmer looks like his dog died. KFC, you in a good mood?
I could not care less this year, Brandon Walker. I mean, I know they're in a good spot. Pretty much everyone that they want is on the board, but I just, in general, the state of the organization right now, it's hard to get too excited. I'm always about building the line, so I know there's 2 big O linemen left. I feel like they just need to keep drafting that until it works. But it's tough right now in Jets land. Clemmer's disposition kind of matches, I feel like, what everyone's thinking right now.
Clemmer, you look pissed off.
The team's stolen my soul. I have nothing left with this team. Tyler Warren, I think, would be an exciting tight end option. Hopefully, maybe that's a pick they might look at. I've only heard good things about him. But the way this team has kicked us in the face the last 14 years, I'm trying to go into this season with not a lot of expectations and not a lot of tying my happiness to this team because I just can't keep doing it.
No, this is as bad as I think it's been, and that's saying a lot. This is pretty much as low as it gets.
Boy, this is a downer. This is absolutely a shot in the fucking nuts.
Can you are we wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But the thing about Jets fans is, and I guess Mets fans too, even though you guys are actually good at baseball now, but you're always able to be mad, be sad for a while, then shake it off and be happy for about 5 minutes the next draft. Like you always see a little hope and then down. Hope, down. Now you don't even have the hope.
No, now we don't even have the hope, man. And there's just no reason. It's like everything was supposed to align the last couple years, and it's never going to work. It's never going to work. And it feels like for every other team, it finally comes together in some way, and it just never does for the Jets.
Glimmer?
You bring up the Mets, Brandon. That's the difference. The Mets have Steve Cohen, an owner that cares, that's doing the right thing. And then, the Jets have Woody Johnson. As long as Woody Johnson's in charge, I feel like we'll never be successful. It's so frustrating, and you feel so helpless because you think there's no way out.
Right? So I don't know who does Woody Johnson's kids want to draft tonight? Who did they play with Madden? Because I feel like that's who's going to decide the pick.
Well, that's the de facto Jets general manager.
Yeah.
Though I gotta be fair, I'd rather have Woody Johnson's son. I'd rather have Woody Johnson's grandkids who aren't even born yet be a general manager than the
Frank, you'll get your chance in a minute. Your pick number 13. Shay, who's the pick here, you think?
I mean, they could go certainly a couple ways. I've heard that they do like Tyler Warren. If they wanted to beef up the offensive line, Armand Membu is an interesting player. There's a couple ways they can go with this. I mean, right now, if you're a Jets fan, you don't have a lot to look forward to this season. You got Justin Fields as quarterback. But what you could start to see, ownership aside, is potentially a culture change with Aaron Glenn coming in there. Does that at least provide a little excitement for you guys, Clemmer and KFC?
No. You know how many times I've been promised, this guy's the one, and it's never the one. I know I'm not excited about Aaron Glenn. I'm not excited about any of this.
Well, that's...
Yeah, I feel the same way Kevin does. I mean, yes, a new GM is good. A new coach is good, but am I excited? No, I can't keep being excited. I can't keep being Charlie Brown. I can't keep doing this.
Every team can't be Charlie Brown. This is our second Charlie Brown reference. He had the Browns as Charlie Brown.
We're the Charlie Brown, okay?
We're fighting over Charlie Brown now. All right, the pick is in.
We're probably not even Charlie Brown. We're probably Schroeder or Linus or some other obscure character.
Hey, who's the pick?
Yeah, bitches love Schroeder. Women love Schroeder. They used to hang out by that piano, and they were. All right, the pick is in. Roger Goodell telling us who it is right now, and it is the tackle from Missouri, exactly who Che just said, Armand Membu. Again, we dealt with this with Dave. Offensive lineman, you take it. It's not a sexy pick. It's not an exciting pick, but it is a useful pick, guys. Maybe?
No, listen, I find them to be sexy when they pan out. I mean, there's nothing better, nothing more important than your O-line when you win in the trenches. So I like it as long as it pans out. It's just that nothing ever pans out.
This is so boring. I feel dead inside.
Electric stuff from Chris Clemmer. Just excitement radiating off that guy, Stephen Che.
I mean, you say it's boring and stuff like that. You need to build through the trenches. Last year, you could say it was very exciting. They had, Aaron Rodgers. They had, they still have Garrett Wilson. But they had Devontae Adams, Breece Hall. That is an exciting team that produced nothing on the field. No positive
We
results.
haven't made the playoffs in 14 years, Jay. Shut the fuck up.
But at least you get a guy who can help protect. And best news for Jets fans, obviously tough turf out there in MetLife. This guy had 30 straight starts. Hopefully Armand Membu can hold up.
That's your bright spot? They got bad turf and he starts a lot?
He's durable. He's durable.
Coach,
that's what you want.
Jets guys, I want to thank y'all. I don't know if you've encountered our Jets fans here at Barstool Sports, but they're rays of sunshine.
I really enjoyed that. It really fired me up for that pick. And I will say this about the young man from Missouri that they did pick. He is a right tackle. That is a glaring need for the Jets. At least they addressed a glaring need. Morgan Moses left. He's going to be your opening day starter at right tackle. A lot of people I know projected Membu to be a guard. He doesn't have great length. He's kind of like Will Campbell, the man the Patriots just took. I don't think Campbell and Membauer are sexy picks, but you can't play without big people. And Justin Fields has got to get his career rolling. At least they got a guy that addresses a significant need.
I like that. You can't play without big people. You can't play without big people. That's what I'm going to tell my wife. Casey's coming in right now for the Panthers pick. Longtime Panthers fan,
hey, Casey.
There's Casey Smith right there.
Coach, I've got my wine. Sorry, it's a little blurry in the background. It's not as good as the wine we had at the mini golf tournament, but, longtime Carolina Panther fan as of like 2 hours ago. So here I am.
So this is a team who obviously knows who they want because as soon as the last pick got in, the Panthers pick is already in.
Up? Wow.
So the Panthers pick is in. Casey, you join us every year. I feel like you're a Cowboys fan. You join us for different teams every year. How'd you land on the Panthers this year?
Well, because I was looking at the lineup when Tom Lay sent it, and I was like, you guys have like an actual Cowboys guest, and like I was a Cowboys fan growing up, and then I was a Patriots fan when Tom Brady's there, and I was like, you know what? I'll just fill in the gaps wherever you guys need me. So I'm just going to be here all night. The Carolina Panthers, though, Coach, I know that they were looking at really getting some guys on defense, but do you think there's any way that they take McMillan to give Bryce Young another weapon? Because they need something, right?
No, you're right. They could definitely use another receiver. I do love what Bryce Young did late in the season. We met Bryce Young at the Super Bowl. Yeah. He is on the rise, man. This Dave Canales, he's done a hell of a job with this young quarterback. Another weapon like McMillan, Egbuka from Ohio State would be a great addition to the team. I like getting another defensive tackle. Derek Brown, their big defensive tackle, missed about the whole season. If they could get a guy like Kenneth Grant from Michigan to go with Derek Brown, that's a formidable inside duo. But I could see defensive tackle or wide receiver in a heartbeat here.
This is a team that gave up a ton of rushing yards, so certainly defensive tackle is a need. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Young needs weapons. Xavier Legette had a decent rookie season. Adam Thielen is pretty up there as far as wide receivers in age. Ted McMillan or even Matthew Golden could be a nice option for Bryce Young with a head coach who's offensive focused.
Well, McMillan, does remind a lot of people as a young Mike Evans. And
that's high praise.
Canales might want to have that big 6'5" X receiver like he had in Tampa. I don't want to put pressure and say he is Mike Evans, but there are some acrobatic, beautiful things that I saw at Arizona this kid did.
Casey, you just said something earlier. You said you were a Dallas Cowboys fan growing up in the 90s and then a Patriots fan for Tom Brady in the 2000s. Are you an asshole?
Yeah, you've known me for a long time. You know I'm an asshole. You know that, Brandon, don't act like you don't know how it works in the South. It's college football, college football, college football. Then I moved to Boston. I fell in love with Boston. What do you want from me?
I'm a Dolphins fan. I've been a Dolphins fan my whole life. I will never win a championship. I have never won a championship, and I'm okay with that. My hair looks okay. My earpiece finally fits. What?
That's what my college team is for. Coach, you know what Brandon said last night on our podcast?
No telling.
He doesn't think that Brock Bowers could block him. What do you have to say about that?
I said when you're going to draft a tight end this year, you want some blocking. Brock Bowers was great in a Pro Bowler, but he couldn't block me, right? No?
I mean,
you think Brock Bowers could block me?
Yes, Brock. I could block you, Brandon.
You couldn't block me,
I
Coach.
could block
you. Coach, you couldn't block me.
Where'd Casey go? I want to talk to Casey. Where is she?
Oh,
hey,
Coach,
Casey,
I see
forget
you with
about
that. Brandon.
I see you with that Texas A&M shirt on. I got to ask you about Shamar Stewart, this pass rusher. This guy's a freak show. What do you know about him? Could Carolina take Shamar Stewart?
I would love that. I know that, like, reading what Carolina, beat writers were saying, that they think that he might be kind of a wild card pick. A lot of people don't know exactly, like, how many, reps he really took at that position, like, because he was injured a little bit. I love him. Obviously, I think he would be great. A&M's defense was very good last year. They've been very good. The problem was with the quarterback and the offense. So I would love it. I don't think he'll go top 10, but I do think he'll go in the first round. I think that he's a great get for whoever he ends up with. And I'm biased, of course. I'm an Aggie, but I don't think he'll go here, but I would love it if he did.
What's with that giant crowd inside Lambeau Field? What are they watching on the screens? Is that the overflow crowd?
Looks like it. Yeah, that's the fortunate ones.
That looks awesome.
I don't know. Where was the best draft that you ever attended? Like, what city? Do you have one that sticks out to you?
Well, I've been to the ones in New York City. It was at Radio City, and I can't imagine it getting any better than that, but this looks pretty good.
Jay, is watching the NFL draft in person even interesting?
Yes, when it is in an arena like 5,000 people, like Radio City. If it's with 100,000 people,
all right. So there it is. Mike Evans 2.0 is headed to the Carolina Panthers. It is Arizona receiver
Tet McMillan.
Tet McMillan, thank you very much. I've only had 4 years as a college football podcaster to get used to the name. Tet McMillan is headed to the Panthers. Casey, I don't know if you nailed it or not. I wasn't really paying attention to what you said, but I'm going to give you credit and say you nailed it.
I did ask. I asked Coach because obviously the defense was something Carolina needed, but they know Bryce Young needs weapons. They need a wide receiver one, and Tet McMillan at Arizona, the way he played was a good option there. So, yeah, I nailed it, but I really didn't want to talk to you. I just wanted to talk to Coach and Che. Like, you know I hate your guts.
Good suit here, boys.
Yeah.
Good suit out of McMillan.
Good suit. Really good player. This guy's got 213 catches, well over 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. And when you get the 50-50 ball, it's 80-20 with this cat. He goes up and snatches it one-handed, right-handed, left-handed. He's a circus act. I love this pick.
Coach, I want you to get one last look at the beautiful Casey Smith as the Panthers go off the clock. And unfortunately, we're about to take a complete 180 as Casey Smith, the beautiful Casey Smith, leaves us. And look what's about to walk in the damn room right now as the New Orleans Saints are on the clock. Well, look what's about to walk in the room right now as the New Orleans Saints are on the clock. It is. I was really hoping he would walk in first because that set up the joke. You guys walk around here just walk in front of the cameras. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Ben, if you can walk in front of all the cameras, that'd be good. Could you stop in front? No? Okay. All right. Good stuff. So once again, the imagery of Casey Smith in your head. Have you met Ben Mintz?
Yes, I have.
Unfortunate. Hey, Ben.
How are we doing, Brandon?
Good, man. How are you doing?
We're going to be doing better if Jackson Dart continues the Ole Miss lineage to New Orleans here in a second.
The Ole Miss lineage? You've had 2 players play for them.
Archie Manning and Deuce McAllister are 2 of the all-time greats.
Archie Manning is not an all-time great. The most overrated player of all time. Anyway, Megan, thoughts?
Thoughts is I've worked here and with Ben for 4 years, and the way this is going to work is that the Saints are going to draft Jackson Dart, and Ben Mintz is going to have the best year of his life.
Yes, because as we know, the Barstool universe exists to make Ben Mintz happy. I have learned that, and I have accepted that a long fucking time ago.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Saints haven't taken a first-round quarterback.
Frank. I walked in and said that.
Yep.
Brandon
asked that in the hallway today.
Right.
He asked that trivia.
Frank, I said that as the trivia before the show, and you just stole it for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Mincy also said this is the first Barstool thing he's been nervous for.
I'm excited. This Dart thing could be a
Why? It's a draft. You're not actually making the pick.
I know, but
He's really
they drafted a first-round quarterback.
Are you going to do that stupid if they take Dart? You're going to do that stupid.
Why are you saying it's Dart? Why Dart?
Just the odds on DraftKings have flown up on Dart being number 9.
All right, boys. Who is it really?
Possible.
I mean, they need help in a lot of
That's a fact.
They need pass rush. They need offensive line.
It's him or Markel Williams. I think.
The offensive line has not worked out recently. Trevor Penning has not turned into a very good player.
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Yeah, so it could be offensive line, but yeah, I mean, you guys need help everywhere. And Derek Carr, is he going to play for you guys again?
No. He's not.
The only car that's in worse shape is Mikey Betts' car.
You're killing it, Frank.
Well, you have a new head coach, Kellen Moore. And usually the new head coach comes in and makes changes at that position.
Yeah.
So it would not be a surprise that they took a quarterback, but I'm kind of surprised it's not Shedeur Sanders based on all the information I've been hearing. Come on, Brandon.
Well, yeah, I get it. But
I love Jackson Dart. I'll say this. He was on our show.
Yep.
We spent a whole day with him. He is tough as hell. He's very athletic. And I think this guy's got a huge upside. I call him Evel Knievel, man. He takes people on. He ain't afraid of nothing.
So I hate where he went to college. I hate Ole Miss. I hate everything about him. I identified Jackson Dart as QB2 months ago because I think he has I just think he has a little bit more of a total package than Shedeur Sanders does. I think he's got a little bit better down the field, a little bit better across the board. There are some negatives to both guys. Neither one are finished products at all. I like Dart a lot. I just don't know if they're picking him at 9. I think they would try to trade back in the first round to get him.
Yeah, but Mickey Loomis is allergic to trading back. If we've learned anything about that tenure, he's literally never traded back, and all they do is trade up and mortgage the
But
future.
again, what Frank said is true. It's been 55 years since they spent a first-round pick on a quarterback. That's the stupidest stat I've ever heard.
First or second-round pick.
Don't you like Spencer Rattler? I thought you liked Rattler. You got Jake Haener, 2 young quarterbacks.
No, I'm not the biggest Rattler fan. I mean, I don't think you can grade him
We'll get
from
into
last
that
year
later.
because he didn't have
All right.
he didn't have a lot of good talent around him though.
I'm
He
just
had a
ready
price.
for the sounds. Everyone brace
Let's
yourselves.
go.
Oh yeah, have you been in a room with Ben Mintz when he's happy?
We might hear some shrieks.
You're gonna hear noises. It's gonna sound like a car starting or a goat's in heat. It's gonna
Let's
be
go.
It's gonna be something. So the Saints war room is all just. Are they doing the national anthem right now? Why are they standing up?
Pledging allegiance.
They're pledging allegiance to something right now. They look very bored. All right, the pick is in.
Here we go.
You know what, Ben? I rarely do this. Why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Brandon. Big moment here for the Saints. Are they going to draft their first quarterback in the first round in 55 years? Are they going to go defense? Mikael Williams. It's Jackson Dart or Mikael Williams, in my opinion. But I want it to be Jackson Dart.
Electric stuff.
Come on. Come on.
Here it is. It is. The pick is in. Goodell's saying it. It is Kelvin Banks Jr.
As usual, I know nothing.
It is offensive tackle. And once again, Ben Mintz proven to be a fool in front of everybody.
But at least the Saints got offensive line help and they need it.
Well, see,
We need help everywhere.
We need help everywhere. This is why he sucks. This is why he sucks. And you're the same way. Because he walked in here, his whole world was built on Jackson Dart being the guy. Jackson Dart.
They
You
still
see
can
how
trade
happy
up
he
for
was?
him later. though,
Immediately they pick somebody else. And he's like, that's okay.
Well, when you're 5-12, you got holes all over the roster.
Megan,
they didn't
thoughts?
pick up the pinning option. They need help on the line. It makes sense.
We need help everywhere. We need to tank the next 2 years, figure out everything.
You guys are more negative than I ever saw you before. I mean, look, the head coach comes in. One of the beautiful things about having some of these OTAs before the draft is you get to look at your team. He probably liked what he saw from Spencer Rattler. He might have liked Jake Haener, and he might have had some good conversations with Derek.
Tell him,
Maybe
Coach.
that's not their biggest weakness.
Get his
now
ass,
they
Coach.
got an offensive lineman that can play tackle or guard. They got a guy last year that can play left tackle.
Yeah,
at least they can line up and compete with people.
Now, you know what? Now that you say it,
All right.
I agree.
Kellen Moore built behind the line.
positive.
Offensive lines in Dallas and
Saints,
Philly.
They might
congratulations.
trade up and get Dart
they
here
still
in
might trade
45
him.
minutes.
Ben, you got to go. You got to go, Ben.
Bye, Brandon.
See you.
You guys were negative.
All right. Speaking of,
It's a
well, if
downer
you
here.
thought that was negative, here we go. We got Shay. Now, this is another special treat. We get to experience a Chicago Bears pick with Chief, who's walking in. Big Cat is walking in. Still mad at Shay, I believe. And do we have White Sox Dave and Eddie somewhere else?
White Sox Dave's in Italy.
He's in Italy.
Might be
That's
zooming
well,
in.
Eddie's obviously somewhere. So hey,
Eddie's
Eddie.
in New York.
How we doing?
Doing good. Big Cat, thoughts leading into this?
Listen, I've always, from day one, I had Colson Loveland as my number one tight end on the board. I hope we take him.
All right, so there goes that suspense.
I hope we take Colson Loveland. This is a prediction. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, all right. So Tyler
Mike
Warren's on
Green.
the board.
Tyler Warren,
Mike Green.
not for me. Not for me.
You like the Michigan tight end?
I like the Michigan tight end a lot. So I actually had him as my number one ranked prospect in the entire draft.
Just the best player in the draft.
In the
Chief,
entire
thoughts?
draft.
Yeah, if that's the pick, whatever Ben Johnson wants.
I don't know if that's the pick. I'm just saying I hope it's the pick because he's my number one pick in the entire draft. If I were the Tennessee Titans, I would have taken Colson Loveland.
Eddie, is that your pick too?
I want Mike Green. We need an edge.
No, Eddie, I think you were saying the other day that you love Colson Loveland.
Oh, yeah. I like him
Yeah,
a lot,
right.
too.
You were saying that
that's the right
yeah,
pick.
Yeah, you were saying Loveland is your guy, and that Ben Johnson 2 tight end sets are going to be incredible.
Coach, you love you like Loveland?
I like Loveland. I think Cole Kmet is a good tight end. I don't know if they're going to use 2 tight ends at a time. I can see a guy. Yeah. I can see a sleeper here, Travion Henderson from Ohio State.
I'm thinking it's going to be
what
Colson
you need to
Loveland.
He kind of reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs, who the head coach had in Detroit.
I like him at 39.
I like that idea as well. I also like Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle from Michigan.
Yeah.
I think he could be a real good addition.
Can I get a prediction in here?
Yeah, let's
I'm
go.
going to say I think it's Colston Loveland, the tight end from.
That's my number one. That's my number
and
one
you've
guy.
been saying that for a while. Che, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Colston Loveland is certainly an interesting pick. Almost everyone had Tyler Warren above him.
Not me.
Except, obviously, Big Cat and Eddie and Chief, who have been Colston Loveland guys
the whole
from
time.
Since day one.
The whole time.
Who's Eddie think they're going to take? Look at him.
Eddie, who do you think?
I wanted Colson. I wanted Loveland.
Yeah, we all wanted Loveland. I hope they fucking do it. Oh my God.
Go ahead and post that clip of Big Cat a couple weeks ago talking about Loveland.
I fucking hope they do it. Oh,
Those are private conversations.
Loveland.
He's the leading receiver on their championship team.
That's a fact, Steven. Come on,
yeah,
please.
with what, 9 catches?
Please.
Yeah, all he caught was screen passes.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God,
it's
I'm
a
hoping
tough,
this is right.
So what would you two? I'll start with you. What would make Loveland the pick instead of Warren?
I mean, Loveland is a better receiver, I think, than Warren.
Thank you, Steven.
He's a more nuanced
Really?
route runner. Yeah. Warren
Lutman is vigorously shaking his head
He
in
can
the
actually
affirmative there.
separate. Warren can't separate.
Thank you.
Warren,
Thank
Warren
you,
also
Lutman.
is being
Also
so
true.
strong
Thank
and
you,
just being able
Lutman.
to break tackles. Loveland's a guy who's 6'6". He could stretch the field. This is a
Thank
good
you.
pick. In a
Yep.
bad draft, go get a good tight end. Sure.
Get a great tight end.
Get a great tight end.
number
Possibly
one-
get the number one player in the entire draft.
Exactly.
Did Tennessee make a mistake?
Yeah, I would
People
say
are-
so.
people are saying
now,
that.
I don't know what the pick is, though, so it could be something else.
We're doing it that fast? You're even getting on the Colson Loveland's the best player in the draft thing?
I told you, yeah, but to be fair, I did tell you guys before the show, Loveland is my tight end one.
Yeah.
You did?
He did.
He did actually say that.
He said,
I have serious worries about Warren being able to separate and just be a menace of a receiver. I think he's going to be a good blocker. I think he's going to be someone that you get the ball down low to and let him work after, but he's not going to be able to separate and take top off
All right, here's
defense
the
like
pick.
Loveland can.
Tight end one over there. He's wearing a ball knower
Who's
hat.
it
Where'd
going
you
to
get
be?
that?
Who's it going to be?
Store.barstoolsports.com for the ball
man.
knower hats.
Please, Loveland, please.
Who could it possibly be?
Please,
Roger Goodell
please.
telling us right now the pick is in a second. Well, we're honoring
we're
Steve
doing
McMichael,
that. Oh,
67 years
R.I.P.
old.
Mongo.
R.I.P.
Not
I
only
got to do a
Chicago,
live show with him once. He was the fucking man.
not only Chicago Bears legend, but also WCW legend.
Yes.
Four
was he-
Horsemen.
Four Horsemen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Member of the 1985 defensive line, I believe, for the greatest
that's
defense
right.
in the history of the game.
Half the Four Horsemen are taken out.
Let's
Jesus,
see.
Steven.
Come on, Steven.
What?
Guy just died from ALS.
I mean, we're
We
running
still
low
got
on.
most of them. We
Do
still
we?
got Arn, Flair, and Tully.
Oh, Tully.
Who do you think the other one was?
Barry Windham
Benoit.
was in the Four Horsemen too.
You don't count the. Okay, whatever. We'll talk later about that. Jeez Louise.
Wow. Country strong. That's country
Which part of
strong.
Idaho?
What kind of farm?
I don't know.
Probably a football farm?
Potatoes, probably
I don't think they make football farms,
Farm?
Big
Yeah,
Cat.
they just grew footballs.
I think football farms are a thing. This is the 50th anniversary of Walter Payton getting chosen to the Bears. So that happened in 1975 draft, of course, because
Good
that was
omen.
50 years ago, from Jackson State University and Columbia, Mississippi. A lot of people don't know that. This is the longest I've ever seen him drag out a pick.
Well, Mongo.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
But then we had to do
Have
the
some
50th.
respect, Brandon.
Yeah.
Jesus
I do
Christ.
have some respect. I'm the one that said he was a great. I said all his accolades.
What's the appropriate duration for a moment?
Oh, we got him. We got him.
Unbelievable.
Got our guy.
It is
How did they do it?
Colston,
Yeah.
Colston Loveland.
Oh,
tiny from
Bearman's
Michigan.
there.
Oh, we love it.
I, for one, am shocked,
That's
Coach.
exactly what I wanted.
Well, I mean, the guy is a heck of a receiver. He caught 8 screen passes this year. I mean, they had the worst pass offense in the country.
Hey, he's getting
so
sassy.
you're really going back to his film from 2 years ago when J.J. McCarthy was the quarterback. This guy can run after the catch. He's the perfect complement to Kmet, their other tight end. You can detach him. He can create some matchups in the passing game. But I think he's going to be a work in progress. He didn't do a lot at Michigan catching the ball except run screen
He
passes.
didn't have, he didn't have a quarterback.
Plenty of tread left on the tires. Didn't take many hits last
That's
year.
right.
Yeah, love that.
Brandon, would you like to hear a fun fact?
I so much want to hear a fun fact from you.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with the draft. Well, a little bit to do with the draft. Stephen Shea gave me 3 picks. The first one was Anthony Edwards, clutch player of the year, lost.
Yep.
Incredible value is what he said. The second was the Raiders take an offensive lineman.
Uh-huh.
He has a third pick pending, and I told him if he goes 0 for 3, he's in deep shit. Do you want to guess what the third pick is?
I'm going to guess the third pick is.
No. Don't say anything, Che.
You gotta-
Don't say anything,
you
Che.
gotta preface this
Don't
with
say
the
anything,
odds.
Che.
Is it somebody
What's
to the Bucks?
What's the third pick?
Somebody to the Bucks.
No.
Worse.
It's not even in the draft. It is for the Denver Nuggets and
Oh,
Los
my
Angeles
God.
Clippers series to have a buzzer beater.
30-1. I said it was a great value.
Wait, 30-1. If you go over 3, you're in deep shit.
Those highlights look great. They look great.
The first pick was 50-1.
highlights.
All right,
Here's the finals.
Eddie. I don't
Green
know.
hoodie.
Big Cat and Chief just left, by the way. So I guess we're
All
done
right,
with the
good
Bears,
pick.
Eddie.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Shout out to White Sox Dave in Italy.
In Italy.
That's a disaster.
He's at the conclave right now.
I thought
He's voting for the Pope.
Yes.
I don't want White Sox Dave to have a say in presidential elections, much less the papacy. Is that how we say it? Papacy?
I thought you were going to say he's at the Bears draft party in Italy.
He might be.
Forza.
He might be. Colston Loveland, our first guy not at the draft tonight,
Love that.
I believe. Well, Kelvin Banks might not have been there either.
And Membo was not there.
Membo was not there. Okay, so never mind. Our third guy not at the draft tonight. The 49ers pick is already in, by the way. So these guys are kind of humming along here. And we don't have a guest for the 49ers pick, too. So we have that going for us that whoever the 49ers, they've just gone to commercial. So let's reset. Okay. Let's reset. We're 10 picks in.
10 picks in.
10 picks in. We got the Niners coming up to start the middle 10. We've just seen a tight end go off the board, the first tight end. What's the story of the first 10 picks? It kind of has to be that trade with the Browns and the Jags, and the Browns, what we think, fleecing the Jags, and the Jags going up to get Travis Hunter.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a team give up 2 firsts and a second-round pick for a receiver or a cornerback? That's quarterback currency. I don't see how you do. Travis Hunter has to lead the league or be in the top 5 in the league in receiving yardage in perpetuity for the rest of his career if this trade is going to make sense in my mind.
Coach?
Well, when you use words like perpetuity,
I liked it.
I don't know what the hell you even said.
Yeah.
I think it was a surprising trade. I do compliment Jacksonville, though, for going and getting Travis Hunter. They have a market, I think, that needs a superstar, needs a guy like that to jazz up this franchise. And I think he can help their quarterback. As I said, they got to get Trevor Lawrence playing. But to me, the big story is who's the next quarterback off the board?
Doesn't happen tonight.
Well, it's got to be Shedeur Sanders here in the next 10 or 12 picks, or it'll be a shocker to everybody sitting at home.
So let's do that. Let's go through right now. So let's say Shedeur Sanders is our subject here. The 49ers at 11 aren't taking him. The Cowboys at 12 aren't taking him. The Dolphins at 13 with Tua aren't taking him. Should they? Maybe. I don't know. The Colts at 14, probably still riding the Anthony Richardson train.
They just got Daniel Jones, too. So.
Yeah. The Falcons at 15. They just picked one in the first round last year.
Maybe they'll do it again.
The Arizona Cardinals.
I've heard that they could be okay with moving on from Kyler Murray, but it'd be a major surprise.
But let's go back to the Giants and the Browns,
who are still out there with some,
they still
with some
could
capital
move
in their
up
pocket.
here. They could move up here and end up getting Mason Graham and the quarterback,
and the Browns
or
have
Abdullah
some
Carter and the quarterback. So the Giants and the Browns, I think, have a chance to get the young quarterback and an impact player in the top 5. That could be a hell of a draft.
The Browns all of a sudden have some chess pieces, too.
Yes, they do.
They've got 33 or 32, or they have the first pick of the second round, and they have 36 overall. So they can package those and move up into the teens for sure.
I think that the Browns are setting themselves up for another year of tanking and setting themselves up strong for the 2026 draft to then take a quarterback. They're banking on Jacksonville's pick to be maybe in the top 10. That's part of why this is such a great haul that they cooped in. I think they're gunning for Aller or Arch Manning in 2026. I don't think they take a QB today.
Frank, I'm curious about the. So this is a coal miner's hat, but the Niners were a part of the gold rush. Do you wear a hat like this
it's
for
a miner's helmet? So you had to go into the mines.
Clearly.
What are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to do, Brandon?
So they're sitting at 21. They're our next quarterback.
They need to move up here and perhaps get. They said they're going to add 2 more quarterbacks. They're going to have to add 2 more because they only have 1.
Still playing footsie.
Still playing footsie with them. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think
Aaron Rodgers has to go where Aaron Rodgers is the main star, and no one else could actually trump Aaron Rodgers.
So we have the Bengals coming up, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Broncos, and the Steelers are the next one that really looks like they need a quarterback. They're actually showing that on the graphic right now. ESPN, they're showing who's the quarterback for all these teams, and the Steelers with the 21st pick. I think Steelers at 21st pick is our next quarterback destination. I don't see it happening until then.
Unless it's the Cleveland Browns
trading ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ahead of Pittsburgh.
So that would put the Bucks in line to possibly trade down. That would put the
Jason
Seahawks
Light is
in
no
line.
stranger to trading down in the first round, so that wouldn't surprise me at all. Neither is Cardinals GM Monty Ossenfort. He's been known to move around too.
Let's just do it one more time since we're here and he's on the screen. Preposterous look out of Schefter,
He looks awesome.
No, he got a tie, he's got a shirt, and he's got a hoodie on. And I don't. It's not that cold there tonight.
Dress for the weather.
It's not that cold there tonight.
It's what, 50s?
What's the temperature in Green Bay, Wisconsin right now?
Low 50s, high 40s.
I don't think that's suit jacket.
It's the same as it is outside right now.
I don't think. Oh, it's nice here. I don't think that's suit jacket over hoodie.
Degrees.
How much?
51 degrees.
I don't think that's hoodie and suit jacket.
That's
cloudy,
perfect
67% humidity, and 8-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't need all of that.
A suit jacket.
8-mile-an-hour winds.
It helps paint the picture.
We have, thank you for your service. I don't know his name, but we have a member of our military up there talking, yes, thank you, talking about this pick. Don't know what they're doing. They're probably honoring service members in some way, and we should all stop and honor our service members. Don't you boys agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yep. Thank you for your service. We had chaps here earlier. There's some more. I don't know what branch of the military we're in right now, but there they are. So the Niners pick is in. After the Niners, we have coming up, we have the Cowboys. We have the Dolphins. We have the Colts. We have the Falcons. We have a guest for the Cowboys. So as soon as the Niners get out of the way here, we'll go straight to him. The Niners have selected their pick. Why does it say it on the screen that they've selected if Goodell's not even at the thing yet? That's bullshit.
He is at the podium.
Where is he? Oh, it's just what a shot. That reminds me of the shot of the Wonders from the Hollywood Television Showcase from the 1996 movie That Thing You Do.
Who could forget?
Coach, did you like that one?
One of my favorite shots.
I was about to say I saw that.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw a movie? Like 83, 84?
It's a pretty long time.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of gave
So
up
there
on
goes the edge from Georgia to the 49ers. Mykel Williams. And I don't know why I didn't see this coming. This just seems like a 49ers guy.
He's huge.
Just a beast off the edge. Just seems like a 49ers guy. Is that right, Coach?
It is. They like length. They like these big, long defensive linemen that can play multiple positions. This guy can go inside in nickel. He can play outside. They lost Eric Armstead to the Jaguars a couple years ago. Floyd just left town. They needed a guy to go play opposite of Bosa.
Yeah.
And Williams plays with great effort. He is a good player, but he's really raw as a pass rusher. But he does fit that mold the 49ers look for, Brandon.
We're light on Pro Bowlers on this show, so I'm going to bring one in right now.
Good.
We got the Cowboys coming in. How about a little Trayvon Diggs action,
yeah.
huh? How about a little Trayvon Diggs action?
Diggs,
How about
man.
a Pro Bowler up in this motherfucker? Trayvon Diggs with the Cowboys. What's up, man?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Doing good. What's the thought process down there in Dallas tonight?
I think we might go receiver.
Are you on the roof of the stadium? Where are you at right now?
No, I'm not. I'm in the warehouse.
In the warehouse. He's hanging out in the warehouse as they find out their future. Che, what do you think about this pick for the Cowboys?
So, I mean, if they do go receiver, Trayvon has a little bit of a receiver-type background. That's kind of the in vogue thing right now with cornerbacks that you were one of the pioneers of doing with the receiver background, being able to catch the ball. How does that help you specifically on defense?
Helps a lot because if you look at a lot of corners and DBs and stuff, they lack ball skills, and if you can catch the ball at a efficient rate, it'll get them easier playing the ball perspective and being on defense.
We got obviously a very polarizing prospect in the draft that went number 2 overall to Jacksonville tonight, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Which way do you think he should play in the NFL? Do you think he should play full-time cornerback, full-time receiver, a little bit of both? Which way do you think he heavies?
I think a little bit of both, but I think he should play more corner because he can catch the ball real well, and I just know it's going to be so easy for him, like day and night. Like it's going to be so easy for him. But I still think he should get, offensive reps for sure. He's a good playmaker as well, but defense is going to be so much easier.
Coach, Cowboys on the clock. Thoughts about what they might do here?
Well, while we have Mr. Diggs here, I'm just curious how it's going with the new defensive staff and how these OTAs have gotten off to. Have they been a good start?
Yeah, defensive coaches is good. The whole defensive staff is good. Everyone's coming together, just talking, getting to know the players, getting to know each other, and just, trying to build that bond and have a good defense.
Well, it looks like you guys just helped your offensive line because you drafted Tyler Booker, big-time offensive guard from Alabama. That'll make Prescott up.
Nasty.
Okay, that makes sense too. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. We just got rid of Zach. Zach just retired, my fault, and gotta have somebody come in and play.
Yeah, good clarification there, because getting rid of Zach and Zach retiring are two totally different things.
Two totally different things.
Well, congratulations. By the way, I don't know if you're watching, but your draft pick, wearing a great suit, running to the stage. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody run this fast to the stage. He is running a full, flat-out 40 to get to Roger Goodell and get his career started. This is some great energy out of this draft pick, by the way.
This is good stuff. This is great stuff. I like this a lot.
Trayvon Diggs, I want to thank you for your time and appreciate that, and good luck next season, man.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right, that is Trayvon Diggs with the Dallas Cowboys. We go from a Pro Bowler into into another vast pit of misery. If you thought the Jets fans were down bad, wait till I give you these two right here. To my left, I have Frank the Tank, long-suffering Dolphins fan.
I got Chris Greer's hat right here.
Yep, putting on Ben Mentz's hat. It's his hat for multiple reasons. Make sure you turn it around so we can see the word on it. Yeah, that helps a lot. And now we have over here another one of Barstool's premier idiots and nincompoops.
Indeed.
Nikki Smokes. And we apologize.
Chris Greer. Chris Greer's the nincompoop.
We apologize that you have to be here tonight and you're not out chasing birds and broads. Thoughts about the Dolphins pick tonight?
I'd like to see us go with a cornerback, Will Johnson.
From Michigan?
Yes.
You actually know his name?
Yeah.
I'll be goddamn.
I know. I looked it up like 20 minutes ago.
Will Johnson's actually what you tell girls here when they get hired, too.
That one's going over my head. But
I figured it would. So, thoughts, Stephen Shea?
I mean, Miami has a lot of needs. One thing I do want to say, just rounding out the Cowboys conversation, if I may.
Don't touch me.
Tyler Bucker has one of my favorite quotes when describing his game. He's played left guard pretty much his whole career at Alabama. Described it as legalized assault, and said he makes guys not love football anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of guy you want to draft. I know he's a guard. I know it's 12 overall, which is pretty high. In a draft that is probably not great, that's kind of where guards are going to go. I like this pick for Dallas a lot.
Thought process. You perked up when you heard those words.
I did.
Legalized assault.
When you play against Booker, you know he's there. And if you're a defensive lineman, you're like, holy shit, I got to go up against this guy.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested right now in Miami, Brandon, because they're on the clock. And we got these two Dolphin guys in here.
Yep.
3.
Oh, yeah, you are one.
I forgot.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
I said this name before. I've said this name. This is the third time I'm going to say it. Kenneth Grant from Michigan.
Yeah.
They lost.
I think it makes sense here.
Wilkins. They lost Christian Wilkins a couple years ago. They got to get a guy that can run like hell and rush the passer from the inside.
Yeah,
and
but
set up Chop Robinson and some of these young rushers on the outside, I think.
we need so much help, though, Coach.
Everybody
we need
does.
corners, D tackles, O linemen,
The Dolphins keep
quarterback,
the Dolphins keep
GM,
going
front
after
office.
The Jets sloppy seconds. That's how bad everything is right now. We're getting the Jets sloppy seconds. Mike White. We got Zach Wilson.
Frank, you're talking about backup quarterbacks, okay?
Well, everything sucks in Miami.
Nobody cares who the backup quarterback is.
We haven't won a playoff game in 25
Same.
years.
Song
They
and
haven't won a
dance.
playoff game since I've been born, and
Every
whoever
year.
we pick
Update
will
the
suck.
clip. Fuck! Fuck, guys!
Sucks. It might be
Shit.
my fault. Might be my fault.
All right. Now, let's all reset. I like what Coach had to say. I don't like Michigan people. I think they're assholes and they're cheaters.
Agreed.
But this is a good player.
I'm just trying to keep it light here. I mean, we got Flipper over here with a dunce cap on. We got this guy here, he's suicidal walking in here. To be honest with you, Brandon, you haven't been real positive either. Kenneth Grant, make the pick. He's a hell of a player, and he has something the Dolphins don't have. Look at Booker running
Skill?
around.
Yeah, I love Booker. I love
mean,
Booker.
this guy-
I wish we could draft
We have
Booker.
nobody with skill and ability.
And he hit the
he
Cowboys
just hit the
star.
Cowboys
I
star.
fucking love this guy.
I do too.
They're all hitting the logo.
Are they?
I've never seen that before.
Okay. Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
You know, you've stepped into the preeminence as Barstool's main douchebag in recent weeks.
Indeed.
You dressing the part now? What is this outfit?
I mean, this is just like a dumb, tough South Florida look. Little wife beater.
You got half of it right.
Baseball jersey, shoes. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, it's better than
The
you
hair
wear the
looks
same
good.
thing every draft year.
The hair looks good. It looks like it's coming in.
Yeah, last year you shit on my hairline, and now I have
Because
the
it was
hairline.
bad.
It was.
All right.
Thank you, Jay.
Drop my glasses.
You all right, Frank?
Yeah, drop my glasses.
Okay. All right.
the pick in?
Was the Dolphins mask a little hot?
A little bit, but I have to wear the Chris Greer hat. Yes, you know, he doesn't. I wouldn't trust him.
All right, Frank. Stop. Let me stop you there.
The garbage.
Let me ask you, what would make you happy with this pick?
What would make me happy is Chris Greer announces his
That's not going to happen,
resignation.
Frank.
I'm with Frank.
What's a player? What's a player?
They need so many. I would have actually liked to trade down, to tell you the truth. I would have liked to have traded down, get more draft picks. I mean, there's nobody in this draft that's going to help them. There is no help for the Dolphins. Next year, the Dolphins are going to be a top 5 pick, and we just got to hope they don't fuck
Let's get a
that one
quarterback
up.
next year. Let's
get a new coach, get a new GM, new
Let's get
quarterback.
a new
I like the
stadium,
coach. Am I
a
the
new
only one
owner.
that likes the
No,
coach?
I'm not on McDaniel. Out.
I didn't ask you if you were in or out on McDaniel. I like the coach.
He
sucks.
He doesn't care if players show up 20 minutes late for practice. It's a party. It's a country club.
Yeah, but he
There's
wears
no
sweatpants.
discipline. He wants to be everyone's friend.
He looks like a coke dealer.
What?
He does. Yeah.
Why?
when he wears his
You're
glasses.
saying that?
I know what one looks like.
Fair point.
Coach, you didn't happen to bring a pistol with one bullet, did you?
No, I thought about it, but I couldn't get on the plane with it.
Well, if you got it, give me it.
All right.
Brandon, is there any player that would make you happy here as a Dolphins fan?
Let me
You don't know
refer
who's
to
on
my
the board.
friendly Stephen Shea mock draft here. I like Kenneth Grant. I like the defensive line help. I like once you lost Wilkins, you needed to replace something there. I like him. I like Michael Williams. He's off the board. By the way, your mock draft is just fucked.
Oh, just absolutely nailed pick number 12.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler Booker. You
Yeah.
had him. Okay, that's the first pick you've gotten right since number 4.
A 1 for 1 on my last one.
You know, you hear about Miami, that Tyreek Hill's not happy.
Yeah.
Then you hear they're going to trade Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Now, these are not good signs here in the offseason.
No.
Let's be honest. What's your take on that, Dolphins fans?
Get his ass.
Get it out. Gone.
I want
Done.
them all out, as much
Clear it out.
draft capital
Let
as we
it
could get.
burn to the ground.
Fire
Tear
the
the
GM,
damn thing
start
down.
over.
Start over.
Did you
With
think
a
it
new
was going to be
GM.
that negative?
No, I didn't. I thought the Dolphins were on their way until
We
Tua
were.
got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in playoffs 2 straight years. These guys act like we've been a 3-win team.
What
haven't
do we do in the
won a
playoffs,
playoff
Brandon? We
game
get fucking
since
blown out every
2000.
fucking time. It's a culture problem. It starts at the fucking top.
I'm just saying the Jets.
Bill Clinton was still president.
The Jets fans were here earlier. They got it worse off than we.
Who gives
No,
a
they
fuck
don't.
about the Jets?
No, they don't.
They
Why
won
are
the
we
AFC
yelling?
Championship
We
game.
can get into sloppy seconds.
That's backup quarterbacks, Frank. Nobody cares about backup quarterbacks.
Well, no.
Well,
Backups start for the Dolphins.
Broken.
Backups
Yes, you
start
need a
for the
backup
Dolphins.
quarterback.
Braxton Berrios.
The backup quarterback of the Dolphins is essentially a starter.
Good God, could this pick just please come in?
Thank you, Coach.
Please.
Chad Pennington.
Stop.
Chad
stop,
Pennington
stop.
was
That
Miami Dolphins legend.
Where's Jake? When does my plane leave?
Pick
gotta
is
be.
in.
You leaving tomorrow? You don't want to play golf in the morning?
No, I'm leaving.
All right, here's the pick, guys. It is. Thank God.
Kenneth Grant.
Kenneth Grant.
There you go,
The
Coach.
first big call of the night for Coach John Gruden. Actually, I don't know that.
It
I
might
to
have
keep the
been my
score.
favorite player in the whole draft.
You love this
honestly.
guy.
This guy comes out of the stack, man. You want to throw a bubble screen over there? Kenneth Grant will walk you down, man.
Listen to
he
him.
comes out of the trash. This guy plays his ass off. I love Kenneth Grant. He's a 3 technique, a guy that can play on the outside shoulder of the guard, and he can move. He's a great football player at Michigan. I love this pick.
Let me say
and
this,
hey,
Coach.
you need to cheer up, Frank the Tanker. I'm never going to go trade baseball cards with you again.
Coach, I gotta say this about Kenneth Grant. He is the John Gruden grittiest player of the draft. Brought to you by Chevy. That is
Yeah.
Kenneth Grant. That is who you have picked as the greatest player of this draft. If trucks got drafted, Chevy would be the first pick every single
Watch
year.
this.
It is completely bust-proof and full of grit, power, and dependability, plus 100 years of experience getting the job done. Chevy trucks have earned more dependability awards for trucks than any other brand, according to J.D. Power 2025. When you're on the clock, you'll want a pickup that won't let you down, and in every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard. Draft yours at Chevy.com. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more award details. Once again, presented by Chevy, the John Gruden grittiest player of the draft. Kenneth Grant going to the Dolphins.
Coach, I got one question about him. Is he a leader?
He couldn't lead you and Frank the Tank to take a leak down at the freaking bathroom, man. But I think his playing style, you're going to be amazed.
They're not
He's a
gonna
great
care.
communicator. This guy's got a contagious vibe. You're going to love him. Trust me, you're going to love him.
Well, we loved Christian Wilkins too, and they let him walk.
All right. Thank you, Nicky Smokes. Outstanding.
That's how the Dolphins work.
What do you got? Because I got to bring in the guys from New York, my Colts fans.
Coach, how many defensive tackles have you seen take down a running back down the field?
Not many. Not many.
Kenneth Grant won them.
So I have a couple of Colts fans over in New York. I need to see them, so I remember who they are. They're John Rich and Vibbs. John Rich and Vibbs are in New York City. Two good guys, by the way.
boy,
I
I
usually
love
can't
these
say that
guys.
about these New York guys because they're assholes, but these two are good guys. Vibbs.
Thank you, Brandon Walker.
Thank you.
I actually meant it more about Vibbs than you. Colts fan, go Vibbs. What are you thinking here?
The Colts basically ran this pick up immediately. We're going Tyler Warren. We need a tight end. Mo Alley Cox ain't cutting it.
I actually we've had a lot of teams running picks up. Go ahead, John Rich. Sorry.
I was going to say Tyler Warren. He's a great prospect. I think he'll fit the Colts real well. A lot of people are saying that the best tight end in the draft is actually Harold Fannin Jr. from the Bowling Green State University Falcons. He had all the best stats this year. Honestly, it wasn't even close.
John Rich, where did you go to college? Where'd you go to college?
Bowling Green. Bowling Green.
So if this is in fact Tyler Warren, I thought this was a top 10 guy. You guys have educated me that you actually all like Colson Loveland more. I thought this was a slam dunk top 10 guy if this is in fact him, Coach.
Yeah, I know they liked Loveland. Loveland fits
It is
them
Tyler
better.
Warren, by the way.
Well, that's a good pick. I think, as was pointed out, it's a need pick for them. They've got to get their quarterback situation solved. But Tyler Warren, he plays wildcat quarterback. This guy plays fullback, tailback, wildcat quarterback. He's versatile. He can block, and he is a great competitor. When Penn State needed a play, they went to Warren. I think Ballard down in Indianapolis has got to be pleased to get him.
Is his grandfather asleep? It looked like his grandfather was asleep at his draft party. All right, boys, you got Vibs. You were excited to get this guy. You kind of ran to the mic yourself. Thoughts?
Very excited. He's a freak athlete. My only problem is Anthony Richardson that guy? Coach, what do you think?
That's another question for another day. I think he was never the guy. I couldn't believe he went 4 when he got drafted. But again, that's probably something they'll try to solve next year in next year's draft.
But that's why we got Daniel Jones, franchise guy.
Yeah.
Go Colts.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you sure did. Hey, John Rich, cheer up, man. Things are okay.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it, Brandon.
I like both of you guys, and I don't like many people. All right, so that's the Colts, guys. We go for, boy, the happiness parade just continues to roll along. The rays of sunshine that walk in here, we got the Falcons on the clock. And Big T is joining us right now. Hello, Big T.
Good evening, Brandon.
Good evening to you, sir.
You as well.
How's your life going?
It's going great.
Good. You're wearing the Falcons hat tonight, as it is draft night. What do you think the Falcons ought to do here?
I mean, you know I'm a James Pierce guy, Brandon.
He's not good enough to go here.
He's good enough to go way before here.
He didn't do shit last year.
He was really good.
At what? Football?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think James Pierce is a number 15 pick in the draft?
He wouldn't be my pick here. He's a little too skinny to go in this type of range. He also has some off the field stuff that potentially could drop him to later tonight
that's a
or even
smoke
tomorrow.
Because he went to Tennessee.
I like Jalen Walker here.
Love it.
Georgia
Bulldog.
Georgia. You're right there in Atlanta. Raheem Morris is a defensive guy. They got to get this defense playing, man. They fired their defensive coordinator last year. They couldn't stop anybody. I like the idea of getting Walker, who's a jack of all trades. He plays off the ball. He plays on the ball. When Kirby Smart needed to use this chess piece, he did on a weekly basis. So he's got to have some football intelligence. I know this. He's got a nose for the ball. He's tough, and he's very athletic. I'd love to see him get Walker right here.
Where would you, if Jalen Walker is the pick, where are you playing him? Is he an edge rusher for you? Is he a stand-up linebacker?
Well, I'm going to play him inside at linebacker, and I'm going to find some creative ways to get him on the line of scrimmage, to rush the passer. A little bit like Micah Parsons is used in Dallas. He's that kind of an athlete, and that's how they used him at Georgia. He was all over the place.
Does that excite you?
Yeah, what do we think about Mike Green, Coach?
Love Mike Green. You know, there's going to be
you
some
smile
questions
for Mike
about
Green.
the off-the-field stuff. You don't know the exactness of that. That's the only reason Mike Green is sitting here. This young guy from Marshall lit it up at the Senior Bowl.
Talented.
17 sacks. He got Ohio State. He got everybody. Mike Green would definitely give Atlanta a pass rusher that they need.
Love that.
Visiting the trusty Stephen Shea mock draft, Mike Green, he had him number 10 to the Bears. So you'd be getting positional value if you were able to get Mike Green. Of course, right here, and this could still happen, Stephen Shea has the Falcons picking Michael Williams, which would be a neat trick if it were to happen. What?
He went 11th to San Francisco.
I know, that's the joke I was setting up. And then you poo-pooed all over it. You just shit all over it. I couldn't even get them a joke.
Sorry.
It's fine. It wasn't a good joke, as most
Why
of
do
mine
you
are.
say Pierce? Just curious.
He's a Tennessee guy.
Well, you know why,
So
Coach.
am I.
He's an animal, Coach. This time last year, he was being mocked number 1 overall.
Yeah, and then
that's how talented he is.
Then he had
Coach.
2 more sacks than I did.
Then the team started running the ball against him, and then
he's
Coach.
You know, you've watched. You know how talented that guy is.
You're not
He's
even
going to be a
saying things, you're just
monster in the
saying-
league.
You're a hell of a putt-putt player. I'll leave it at that.
You are too, Coach.
You are one hell of a putt-putt player.
I appreciate that.
The biggest putt-putt champion I've ever seen.
Well, we didn't win, but
What a
I
beautiful
appreciate
show of
that.
respect that was.
Yeah.
That was nice. You ever seen him shoot a free throw? Make him shoot a free throw.
No.
Yeah, damn good shooter. You wouldn't think it. Damn good shooter.
Why wouldn't you think it, Brandon?
Because of how big you are and ugly.
Right.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Hmm?
Nothing.
Fair. Anyway, the Falcons, the first team in a while who has actually used the clock.
Yeah.
The last 3 or 4 teams.
This could be a trade here.
I was
This
checking.
could be a trade, Brandon.
You're right. I was checking. We're an hour 43 in this draft. And we're about halfway through.
You know, the Falcons, when they had Michael Vick, they were rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were an every year threat to win the Super Bowl. But the last several years, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10, say it again, 7-10.
7-10.
Their offensive line hasn't played to what they're advertised. They got a lot of investments there. They got a new quarterback. What's going to happen to Cousins, Brandon? Are they going to trade Cousins to Cleveland? Are they going to do that? Is this part of this, I don't know, this time warp we're having here? But they need defensive players. They got to address the Kirk Cousins situation. And I think their offensive line could use some help. Jake Matthews is getting old at left tackle.
Coach, this is about the 4th quarterback you've had going to Cleveland in this draft. You've had Shedeur going there. You've had Dark going there. Now you got Cousins going. They can't have them all.
I just like to mimic what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
You know, people have been banging on the side of my head. Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders,
Yeah.
Shedeur
Yeah.
Sanders. Well, let's go.
Let's see
We
him.
got about 4 teams in the league that don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
This
All right?
this is a team.
Get up and get the guy.
This is a team that treats the NFL draft like fantasy football. I mean,
Yeah.
last year was Michael Penix Jr. 2 years ago, we got Bijan, Drake London the year before that, Kyle Pitts the year before that. All guys that you could draft in fantasy football. If the Falcons are serious about winning NFL football games, I'd like to see them make an investment for a guy that you cannot play. in fantasy
There
football.
are some great receivers on the board.
It won't happen. It won't happen. But the funniest pick here is Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
Because if they were to pick a quarterback in every first round, I think that's just
Let's do
fucking
it.
hilarious.
Let's do it.
Just pick a quarterback. You're going to hit once. Looking at Mel Kiper's best available, not to shout out the competition or anything, but he's got Shedeur Sanders as his best available. Jalen Walker, Will Johnson, Amarion Hampton, Josh Simmons. Shedeur Sanders, I believe we're seeing his
tent?
draft party in a tent. Well, he's probably warm out there in Texas. Probably at Dion's big ranch out there in Texas, I would assume. So having a good time. There's Jalen Walker. Good suit there. Maroon tux or maybe red tux. I can't tell.
To emphasize what Coach Gruden was saying, I mean, they're using the full clock. I wouldn't be surprised to work on the clock to try and get someone up to this spot because otherwise, we got the pick is in. Is it from Atlanta?
Frank, can I say something? Has my hair been messed up all night? That looks more like an eagle than a falcon, if I'm just being honest.
That was my first thought as well.
I think that's an eagle's. That's an eagle's beak. What is it? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Apparently the young lady who was in charge of procuring the masks is also in the room. Frank, were you not in charge of procuring the
I
masks?
said finding a falcon's mask. This is probably she had trouble finding a bird.
Okay, she did a good
Find
job.
his birds.
She did a damn good job. Did you Did you outsource all your hats or just the Falcons mask?
Oh, I sent it what my ideas were.
Blutman, who are you picking here?
I'm picking Mike Green, and I'm going to draft him in my fantasy football league, IDP league.
Your what?
My individual defensive player fantasy football league.
Why are you saying it with that much attitude?
Because Chase said the Falcons only draft players you could draft in fantasy football, and I just proved them wrong 18 seconds later.
He also said IDP, and you asked, what is that?
I did.
Which is why he said it again.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you, Big T. You the man, Big T.
No, I understand why he. I blacked out for a second.
All right, no problem. No
All
problem.
right. So we're back on track here. Coach, you over there? You texting your resume to competitors? Or?
No, I'm reading my notes here. This is an exciting part of this draft.
The middle. A lot of intrigue here.
Atlanta, if they could trade back 3 or 4 spots and get a couple more picks and get the player they want, that's a great move for the Falcons. And I got a feeling that's what they're doing right now. Otherwise, I think it's going to be Walker or Green. It's got to be an impact defensive player because they need one here in Atlanta.
Thoughts, Big T?
I agree. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
That's why we got him here.
Well,
there's the commissioner.
Are you okay? Brandon, are you okay with Goodell wearing sneakers tonight?
I don't care, but it's just. Who was that, Coach? The commissioner.
Well, he's at the podium.
Yeah, he is at the podium. There he is, right there. Favorite of everybody at the desk. We've got Jalen Walker again. The second straight call by John Gruden.
Well, this is to me an easy pick. You're right in your backyard in Athens, Georgia. You go down there, you send Raheem Morris and your coaching staff, and you watch this guy play.
Yeah.
He plays his ass off. He plays on the line of scrimmage, over the center, over the guard, over the tackle. Then he plays as a stand-up linebacker. I'll say this, Milroe, the quarterback from Alabama, perhaps the best athlete in this draft, he spied on Milroe in the Alabama game and walked him down twice. It was impressive, man. This guy gives you something that you need, playmaking at multiple positions. And just like I said earlier, Dallas uses Micah Parsons all over the field. It's hard to prepare for a guy like that. I think they'll use Walker in a similar fashion.
Big T, congratulations. You got your guy.
Yep.
I'm going to let you go now because I got to go to the Pro Bowl well again. I've got a 6-time Pro Bowler joining us right now. Ooh. Out in the desert, Arizona Cardinals. I got Calais Campbell joining the show right now. Big time. What's up, Mr. Campbell, 6-time Pro Bowler? What's the mood out there in Arizona tonight?
Man, everybody's just happy, man. You know, I'm happy being in Arizona. Signing for the draft. Somebody's kid. Somebody's going to have a drink come through today, man. That's always a blessing.
Coach, that's a player right there.
Calais, you're one of my all-time favorites, man. How do you keep doing it? How do you keep doing it? I remember you at Darnell Dockett years ago. How do you keep playing pro football at this position for this many years? What's the secret?
Man, hard work and love, baby. I love the game so much. I'm willing to put the work in again and again, and I work so hard to make sure I'm pretty decent at it. You know, hopefully I can still be a pretty good player this year. But year 18 is crazy. I'm surprised myself. I didn't expect to play this long, but I'm blessed and highly favored, and I hope to dominate one more time.
Let me ask you this. You're playing in a new defensive system. It looks like Sweat came over from Philadelphia to give you another defensive end. Budda Baker, one of my all-time favorite players. What else does this defense need to push it over the top? Is there a defensive need that you see that the Cardinals could use?
Well, from my experience, you know, we have a lot of good guys up front. I think you got to do the trenches first, but then, you know, as a defensive lineman, we appreciate lockdown corners. And so if I was the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, I would try to get one of these corners out on the board that seem to be slipping for some reason. And there's 2 really good ones, and I don't care which one we get. I just want one of them.
So, Calais, with you got the Cardinals a bit on the rise. You know, you said corner is a potential need, but more importantly, your story starting in Arizona, going back, how good is it to be home?
Man, it's sweet. It really is. You know, to spend 9 years in a place, you know, my dreams came through here, had a lot of success, went to the Super Bowl, went to another championship game, you know, so much success. And to leave, and you kind of like always have that soft spot in your heart because, you know, that's the team that drafted me. And, you know, you kind of like, you know, am I ever, you know, like just, you know, people always ask me, like, if you sign a one-day contract to retire, I'm like, I wouldn't do that. But to be able to come back and play one more season, oh, man, that's sweet. That's sweet.
So, gentlemen, like Calais Campbell said, he likes the corners on the board. The corners are just falling just a little bit, but you still got Will Johnson out there. You still got some good players. What are you thinking right here, Jay?
I mean, it could go a number of ways. Will Johnson certainly available. You got Harrison, the cornerback from Kentucky that lit up the combine, running like a 4.28. You got Jahdae Barron from Texas, who's a versatile player, can play in the slot, can play outside. I think corner is a rich area right now, and you could see a run on him pretty soon.
I like wide receiver. I think they need another wide receiver to go with Marvin Harrison. They don't have another guy that's proven over there. I like Ibuka from Ohio State.
Yeah.
I love Golden from Texas.
Yeah.
I would love to see Kyler Murray get another weapon at wide receiver. And I don't know how healthy their running back situation is either, but I look for corner or wide receiver right here with this pick for Arizona.
Well, the pick is in, Calais Campbell. We're just waiting to see who Roger Goodell is going to announce as I'm watching 92-year-old Mel Kiper talk about somebody. But the pick is in. We're going to find out very shortly if your new teammate is a cornerback, if he's a wide receiver, if he's whatever. I assume, you don't, at the end of the day, whether it's corner, whether it's wide receiver, you're just excited to get a good young player here.
Yeah, I'm happy either way. Because you score points and I get the pass rush all the time. So score many points you can so I can pass rush all day.
So speaking of pass rush, the Arizona turf was the storyline 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. What is it like playing on that turf in Glendale? Is it too slick?
I disagree with that. I mean, I know that day it might have been bad, but that's my favorite field to play on. It has been my whole career. Having that grass in the dome in that 70-degree weather every time. I mean, that stadium is the best stadium by far to play in my opinion, through my 17 years. And I'm happy to be back there again playing the majority of my home game. So, I'm going to make some plays. I'm going to show them that we can still represent that field.
I think you're my favorite person. You've been we've got a 6-time Pro Bowler here, and for the second time tonight, you're talking about the turf, we're just talking about turf all night.
That was a lead story for the Super
2 years
Bowl.
ago.
I mean, it's the same stadium.
All right, Goodell is coming up in his suit and sneakers, looking like a finance bro. Is he taking the tie off, or was he ever wearing a tie?
He was not wearing a tie.
All right, so this is
Walter
is a
Nolan.
little help along that defensive line for you. This is a monster. Walter Nolan, what do you know about this kid?
Stud, a lot of talent, and you could never have too many guys up front. I said that at the beginning, I wouldn't mind having some help on the back end, but you could never have too many guys up front. With the rotation, there's so many guys that, we got, as you know, you can rotate 8 guys. If you want a 4-3 and literally take turns making plays. We just tag in, tag out. And we have young talent, especially with guys like me, who I love helping young talent develop. I'm kind of like a coach on the field, but can still give you good quality plays. And so I feel like I can really help this kid develop and reach his full potential. I think it's a great pick. I'm excited to help him. He's still,
I think that's why they picked him. They picked him because they got the perfect role model, Calais Campbell. This guy I thought was a disappointment at Texas A&M, but when he transferred to Mississippi, good God.
Yeah.
I mean, he can rush the passer from the inside. He plays a lot of snaps. This guy plays with a high effort. He's going to be a perfect Arizona Cardinal, just like Calais said, and that'll keep Calais Campbell fresh. So now when Campbell's out there, he's fresh as a daisy. You got the young Nolan. I like this guy's physical makeup. He lost a lot of weight. He played quicker, more tenacious, and he played with a lot more endurance when he became an Ole Miss Rebel.
And he was a number 2 recruit right behind Travis Hunter in, was it 2022? So, I mean, this guy can play. He has been able to play for a long time, so it should be interesting to see what he does with Arizona.
All right, well, Calais Campbell, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on all your success, and good luck this year in Arizona.
I appreciate it, fellas. Take it easy.
All right, well, that was delightful. Just talking to the guys out there. I hate Ole Miss. I'll say it again. This guy's a fucking player. This guy
he is a player.
This guy he's nasty. He's quick. He's fast. Like every single attribute a defensive lineman can have that makes him elite at this level is in this guy. Now, it never came out of this guy until his junior year, until he was at Ole Miss, but it is in there, and I think that's a fucking fantastic pick for the
I do too.
Arizona
They
Cardinals.
were criticized last year. They didn't have any pass rush.
Yeah.
They didn't have any D linemen. They go get Josh Sweat
Yeah.
from the Philadelphia Eagles to play right in. Now you get Nolan to play inside. You bring in Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
Arizona.
It's a formidable D-line.
That's a division too. If Kyler Murray can play consistently and protect the ball, they could be a problem.
Well, this is not a team that you would look at over the last few years and say that's a physical problem. I'm going to play them, and we're going to get beat up. Now they might be changing that. So we go now to the Cincinnati Bengals. We do not have a Barstool guest or a guest for the Bengals, so it's just us boys.
Well, I played quarterback at Dayton.
Yeah.
Not far from Cincinnati, so why can't I be the quarterback of the Bengals? I mean, in terms of their pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring in our guest now to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. It is former Dayton University Flyers quarterback.
Backup quarterback.
Backup quarterback. You didn't have to say that.
Yeah, well, I have to be honest with people.
John Gruden to talk about the Bengals. Coach, what do you think?
It's got to be defense.
Got to be.
Got to be defense. Could be a safety. Could be the safety from South Carolina. How do you pronounce the name?
Nick Manowari.
Good player, man. I love
You know how to
Malachi
say
Starks. Well, I like him. And
Okay.
I love Malachi Starks. They could use the safety. Von Bell struggled. And they need another pass rusher. Mike Green, our guy, could be a Cincinnati Bengal to go with Trey Hendrickson. It's got to be a defensive player. Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama. Good chance the Bengals take an impact defensive player.
And also Sam Hubbard just retired. So
Yeah.
that's another DN that you're down. It should be interesting. Campbell, though, and this is something that nobody really gets to see, but probably the most valuable part of the combine is the medicals. And he had, I believe, a shoulder injury. I think it was a labrum. How much does that impact the draft board? Have you ever seen a guy take someone off the board completely due to medicals?
Yeah, we've taken players off the board. It used to really piss me off. I mean, we took Jonathan Velma off our board one year. I almost had a breakdown.
Hey, Coach, that was kind of
You know?
stupid looking back.
Yeah, it is stupid. And who looks stupid? The coach looks stupid. But the medical part of it is different in every team's eyes. Everybody's got their own viewpoint on these things. I'm not aware of the exactness of the Campbell injury situation, but I know this. Joe Burrow proved last year he is the best. If not, he is the second best.
Way
he
up
is
there.
a badass. They got Higgins back. They're going to score points. And they got to get a fourth quarter pass rush. They got to get some stops on defense. They gave up a lot of big plays. They changed defensive coordinators. I look for one of those two safeties, Campbell or Green. Get another really good defensive player right here and then get another one.
What do you think about Shamar Stewart? We talked about him very briefly with Casey, but a guy who physically has it all. You know, he's 6'5", 267, got long arms, but only 4.5 total sacks in his career. Good pressure rate.
Well, that's the
but not a lot
problem.
of sacks.
That's the problem. You love talking about pressure.
He loves it.
You know, so, hey, Stewart was applying the pressure. Sack the quarterback. Put him. We got to get him on the ground, Steven. That's the statistic that matters. But Stewart is a promising prospect, but production is what it is.
So I do have to go back to the trustee Stephen Shea mock draft. Here at 17, looks like the Bengals are going to select Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Look forward to his blooming there in Cincinnati.
Probably would have been the pick if he was available.
Probably would have been the pick. You can always just say that, right? Blutman, thoughts?
On the Bengals selection
Oh,
here?
I don't know. Whatever you want to talk about. Wax poetic for me.
Dude, what the heck? I think that the Bengals do go defense here. I would prioritize Malachi Starks. I
like
think
him?
Yes, I still think he's one of the better players available. I love going out there, getting a freak athlete who's rangy, has great ball skills, acrobatic. Go get a guy like that. Get someone special. In a bad draft, seek out the guys with the 2, 3, 4 special traits and develop them. They need anyone on defense to transform that defense. Get him playing well. Help Joe Burrow out. From that end, Malachi Starks would be my pick. It won't be.
I go back to something Coach said earlier when we got to like 13. He said this is a very exciting part of the draft. If you look at the last couple of picks, you can look in 10 years and say Walter Nolan was a top 5 player in this draft or the best player in this draft. You could say that about Kenneth Grant, who was at 13. You could say that about a couple of guys that we've just seen go off the board. Yeah, I really think we've seen over the last we've seen some high upside guys over the last 4 or 5 picks that maybe didn't flash in college or maybe didn't put it all together. But again, like Walter Nolan, I think could be a fucking monster in the pros.
Sure can. And you love Mississippi. I know you love saying that.
He
All right.
ends up with egg on his face every Thanksgiving.
Not everything. Our coach died, first of all, Frank. Anyway, the pick is in. It is Shamar Stewart,
There you
another
go.
guy
There
I
you
think
go.
fits the mold of just Jalen Walker's another guy I was talking about, but a guy who's super ultimately talented. Maybe he never put it all together at Texas A&M, but he's got some things in there that you could see something pop at the pro level.
What is it about A&M? Because all the guys
they pay a lot of money up front and they don't develop anybody.
No, but all the defensive linemen and edge rushers are bigger there. And like Walter Nolan cuts a little bit of weight. Shamar Stewart played at like 285, 290. Now he goes to the combine in his pro day. He's like in the high 260s.
Yeah.
What is it about A&M that they're inflating their guys, but it's also kind of hurting their draft stock?
This is a very simple answer. Everything's what in Texas?
Bigger.
Bigger. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the defensive line. And, A&M knows where to invest their NIL money, and before NIL, their other money. They know how to invest. And they invest with these big guys, these big physical guys at the defensive line. It never works because something in the pipeline doesn't really compete or compute, but they get beasts, and this guy is a beast. So we've got that. The Seahawks are now on the clock. Again, we don't have a guess for that. 4:45 left for the Seahawks. But anything left on Shamar Stewart, or you want to go to the Seahawks?
He's going to be a boomer bust prospect. He could be very good, or he could just fizzle. The production is alarming.
Yeah.
It's 4.5
Lack
sacks
thereof.
in 3 years for an edge rusher that's going 17 overall.
Yeah.
That doesn't match up. But physical traits-wise, he looks like Myles Garrett. But he doesn't play like Myles Garrett.
That's exactly right. That's exactly who he looks like. The measurables are off the charts. He has had a couple injuries.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Bengals did extensive research. They have a new defensive coordinator, and they see this guy being the heir apparent to Hendrickson. We don't even know how long Hendrickson is going to be in Cincinnati. There's some issues with his contract.
This pick too was a lot of motivation for Miles Murphy, who they invested 28 into a few years ago, and he's a guy who oozes with so much potential. He's got long arms, so maybe those two are the future. I'm unsure on Stewart though. I do think it's a great RAS and everything. There was zero production to back anything up.
Shout out Mouth Bomb.
Frank, let me ask you a question. So Seattle's coming up next. So is this a nod to the rainy weather in Seattle?
Oh yeah, it rains all the time in Seattle. I mean, the sun doesn't exist from what I understand, and we got this little Brockabella, invented by Lou Brock. Did you know that?
Really? I did not know that he invented the umbrella
Yeah, it's
hat.
called the Brockabella.
You know what's fascinating about Lou Brock? Ricky Henderson broke that record in 1991 and played 13 more years. We don't talk about that. I guess that's not about Lou Brock.
Well,
how many was the old record? How many was the old record?
It was like 939.
Is that a final? 938 was the old record. So that's a win.
Well, that's one away.
But Frank, that's not the record.
Unless you have it exactly on the nose.
Yeah.
One off.
I would have got it on the nose. I knew it was 938, but I'm better at baseball trivia.
I called it the new record. It was 939 because I remember having the Upper Deck baseball card where he has the base on there. It's 939. So I guess that's where.
And what else happened that day?
That was the day that Nolan Ryan threw his 7th and final no-hitter.
That's correct. Actually, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I think it might have been another milestone. Anyway, go ahead. We have the Seahawks pick is in. We have the Seahawks pick in right now. And they are number 18 in the draft. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, boys, I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue where we are with this draft. I don't have a clue what they need. You had them taking a receiver. He is off the board. You still think they go receiver here, Jay?
They got Cooper Kupp and they got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Those are two guys that primarily play in the slot.
Cooper Kupp, injury prone.
They just dealt DK Metcalf, obviously. So I still think receivers. They got Sam Darnold through free agency. But this is a team that is a young team, but certainly has some needs: offensive line, defensive line, receiver. Cornerback is kind of Devin Witherspoon played well, and Reek Woolen is a really good player on the outside. But those would be areas I'd be looking at if I was Seattle.
Let's see who these pancake-eating motherfuckers in Seattle pick.
Shout out to Connor Griffin, 40-40.
You know what that was a reference to?
No.
Draft Day, the movie you were in.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
Tom was a pancake-eating motherfucker.
He was irritating, chewing with his mouth full.
Yeah,
or
really?
Talking with his mouth full, I should say, whatever you say. It was an annoying Seattle general manager.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember the actor's name, but he was, I don't know. I actually liked the movie.
Good movie.
It's a good, bad movie.
Very good movie.
Yeah. I like watching it every year around, I don't know, April.
Got a new quarterback in Seattle, Sam Darnold. New quarterback. Could use an offensive tackle.
Do you like Sam Darnold?
I like Sam. I like what he did last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But my point is they need a receiver. Igbuka's still there. Golden is still there.
Do you have stock in it? And what are we going
Zabel.
on here? Okay, so here's somebody.
North Dakota State.
Oh, you had him in the first round.
I did.
You had him at number 28 to the Lions. This is guard from North Dakota State. Kind of a curveball here?
No, he
If you watch the
was
Senior
first
Bowl,
round.
if you watch
I
the
mean,
Senior Bowl, he lined up and kicked every guy's ass at the Senior Bowl.
Did he really?
He really did. He went to North Dakota State. They won the national championship. He really was an undersized guy the first couple years. He just kept working and working and working, and he became one hell of a tackle. And he went to the Senior Bowl All-Star game and really showed the level of competition doesn't bother him at all.
Did you see his draft party? Were they playing Settlers of
It looked
Catan?
like it.
They were playing Settlers of Catan at his draft party? I think that makes me like him.
He's a Dakota boy, man. He's from South Dakota, went over to North Dakota State, and all he did was kill it for a few years. Guy could play 5 positions on the O-line, get a versatile piece like that. This is a good pick.
You like this guy?
I like him a lot. You know I'm a Dakota man at
I
heart.
know, that's why I'm checking with you.
Great pick.
They had a lot of injuries. Seattle, Abraham Lucas, they had about 5 different guys play right tackle last year. New quarterback, defensive head coach. Let's get another offensive lineman that can walk in here and start and play potentially 2 or 3 positions. I love it.
It feels like we're just in a mode right now, the last 5 or 6 picks, just all nasty guys up front.
I mean, that's kind of the...
And if it's a bad draft, that's the thing that probably translates.
Yes.
That's going to come through.
And this is a guy who, he played left tackle last year, but he has played guard. He can play center. That's kind of where he's being projected in the NFL as a guard or a center, something on the interior offensive line. But he's a really good player, and I'm interested to see where he settles in position-wise.
Blutman's fun fact on this guy: turned down massive NIL offers from top-tier programs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fun fact?
Yeah, it's a fun fact. Guy like that gets a bunch of money offered him to go play SEC football. Says, nah, I'm going to stay in the FCS, win a national championship. Guy that did that a few years ago, Tucker Kraft.
Can I ask you a
Pretty
question?
good career for him so far.
Have those Blutman fun facts been on for every pick?
Yeah, they've been going around.
And I've just now seen it for the first time at pick number 18.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay. You want say a player? Maybe I have one for him.
All right. Yes.
I read a report that said Zabel cares about 3 F's: football, family, and farming. What do you not
Is
love
there
about
not
that?
a 4th F that he favors? Food?
As an offensive
see
lineman.
what you did there? Your mind, both of you are dirty, nasty people.
Just thinking about fucking, man.
You guys are sick.
I was talking about food.
I love
Jeez.
food. Who doesn't?
Frank with the Frank with the pirate life for him. Pirate hat. We got the Bucks on.
The Buccaneers.
Got the
Gotta be a
old-fashioned
defensive pick.
the Buccaneer Bruce style feather in the hat too.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice.
So again, we're lucky to have a Tampa Bay Bucks Super Bowl winning fan with us, two-time Super Bowl winning fan. It is Stephen Shea. This is your moment. This is what all of that draft prep, all your all 22, everything is for this right now. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it could go in a couple directions. I think a dark horse position is going to be receiver, just because Chris Godwin coming off an injury, Mike Evans older, you got Jalen McMillan who's a nice player, but they're playing Sterling Shepard with like meaningful reps. I know they met with Matthew Golden at the Combine and they had the 30 visit with him. He's a name I would watch. Linebacker is also a need. Levante David is turning 35. Servassier Dennis is an unproven player, looks to be a good player, but missed a lot of games this year with an injury. Carson Schlesinger is a name. Jihad Campbell is a name to watch for. But edge rusher is the betting favorite. Cornerback also a possibility. There are a couple needs in this team, but I think this is a very good football team. We are going to get a good player here because there are a lot of guys that I would target for them right
Can
now.
I make a point, Coach? As we get into this area where we targeted as possible trade destinations for these quarterback needy teams in the second round, I noticed the picks have slowed down. I noticed the clocks are getting used a little bit more right now. The Bucs are using their clock. Their clock just went backwards 4 minutes, so they actually just reversed time. They were at 4 minutes, now they're at 8 minutes and 31 seconds. So they are, and now the pick is in. And wait, what are we doing over there, Espen? Anyway, the pick is in, so it renders my talk about that useless. Coach, you think it's defense.
I do. I know they signed Hassan Reddick. They also had Yaya Diaby, who didn't get much done rushing the passer. The kid at Boston College, help me with the pronunciation.
Yeah, Ezraku.
Yes, Ezraku.
I love him. I love Mike Green. They can have any corner they want. Will Johnson is still sitting there, the fast kid from Kentucky. I think they got to get some defensive help here.
If we were to put Travis Hunter aside as a wide receiver defensive back combo, is this the longest we haven't had a cornerback selected? Correct? Am I wrong?
No.
Again, Travis Hunter is a cornerback, so obviously the stat isn't correct. But we haven't had a true cornerback chosen in the draft. We're at pick number 19. I can't remember a draft that you could say that about.
Well, Will Johnson is the guy from Michigan, but he would not run a 40. No one knows what he can run. And when you don't run a 40, there's probably a good chance you're not going to run a very good 40.
You're telling them
and
there's a reason.
speed is a problem for a lot of people. You know, the kid at Kentucky, Maxwell Hairston, he had an injury this year. Morrison at Notre Dame had an injury. So there are some issues with who is the number 2 corner. But Tampa could sure use one, Steven.
Coach, let me ask the scout in you something, okay? Will Johnson, 3 years of, I think, pretty elite tape at Michigan. Pretty elite ball skills, pretty elite production as a cornerback. But then he gets to the draft process and won't run a 40. That'll turn you off like that? That'll just make you say, everything I saw on tape, I'm not believing it because of that?
I work for Ron Wolf. He's in the Hall of Fame. Green Bay Packers. Al Davis is in the Hall of Fame. If you can't run, you can't play. That's the number one criteria at certain positions. And speed is very important at corner, obviously wide receiver.
See, this is why it pays to have you here and not the usual band of idiots that we have. We usually have fucking morons that can't answer any questions. Now we have a coach that can answer these questions. All right.
Think about Todd Bowles. He's a defensive head coach. You said it. They got some issues at inside linebacker. Britt wasn't the answer when Dennis got hurt. The back end, the secondary, they lost Carlton Davis. Dean hasn't been consistent. He's been hurt. They need help in the secondary, help at linebacker. But I do think these 2 edge rushers could really help the Buccaneers solve some problems.
And it is There's the guy
It's the
you've been
receiver.
touting all night. And this is the one pick you didn't tout him.
This guy's a hell of a player. We had Will Howard.
Emeka Egbuka, by the way, is the pick.
Will Howard was in our meetings, and all he talked about was Egbuka. And you can go through the history of the wide receiver position at Ohio State. This guy's at the top of the food chain if statistics matter. 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He can run all the routes you can draw up in the slot. He can line up on the outside. He's a punt returner. He's a great kid. He's ready to roll. This guy's been training like a pro.
Yeah, when they lost to Michigan and then they showed up to the playoff and they turned it up to a different level, it's because this guy came alive across the field from Jeremiah Smith. I thought he was fucking fantastic in their stretch run and their playoff run to win a national title. Che, you got a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the position, if you're looking on offense, of need. Obviously, Egbuka was on the board, Matthew Golden was on the board. There was time to strike with that. So I do like that. We don't know how healthy Chris Godwin is going to be coming off that knee injury. Egbuka did play a lot in the slot. And he was, Will Howard, had a nice year this year. 2 years ago, he was an 1,100-yard receiver. He's one of 2 Ohio State receivers ever to have multiple 1,000-yard seasons, so the guy can obviously play. Jason Light and our draft department is one of the best in the business, so I'm trusting what they're doing here. I like the receiver pick.
They're going to be a hard team to defend, man. I saw him play live last year against the 49ers. This Bucky Irvin he is a hard guy to deal with.
Yeah, he's something.
And White is a good back. They have a good tight end in Otten, and now they have multiple receivers. And Baker Mayfield, arguably, is the best-kept secret, I think, in pro football. He had a hell of a year.
And he's really settled in as the Bucs' #1 guy.
Yes.
The questions about that are long since gone. So there you go, wide receiver. A guy, again, Coach Gruden, you've mentioned Egbuka like 4 picks tonight. He is a very good player, and the Bucs have your receiver. Now, again, I have to note where we are in the draft.
Is that C.J. Stroud?
The Steelers are at, whose house is that? What nice woodwork at that house. Maybe it's not a house at all. Anyway, we are at pick 20. The Steelers are sitting at 21. If we're thinking Jackson Dart or Shadur Sanders, the Steelers are sitting there saying one of them's going to fall to us. If somebody's trading to get ahead of them, it happens right here. The clock is at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The Broncos are still on the clock. Nobody's traded. Do we read anything into this?
I mean, it
feels
like
another quarterback tonight is what I'm trying to tell you.
It feels like a dangerous game of chicken. I mean, Cleveland does have the ammo if they want to go get him, but do they wait and let their division rival be on the clock with a guy that there are reports that they really like?
Yeah.
We have seen Pittsburgh.
What do you mean there's reports? I'm so tired of these reports. I mean, reports of what?
Get his ass.
Of reports of them.
Who wrote the freaking report?
Who wrote the report, Jay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are reports that Pete Carroll was texting that they were going to take a tackle from Texas. There are so many bullshit reports. Here's the thing. The Denver Broncos and then the Steelers. Okay, who are the Broncos going to take? But to your point, where's Sanders going?
Right.
It's got to be Pittsburgh.
If it's not 21, he ain't going tonight. I don't think he's going tonight. Because if somebody's trading up to get him, wouldn't they take the opportunity right here? Wouldn't they think Pittsburgh's gonna take him?
Well, there's reports out there.
I mean, we've seen them do this before. Pittsburgh stayed patient, and Kenny Pickett fell to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, things
That
didn't work out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, things didn't work out there. But we have seen them be patient and wait for a quarterback. So do they make the move? We'll see. But Denver's an interesting spot here. Is this a running back spot? Is this a Travion Henderson or an Omarion Hampton?
Frank, why the long face?
Well, the voice is a different color. And no one could talk to a talking voice unless it's the famous Mr. Ed.
He played baseball?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you knew that. I'll have to show you that sometime.
I remember that episode. When I was growing up, that was on Nick at Night.
It was when I was growing up as well. And if Coach Gruden watched TV, he would have seen it too, but he doesn't. He just watches ball.
I do. I absolutely could see Sean Payton taking a running back here. I really could.
Yeah.
They've lost Williams. He went to the Dallas Cowboys. They don't really have a proven feature back. They have a young quarterback. They got to have some balance in this offense. I love Travion Henderson. I like Hampton from North Carolina. There's some really good backs on the table right here, and I'd be shocked if Denver doesn't pull the trigger.
Can I agree with you real quick? I I love Travion Henderson as a prospect. I think his senior year at Ohio State, when they brought in Judkins and kind of featured him as a 1-2 back, he was kind of the change of pace guy, but he had some injuries, and his freshman year is one of the all-time great freshman years we've ever seen. Then he had injuries sophomore and junior year. Then he was a part of a committee his senior year. I think I love Jeanty, but I think he's like this close to Jeanty as the second best running back. I love him. I think his speed is next level. I think his pass catching is next level. I think everything about him is next level. And it's just the production at Ohio State never matched who he is. And I think somebody's getting a guy who is ready to go.
How much better do you think he is than Quinshon Judkins?
Much better,
His pass
especially as a pro
protection,
guy.
I'm just telling you, Henderson's pass protection is as good as any young back I've ever seen.
Really?
He doesn't just block you. He knocks the shit out of you.
Yeah.
He hits you square down the middle. I mean, Will Howard's touchdown where he fumbled against Penn State on the 1-foot line, everybody needs to go back and watch what Henderson does on that play. He almost decapitated a Penn State Nittany line. He is vicious without the ball. And you saw what he did to Texas with that screen pass at the end of the first half. And Sean Payton's a great perimeter screen coach, getting Henderson on the edges. They need a tight end. They need a back. And they could obviously use an impact player at the skill positions. Golden is there, getting another receiver. There's some really good options here for Denver.
I do think that they took a lot of time to make that pick. I think the Buccaneers might have sniped Egbuka from them. I think maybe they were looking at him. I think that would have been a good fit. I do think they'll end up taking Henderson here, but Stephen Che, I think your team just sniped Egbuka from Denver.
Wow. Good.
Also,
good.
can't believe you didn't make an Egbuka joke.
Good observational skills right there. I like that. And why didn't you make an Egbuka joke?
That's
Is it you getting tired? It's getting late.
No, I'm a night owl, my man.
What?
I'm a night owl.
What do you mean you're a night owl?
I stay up late.
What time do you normally get to bed?
12:30, 1 o'clock.
Coach, what time do you get to bed these days?
I get to bed early. I get up early.
Yeah. I get up about 5.
Yeah.
I'm a 9 to 5 sleeper.
I flew in from Florida today just to be with you guys. This has been awesome. And look at Frank the Tank. Is he having a good time?
Is this motherfucker? He's having
let's
a good
get a
time.
close-up of Frank, can we?
Frank, let's work on the horse noises. I don't think we got that one locked in yet.
Hello, Wilbur.
Boy.
I know.
When I say a horse noise, I don't mean Mr. Ed talking. What is with this boom shot that comes in from the moon? Who's this guy? Who's this kid? Is this a kid? The young guy?
Could be.
I'm just glad I'm here for one round.
Coach, as a guy who has drafted a running back in the first round, what is the key quality you look for in a running back? Is it speed? Is it pass blocking? Is it
He coached for 90
catching?
years. He's drafted everything in the first
we
round.
took Cadillac Williams with the first pick. He was a
Great
rookie
pick.
of the year, a guy that can run the ball, protect the ball, make first downs, a guy that can finish runs, and a guy that's durable. And most importantly, a guy that can hurt you in the passing game as well as the running game.
All right, so we'll get the pick in just a second. Broncos pick is in. It's being delivered by
Looks
this
like
young
it's
man.
Jahdae Barron per our broadcast.
You see Jahdae Barron?
Per our broadcast.
Oh, we've already called it Jahdae Barron. It is Jahdae Barron, the cornerback from Texas, so they do go defense. You guys, I think you guys both had them going
believe
offense
that,
here.
yep.
So they go, they strengthen the defense a little bit more. Jahdae Barron from Texas. This is another guy. I think I like the word nasty for him. Is that an accurate description?
Yeah, Jahdae Barron, I mean, he plays all over. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. I mean, this is going to be interesting because they already got Patrick Surtain II, the reigning. He was the Defensive Player of the Year, right? So they're already bolstering their already very good secondary, which I like.
Well, they signed Hufanga, the really good safety man from the 49ers, and now you get Barron, who changed numbers, by the way. He wore 23, changed his number to number 7. But you said it. This guy can play inside as a big nickelback. You can play him outside as a big cornerback, and you can play him deep as a safety. And this guy can roll, man. This guy runs 4.3-ish, and he is a very instinctive Texas Longhorn. Kirby Joseph, the defensive coordinator of Denver, did a nice job. They had 65 sacks last year, and I think improving the back end could potentially make that pass rush even better.
So we have arrived at maybe quarterback central here at 21. If you looked at the first 5 picks of the draft, 6 picks of the draft, you would say we're going to find out which way it goes. I think the way the rest of this draft, first round goes, kind of starts right here with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21. They are quarterback needy.
Yep.
There are two quarterbacks we think are on the board, Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. Do they go there? Do they go somewhere else? Do they go with a defensive player? I don't know what they do. If it is not quarterback, I'll ask it that way, Che. If it is not quarterback here, what could they do?
I mean, I think defensive tackle is a need. You look at Cam Hayward. He's 35, 36 years old. He's still a good player, but he does not have much more time. So defensive tackle is a spot I'd look at. Derek Harmon out of Oregon is a player that I like in this spot. But yeah, this is where you think Shedeur would go.
So it is prime Shedeur area. Shedeur Sanders being one of the biggest names in college football, one of the biggest names in this draft process. We haven't heard his name yet. It doesn't appear that he's on the phone. But again, we'll see. The pick is in. The Steelers know who they're picking, and we'll find out shortly who, in fact, that is.
We got Jersey Jerry on the line as well.
Jersey Jerry's here?
Yes.
Jersey Jerry. Sorry, Jersey Jerry. I'm having trouble with my earpiece. I'll fix that right now. But where are you going right here? You going with Shedussi?
You know, this pick is going to say everything. This pick is either Rodgers is going to be a Steeler and they go D-tackle, or it's going to be Shedussi. But either one I don't hate. I don't hate either one. We need a D-tackle. We also need a quarterback. If this isn't quarterback, Rodgers is a Steeler.
You know who it is, Shay?
Nailed another mock draft pick, it appears.
So you have nailed a pick. You had Derek Harmon, the tackle out of Oregon.
Yes.
All right.
Is that the pick?
Looking like that.
You're looking like that.
Is that the pick?
Jerry and I talked about that exact pick before, and he was good with that pick. Derek
Can
Harmon.
they hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Jerry.
We can hear you, Jerry.
Is that the official pick, Steven?
The pick is in. There are rumors circulating online right now. Brandon's getting his mic fixed.
Yeah, I don't have an earpiece right now. My earpiece keeps going out, but that's fine. I can read your lips.
I thought that was the official pick.
There's controversy between Tomlin and the front office. It sounds like Tomlin wants Shedeur and the front office does not.
Okay.
That's
All right.
what's circulating right now on the Twitter.
Now, again, are those, I'm going to do a Gruden here, are those reports?
That's from Ian Rappaport.
Ian Rappaport.
Yes.
Well, that's a pretty strong report. That's a good reporter. We okay with Ian Rappaport there, John Gruden?
Sure, I'm great. I am. I just want to see who they picked.
Yeah.
We can bullshit up here all we want, but
it's Derek Harmon.
They took a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
They lost Ogunjobi in free agency. You said it.
Yes.
Hayward is getting older. They take a defensive tackle. I'm just shocked Shedeur Sanders is still there, and I'm kind of surprised Pittsburgh didn't pull the trigger with their quarterback situation. Harmon's a good player, Randy.
I like him a lot.
I mean, he wasn't very good 2 years ago. He lost weight.
Yep.
He has some pressures, and Steven loves all these pressures. But the guy misses a lot of sacks. He misses a lot of opportunities. I think he's a one-hit wonder. I think going to Pittsburgh, playing with Hayward, being in that environment in Pittsburgh will raise his level. But I am just stunned. They're sitting there with – they must be signing Aaron Rodgers after the draft. That's all I can say. That must be the case.
So obviously a quarterback-needy team with two quarterbacks on the board does not take a quarterback, leading me to project the rest of the first round. It now becomes, does somebody trade up to like the 28 to 32 range and get in front of everybody and try to get these guys, or nobody believes these guys are first-round picks. Nobody believes they're second-round picks. Like that is a possibility that we just don't see these guys go to somebody who needs a quarterback because they don't think they're good enough to be a quarterback in this league.
Yeah, the talk early in the week was that we could see a run on quarterbacks at the beginning of the second round. To me, you'd want to move into the end of that first round just to get the fifth-year option to hopefully secure them at a little bit cheaper price for a little bit longer. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that we've had one quarterback go with 21 picks down is surprising, especially with Pittsburgh, a quarterback-needy team, seemingly at this point off the board.
Now, my earpiece died long ago. I have nothing. I can't hear Jerry, but I'm going to ask Jerry a question. You're going to relay his answer to me. Jerry, what are you doing in New York, man?
Say it again.
What are you doing in New York, Jerry?
Visiting family, and I opened up a rehab out here in New Jersey.
I opened up a rehab in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, Jerry. That's awesome.
Hey, Jerry, what do you think of this pick? Jerry, what do you think of the pick?
I think the Shedeur Sanders talk was a smokescreen. This was their guy all along, and John, when is Rodgers going to sign? I mean, it has to be soon, right?
I would think so. I mean, the off-season program is going on right now. But I'm not.
He's out there doing the alopecia.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Good Lord. Good
We'll
Lord.
see how it works out.
All right.
Per Frank the Tank, Aaron Rodgers out there with the alopecia.
What does that even mean?
What is an alopecia?
I think he means ayahuasca.
Alopecia is what Charlie Villanueva had.
Yes.
What do they call it?
Ayahuasca.
Alopecia is a skin disease, Frank. Or condition, maybe not a disease. Good Lord.
Who picked out these jackets?
He'll be drafted.
You don't like that? You don't like the salmon jacket now?
I've never had this color. It's not the first color I would.
Coach, we're 3 hours in. You're just now noticing the jacket?
Yeah, I was just looking at us in the monitor, and I'm like, boy.
Coach, I'm going to be honest. You look damn good in the salmon jacket.
Yeah, the pink
I was
looks
going to
good.
say, you look great.
Yeah, and Che, you're here with us as well. So I think we have the Chargers on the clock, the San Diego Chargers, because I am a child of the 80s and 90s and will never call them the LA Chargers, even though that's what they are. Ken Jack is in New York. I'll again ask him as he joins us to talk about the. I see. I
Ken
love
Jack.
this. I love this look right here. See, they've gone so heavy on the powder blue these days. You don't remember their awesome blue from back in the day, the Dan
navy
Fouts blue. That's good blue. Anyway, Ken Jack, thoughts on this pick?
I think we have a lot of needs. Need edge, need interior guards, need a lot of cornerbacks, need wide receivers more than anything. Just basically Ladd McConkey and no one else. So I would love to have any of those positions, and I'd be happy.
You got Mike Williams back. You're set, right?
Oh, yeah. Lucky us. Our wide receiver 2, Mike Williams, coming back after being, no offense, bad on the Steelers and also Jets.
And you got Coach Gruden's guy, Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
That's your guy, Coach? That can't be your guy, Coach.
I just don't want to see 3 tight ends, a tackle playing fullback, a defensive end playing running back. You got Herbert's the freaking quarterback, Brandon. Get Golden. Get some. We just lost Palmer, the other receiver. Let's get Golden in here. Let's get some receivers, man. Young receivers that can haul ass. This is the Chargers. Don't you remember all the firepower they had with Malcolm Floyd and Vincent Jackson? I mean, God, Antonio Gates. You were scared to play them. Now they're like a sumo wrestling team breaking the huddle. They got no speed, man. We got to get some juice in that AstroTurf stadium they play in. I hate that stadium, by the way, though.
You don't like it?
No, the visitors' locker room is like a maze. It's like The Shining. Jack Nicholson running around at the end.
Really?
Can't find anybody in there. I hate that stadium.
Yes, Frank.
Red rum.
Red rum, yeah. What do you think? You like the pick? You like offense here? What do you want to do?
I think I'm to the point where I like offense for every pick.
Yeah.
We've had so many big uglies tonight, so many big guys. We've had so many linemen. Let's make a run on scoring points here. I like Golden, too. I really love Golden from Texas. But again, I like Will Johnson, and he's just still out there. And you told me he won't run a 40, and now it's just changed my whole opinion about everything.
And he's got his old coach on the clock right now.
Yeah. Ken Jack, how about Coach's words here? You like the receiver?
I would love a receiver. Also, we have a chat where it's me, Jake Malasek, and Shane, PMT's intern, where we all just talk about how much we hate the Chargers more than anything in the world. Malasek wants them to draft Shedeur so that Herbert can go somewhere better. And, I understand the thought process as a only Herbert, not Chargers fan, but it makes me want to die even thinking about it. So just give us some weapons. Give us some weapons here.
Can I call a timeout? Jake Malasek is
just a Herbert guy.
He's just a Herbert guy.
He's a Justin Herbert fan, not a Chargers fan.
Right, but
he's like a Casey, I guess.
He's a Virginia Cavalier. How did he become a Herbert guy?
He thinks he's attractive.
Yeah.
You did lose. You did lose Bosa. Bosa's gone.
Yeah.
They still have Khalil Mack. He is getting a little bit older. So
a little bit.
Our kid from Boston College, our pass rusher, or
Donovan
Mike
Izariku.
Green from Marshall. I could see the Chargers, if they don't go receiver, going defensive end right here. Every time I look at him with that Charger shirt, he kicked my ass in putt-putt. Cost us $5,000.
Well,
I was the last guy to go. Is it me and him? Ken Jack.
Ken Jack, yeah.
He beat me, and what's the top dog from Boston, the great putt-putt player?
Oh, Ryan Whitney.
He was all over my ass. I thought he was going to beat me up, man.
Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk.
Okay.
Kirk.
Do you? This mini golf thing has really thrown you for a
It was
loop.
a bad experience for me at Barstool. Ken Jack, he stepped on my face, crushed me. 4-2.
We had a great chat beforehand. We talked about Hunter Renfrow and the double China route, which I've always thought was one of the coolest routes I've ever seen in my life, and waxed poetic about old Raiders from back in the day.
I'm sorry, my earpiece is in and it's out. It's in and it's out. It's in right now. It's in right now. I apologize, Ken Jack. That's my fault.
Is this a 25-minute pick for the Chargers or what?
It has really slowed down, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody's trying to figure out what they're going to do. They got no receivers that can run, and they need a pass rusher. So make the pick. Or is somebody trading with the Chargers to get the quarterback?
How you like Mel Kiper?
Love Mel Kiper.
Do
You
ya?
would love Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Guy works
What's
his
the thing?
ass
He
off
eats an
year
entire
round, man.
pumpkin
He
pie
absolutely
every
loves
year or
it.
something.
I like to hear that these guys are good guys.
He eats pumpkin pie, I believe, a slice of pumpkin pie every day.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he does for
every
breakfast.
Nobody
He's
eats.
told that
what-
story on Part of My Take, I believe.
I ain't never had no pumpkin pie.
What?
Pumpkin pie is the greatest pie there is.
You ain't never had no pumpkin
I ain't never had no pumpkin pie.
I ain't never had no pumpkin pie.
What, Coach? What are they doing?
I don't know.
Are they stretching out?
I don't know. You can analyze these picks
to death.
To death.
To death. And they are doing that. So the pick is in.
You've obviously been in draft rooms. When it gets to your pick, if a guy does get taken in front of you that you were targeting, does panic set in the room? Or is it the board's set, we already know who our next guy is if that guy gets taken?
It can be panic. It can be tough, man. And I really can. Sometimes you get a phone call, a trade offer that you never even thought about.
Yeah.
And you got to really take 4 or 5 minutes to really decide if that's for you. It's a tough time, man. It's a pressure-packed moment. That's why it's good to hire people that can handle the pressure. That's why I was staying out of some of those meetings.
Is there any trade offer that you declined that you recall sticking and picking your guy?
Nothing worth reporting here today.
Oh, we're not doing reports?
Coach, you ever almost missed a pick?
We're not doing
what was
reports.
What's that?
What team missed the pick and they had to forfeit the pick? Was it the
Oh,
Jags?
well, the
I forget.
Minnesota Vikings. Remember the
Vikings,
clock
sorry.
ran out. Is the clock run out here?
No, the pick is in.
Well, where's the picker?
I don't know, but the pick is in. ESPN's just got to talk right now. They're all just talking about talky stuff.
I like Louis Riddick.
You like-
Booger's wearing a lavender suit post-Easter, which is a bold choice. I like purple, but I don't think I like it.
I think it's a
Only
good looking
few days
suit.
past Easter. It's not like wearing white after Labor Day.
No, I like the suit.
You can't wear lavender after Easter?
I think last weekend it would have been appropriate. This weekend's a little.
But it's
I also say
springtime.
that as we're wearing pink jackets.
It's springtime.
Salmon. I wore lavender for a whole week.
When did you? Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
wore that purple. He wore his work outfit. We made him buy
The wedding.
clothes. Where's the fucking pick?
The wedding, I wore the
This
same
motherfucker.
fit every
All right.
day. I got bullied into
I
it.
think they're coming out, or is that a music? Or
I don't know. It's just forever. I mean, looking at the Chargers war room, Jim Harbaugh looking there trying to
looks
figure out how
happy.
to cheat.
Oh, well, if they're drafting Mike
Spanos looks
Kaden.
happy.
What if they did draft Mike Kaden?
What if? He is not right for that call tonight.
Mike Katie.
So here it is, the Chargers selection, Ken Jack. They're going. Running back, Omarion Hampton.
I fucking knew it, dude.
Running
I
back,
knew
North
it.
Carolina. Now, let me tell you something. Liam Blutman pulled me aside today and said somebody's going to take Omarion Hampton as the second running back, and they're going to look like fools because Travion Henderson will still be on the board. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, as I told you then, this is the kind of pick where a front office picking directly after the Omarion Hampton picking team is laughing maniacally. Can't believe
JJ.
Hampton got
Yeah.
picked ahead of Travion Henderson. Travion falls into their laps. It's kind of that Rager Justin Jefferson meme where
Ooh.
the Vikings franchise, their front office could not believe Rager went ahead. They were laughing. It's kind of that deal to me. Travion Henderson is by far the more complete player, better leader, better just everything. I am not stunned. I just highly disagree with this. Ken Jack, I'm so sorry, brother.
I don't understand it either. They just signed Najee Harris from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. And Hampton is a lot like Najee Harris, if you ask me. And I don't know if he has the hands that Najee has. A good back, don't get me wrong, but I am stunned by this
makes no
pick.
sense.
But as an
Well,
ex-Raider,
if
I'm
Kamani
happy
Bell,
they
too.
made this pick.
Can I go back to his Michigan championship team when they had Donovan Edwards and they had Blake Corum and they had just this nasty 1-2, just nasty ass. Maybe he's trying to recreate that.
They are
That was
so
two different
similar,
backs.
though.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean,
Hampton is a workhorse. 25-plus touches in 8 out of 12 games this year. He had 1,500 yards rushing. I mean, he is a guy that can carry the mail. Is this going to be insurance? Why do they even have Justin Herbert at quarterback if they're just going to hand the ball off every play?
I mean, this is horrible. He wants to punish you with the running game. Anyway, Kenjack, thank you I know you look miserable with the pick, but thank you for being here.
It's fucking stupid. So stupid. Sorry. But yeah, nice seeing you guys.
All right, so we bring in Hubs right now because the Packers are on the clock. The Green Bay Packers superfan Hubs will be joining us. The draft in Green Bay right now, so you got to assume there's a gigantic party happening in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're all there. The cheeseheads are out, and they're watching their team in their city pick somebody. Hubs, where are we going here?
What's going on, guys? It is a pleasure to share this draft with Super Bowl champion and former wide receivers coach for the Green Bay Packers, John Gruden, draft expert, Stephen Shea. This is great. We can go either Matthew Golden. We can go Matthew Golden. We can go Will Johnson. We can go Pierce. Those are three needs. I don't know if Golden can be the one we need, but I'll take speed because he brings speed. They'll probably go blindside me and go fucking O-line or a fucking quarterback at this point because that's what they always do. But I will take any of the three names that I just said.
Coach?
I like it. I like Golden. I think they need to get a reliable speed receiver. I know Jaden Reed's a good player, but they could use a reliable speed receiver. I think corner. I think Alexander's status is up in the air. I could see them looking at the University of Kentucky, maybe taking Hairston, perhaps Will Johnson. They do play a lot of zone coverage in Green Bay. Corner, speed receiver, and those edge rushers. I want to keep going back to those guys.
Yep.
Rashawn Gary's one thing, but if you could get our friend from Boston College, Mike Green from Marshall, those are 5 or 6 pretty good players that I'm sure Green Bay is considering.
Coach Gruden alluded to Will Johnson. Only played 15% of his snaps in coverage in man last year.
So you have a chance. If it were Will Johnson, you would nail another pick.
I would.
Because you have Will Johnson going here to the Green Bay Packers at number 23.
You're making fun of the mock draft. Typically, if you nail 6, well, no, not there, but previously. Yeah. Typically, if you nail 6 or 7, that is really good.
How many are you at right now?
I don't know. I'll tabulate. I might be at 7 already.
You might be at 7.
I might be at 7.
You might be in history-making territory right now.
I might be crushing.
Well, you forget he is former
2022. Number one in the world.
Coach, did you know this was the number 1 mock drafter in the world in 2022?
2022. What a year.
Oh my God.
You know, I'll tell you this about Green Bay. We played the Rams one year. It was really cold. Mike Holmgren was the head coach.
Yeah.
6'6". He had all this winter gear on. It's 80 below zero. And I didn't want to wear the moon boots.
Right.
So I had my tennis shoes on. I was a young guy trying to be cool. He looked at me and he said, Gruber, I'll bet you $100 you put your boots on at halftime. I said, I ain't wearing those boots. I froze my ass off. I ran in there in the locker room at halftime.
Yep.
I put those boots on. It gets cold in Lambeau, man. Cold.
Did you pay him the $100?
I did.
Yep. Hubs, we're still on the clock here. The Packers are at 249, 248.
Yep.
Obviously, offense, defense, they could go any direction. I feel like the last 4 or 5 teams, they could go this way, they go that way. There's no set direction they could go because this is a decent team.
This is a good team with a young quarterback that had some injuries last year. Josh Jacobs came in and really changed their style of play.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft became a really good tight end. Their receivers dropped a lot of passes. They really did. So they could use a guy like Golden to stretch the field and open up Kraft and some of these guys underneath. And Alexander missed most of the season. And you looked at the Bears getting Loveland today, the receivers that the Lions have. You never have enough corners, so I'm sure they're looking at these corners carefully and the receiver. And again, these 2 pass rushers can solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, the thing with Jair, he misses. If he's out, it's like almost like, yeah, sure, obviously Jair Alexander's out this week. It's almost a common occurrence at this point, so that's frustrating. So I'll take Will Johnson. Adam Schefter did just tweet that Johnson has a knee injury that apparently is scaring off a ton of teams. Don't love that, so that might be why he's falling a little bit. Golden isn't probably like the true one that I love because I feel like the Packers have a ton of receivers that are a 2 or a 3. You know, Jaden Reed kind of went invisible in the second half last year. Romeo Doubs is great. I like Wicks, if he can learn how to catch the ball a little bit. But, I don't know if Golden could be that one that draws a double team. But, like you said, Coach, he can stretch the field. So I would be all aboard that, especially with Watson out with the ACL. So, there's definitely some room with Golden there. I wouldn't mind Pierce or an edge rusher as well. rush the quarterback, but I'm good with anything here that's not an O-line or something boring.
Hubs, you can only have one guy here. You can't pick 6 guys.
I would love to pick 6, but they won't let me. Yep.
Yes, Shane?
So, Coach, you're obviously the quarterback guy. They're obviously not in the quarterback market. Where do you stand on Jordan Love so far in his career?
I'm right down the middle. I think he's a good play-action passer. He had ball security issues last year. This is a big year for him. He got the big contract. He missed some of the training camp, but he turned the ball over way too many times, and he took some hits. And I think if they have to throw the ball and they're in predictable passing situations, I don't think this offensive line, even though they're young, they have a lot to prove in that area as well. But I'm not 100% sold yet on Love.
Coach, do you like Aaron Banks? We just brought him in the offseason.
Who?
Aaron Banks, big man. He's our new addition to the offensive line. I'm hoping he can just bully people.
Yeah, I hope he can too. I mean, they got the right back that runs those power plays and gap schemes. So yeah, they want to be good up front for Jacobs and being able to run the ball to set up these play action passes. Let's see if we can get this pick
tonight
before curfew.
I like Elton Jenkins. That is my statement about the Packers offensive line. I love Elton Jenkins.
Center.
Mississippi State.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Frank, is this a nod to Wisconsin being the dairy state?
Yes, it is.
There's some freaky eyes on that cow mask, man.
Well, he's moving.
Oh boy, oh boy. There we go. What is happening to this draft? Why is it just stone cold stopped? It's like they're not only taking the 10 minutes, but they're taking the 5 extra minutes after the 10 minutes.
You're obviously very close to Wisconsin. You brought this up on the Yak today. I don't think Spotted Cow's that good.
You are so full of shit, man. It's a good beer. It's a good solid beer. You know, I'm not.
It's overrated. We're not crossing state lines to get Spotted Cow.
Well, I am. State line's a mile and a half from my house. All right, so we'll learn the Packers pick in just a minute. Big hug for this guy. Huge hug. Coach, who is that?
That's Murphy. He used to be the guy that ran the team, I believe.
Really? Okay.
Still is.
Mark Murphy. Wow, look at you. I don't know why I thought you wouldn't know that. You probably know everybody.
Good for him. President, CEO of the team, addressing the people, his fans. It's in Green Bay. Good moment for Packers.
I think this is his last year running. You can only run for so many years, and then you have to step down.
Wow, didn't know that. I don't think the Green Bay Packers have it in them, nor is this a draft worth booing somebody. But if it were New York and they didn't like the pick, they would boo. If it were certain places, if it were Philly, they would boo. I don't think Wisconsin would boo anybody.
I have been to a game, an absolute delight to go to a game at Lambeau.
Really?
Yeah, you park on the street in front or in people's lawns.
Yeah.
And then you tip them a suggested tip amount,
Sure.
and you just get to use their house. Their houses usually have urinals.
$200 this year.
200?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds worth it. There's plenty of times going to a football game I'd pay $200 for a toilet.
The time I went, it was $20.
Okay, all right. Well,
they're going to grill for you.
Inflation.
Brats, they're going to grill for you.
Mm-hmm.
You get access to their whole house, beer fridge, everything. Great experience. Love to go to Lambeau.
Fucking pick. What the Packers have been on the clock 15 minutes.
This waiting for every pick is going to give me an aneurysm.
Especially some of these masks that aren't very visible.
You don't have to wear the mask the whole time. Once we see the mask, you can take the mask off if you want to talk.
Yeah, well,
Let's go.
Committed.
All right, here it is. The pick is in. Hubs likes it.
A receiver.
It is Matthew Golden from Texas.
Bro, we went the whole Aaron Rodgers tenure without drafting him a receiver in the first round. This is a first in my adult life for sure.
He had Mercedes Lewis.
Well,
that's not a receiver.
It's a tight end? First round pick?
That's not a receiver.
It's a tight end, Hubs.
This guy ran 4.29. He can haul ass now. He's the fastest wide receiver at the combine. He played at the University of Houston, transferred to Texas, learned a new offense, only had about 55 catches for close to 1,000 yards. We had Quinn Ewers, the Texas quarterback, in our office for the show. Loves this guy. He's a team guy. He's unselfish. He'll have that Packer mentality, and he'll help Jaden Reed and Kraft and Jacobs, and he'll help Love get better. This guy's a weapon, and he can scare the hell out of you, man, because he can really run.
All right, Hubs, I want to thank you for showing up. I'm glad you liked the pick. Congratulations. So been doing some Pro Bowlers tonight. Let's just go straight legends. I'm going to rip off some legends here. We're going to go the Minnesota Vikings. How about a little Jared Allen action?
Oh, Jared Allen.
How about a little Jared Allen action for the Minnesota Vikings? There he is, Jared Allen.
What's
legend.
up, fellas? Hey, Coach, how are you?
What do you say, Jared?
Oh, just out here in Minnesota. Just got done at their draft party, and so excuse the noise in the background. Just got back to the hotel.
Solid season out of Minnesota last year. A team that's on the rise. Looked like they're going in the right direction. Obviously, the change at quarterback. But what's the mood around Minnesota right now?
I think it's optimistic. It's good, right? I mean, I think we're in a great position where we can we had a decent free agency class. We got some interior guys. We bolstered our O-line a little bit. D-line, obviously our defense is our defense. It performs at a high level. We got great wide receivers. I think we're in a good spot to really build our depth. I don't think we're in a spot where we need to reach for anything, and we don't need anything specific. So I think the mood is great. It's a great position to be in, right? If someone wants your pick, you trade it back. If not, you take the best available and probably build some depth with some future talent.
Jared, we're in late April right now, but in a couple of months, you're going to be making a pretty big speech. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame. Has that process begun? Are you writing the speech? Are you doing it? How do we feel about this whole process?
We'll wing it somehow. We'll throw some crap against the wall and see what sticks. I don't have a whole lot of profound things to say, so it'll probably be short.
Hey, Jared, one of the things I loved about you the most is you played almost every single play. A lot of defensive ends, a lot of defensive linemen, they tap out. They play 40% of the plays, 60% of the plays. You played every goddamn play 100 miles an hour. What was the key to doing that?
Man, first you got to be in great shape, right? You just got to want to be on the field. I mean, you got to. For me, I was just telling someone this day, technique beats technique, right? So I need to wear on you and grind on you. And in the NFL, there's a crazy statistic. At least it was when I was there. If you won 1 out of 17 pass rushes, that equated to roughly like 16 and a half sacks. So you have to be prepared to handle 16 failures. And you can't handle those. You can't gain knowledge. You can't gain information. You can't break a guy down unless you're on the field. And I just always assumed that, you know what, me being on the field was better than the next guy. So I need to be on there to try to make every play.
We used to try every way to chip you, nudge you with tight ends, blast you with our best people. Your factor grade, you would bat passes, just great effort plays. What are the guys today? Who are the 2 or 3 defensive ends today that you think kind of epitomize what you were all about?
Well, I'm a big fan of Myles Garrett. I really am. I think that's a guy who plays. He still has my heart because he plays on the right side. These guys play on the left side these days. I don't know what that's about. So Myles Garrett, obviously Max Crosby. That dude's full tilt, and I think he could be even better. I'm trying to think. I like the way Parsons plays. I just think that dude's tenacious. And what I like most about those guys, and even T.J. Watt, is they're ball players. They're just not sack numbers. Like you said, everybody wants to do sack numbers. They want to be sexy. They want to do that. But you got to be a ball player. You got to make impact plays all over the place. And here in Minnesota, we got 2 great guys too with Grenard and Van Ginkel. I mean, Van Ginkel, I think he's got a couple pick sixes this year. But yeah, I mean, if I had to choose one right now, Myles Garrett takes it for me. He's got that little bit of old school in him. Dude's still, I think he's probably got to be like 260 plus pounds. I mean, just beasting people at a high level.
So let's talk needs right now for the Minnesota Vikings. You have, on your mock draft, you had them going edge right here. Now, obviously, the one you picked isn't here right now, but you still think, a defensive lineman, a little bit of muscle up front, a little bit of speed up front. What are we thinking for the Minnesota Vikings right now in this moment?
I mean, they beefed up their defensive line. Jonathan Allen, big acquisition from Washington. Javon Hargrave, nice player. So they got a couple needs. I would like to see them with an edge rusher. But they, on offense, you look, Aaron Jones did re-sign. He is a little bit older. I'd like to see, Jordan Addison has had a really nice season. Did they have a third guy as Jalen Naylor, that third guy at receiver? And then T.J. Hockenson appears to be fully back. So I think they have a pretty well-rounded team that you can improve here at 24.
I think they need to look at safety. Cam Bynum was a good young safety. He left. He's no longer there. As much as I love Harrison Smith, he's getting a little bit older, but there are 2 great safeties on the board. I'd love to see Malachi Starks playing in this pressure defense for the Vikings.
But you're a Josh Metellus guy, right?
Well, Metellus plays nickel. Metellus is he's a chess piece. He plays all over the place, but I do think these 2 safeties are good enough to be considered. Looks like they're going to take an offensive guard.
In a little offensive line help? Well, the Donovan Jackson from Ohio State, they're going beefing up that offensive line. If you're a team that's on the come up, if you're a team that's comfortable with a lot of positions, Never hurts to beef off the offensive line in the first round or second round.
Well,
something
especially
like
when you
that.
give up 9 sacks in the playoff game. You'll take all the offensive line help you can get. Let's be honest, right, Coach? Let's call it what it is.
All right. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Jared Allen, the legend himself, Hall of Famer. Congratulations on all your success, and we thank you for being here.
Representing Eastern Idaho.
Representing 69. Let's go.
Hey, Gerald, you look great, brother.
All right. So we have what we thought might happen all night, Coach, has happened. We have the New York Giants have traded back into the first round. The New York Giants have just traded for this number 25 pick, which was going to be the Houston Texans, it looks like. So Matt Schaub will either have to wait or he might just no-show us later. Well, I mean, we got to talk about the New York Giants right now. Thank you to Matt Schaub, but we'll hopefully have that later. We'll see. But anyway, the New York Giants have done what we have suspected all night long. Will they trade back in to possibly get a first-round quarterback? And here they are. They have traded up. Is that Gilly right there? We're standing next to Dion? Yeah.
That's Gilly.
That's Gilly.
Gilly's joining our show later.
Yeah, so Gilly's standing right next to Dion. The Giants boys are here with us, maybe joining. So is it Rico? Boys,
Holy shit.
We thought we might see you again.
And quarterback, boys. Might be the market for a quarterback.
We have seen ESPN show us Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. What do you think, guys?
Is there a quarterback of these two, or maybe not even pictured?
I think it's between these two. I think it's Sanders, Dart, or Milroe.
You think Milroe's in this?
Dable was the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Coach Hurts. Hurts just won the Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people compare Milroe to Hurts, but I would love to see it be Jackson Dart. I think this guy has a huge upside. But I do know this. The Giants, if they can get Abdullah Carter and the quarterback they want, that's a nice stash.
It's a hell of a haul.
Man, that's a hell of a haul.
So, boys, you've got Shedeur Sanders on the board. You've got Jackson Dart on the board. You've got all the quarterbacks on the board, save one. What are you thinking, Rico?
Well, I know Ev is out on Milroe, big time. We talked about that today. Ev is out on Milroe. At this point, if they love Dart or they love Sanders, I'll trust them. They haven't had a great track record, but like he said, we'll get a guy and you're excited about a quarterback. Let's see how it works out.
We're on commercial break right now, but right before they went, it did look like Jackson Dart was handing out hugs in his draft party. I don't know if you can read into that, boys. I know that you've gone down the Ole Miss quarterback well before, and it treated you pretty well.
Eli, bring him back. Is this the new Eli? Dorky
Maybe,
Eli?
yeah.
No, maybe. Swaggy Eli. Swaggy Eli. I don't know anything about Jackson Dart. Might fuck your bitch, Eli. Oh, okay.
Rico, have you been wearing that helmet the whole time?
For the draft picks, yeah. Not the whole time. For the draft picks.
All right.
The Knicks did get a win. I might have to wear
Congratulations to our Knickerbockers.
Yep,
and those of us who had Knicks
Coach, what about shocking the world with your guy, Will Howard, my personal text friend? What if we shock the world here?
Oh, my
Will
God.
Howard, real
Will
high.
Howard.
He's an Ohio
I know this.
State
If
guy.
I was
What do we think?
coaching, I'd love to have him. I love Will Howard. I am going to be one of the first to admit I think Will Howard's going to be a really good pro quarterback. I like Dart. I got to spend a whole day with both of these guys. And either one of them, I think, is a huge upgrade for this New York Giant football team. And Shedeur Sanders is a guy that's made a lot of plays. I just love the fact that the Giants moved back up to get a quarterback to put in a room with Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion quarterback. Jameis Winston is a great guy. Somebody's going to have an opportunity to really get in a room where they can learn how to play the position, learn Brian Dable's offense, and be the future quarterback of the New York Giants.
So if it is Dart, and as you mentioned, they have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, how do you think the depth chart will stack up in the second week of September?
Well, obviously they're going to have to find reps to get Dart. They got to bring him along fast. Yeah. So obviously Jameis will probably be a guy that'll take a back seat, or they're going to make a decision. Is it Jameis or is it Russell Wilson? Maybe one of those guys isn't there. It's hard to get three guys ready, let alone one. But I just think this pick is going to be, I think it's going to be Jackson Dart from Mississippi. The guy makes the most difficult throws in the country. He has a vertical passing game. He can throw the ball in the cold weather. He is tough as hell. I mean, he'll take you on, man. I think he's nuts the way he's playing. His playing style's got to change. But they asked him to do a lot at Mississippi. They won 11 games 2 years ago. They were 7-0 his first year in 2022. He put Ole Miss football on the map, and he's rushed for over 1,500 yards, and he threw for 4,500. This guy did it in the SEC, and he did it consistently. I hope it is Jackson Dart. I think he'd be a really good New York Giant.
He is a damn good football player, and I think he has a pretty good pro ceiling. I will say he has turnover problems, especially in crunch time moments. I mean, the losses they had this year was because he didn't really show up. They lost to bad teams. They lost to Kentucky that they were better than. They lost to Florida that they were better than. They lost to LSU that they were better than. And he didn't really show up in any of those 3 games. Now, this is a different level, and I think he has a ceiling there, and I think he has a top to his game that isn't really that we could see. But he does have some questions.
Well, there's no question he has some questions.
Sure.
You have some questions.
I have questions.
I mean, you're a questionable son of a bitch, too.
I am.
But I tell you what, this guy has had a lot of consistency. They score a lot of points. They won a lot of games at Mississippi. And they have some receivers they distribute the ball to down the field. They have an excellent play caller. I think Lane Kiffin does a great job with this offense. It'll probably be another 45 minutes before the pick is in.
I think it's safe to say that Ole Miss is the premier program in that state.
And once again, 21 years ago, you guys came away from the draft with Eli Manning. He would end up winning 2 Super Bowls. And now you might be on the cusp of adding another Ole Miss quarterback or a Colorado quarterback. We don't know. We're talking Dart.
Jackson Dart broke old Eli Manning's school records for yards in a season and career.
And here it is. We find out who the Giants have traded back up in the first round to get. It is obviously a quarterback. I can't see a world it is not a quarterback. I haven't seen the New York boys yet. It is Jackson Dart, Ole Miss.
Jackson Dart, all right.
Wow. Jackson Dart is officially QB2 of the NFL draft in 2025. And, Coach, I wasn't trying to take shots at him. I was just trying to point the other side of the fence. But this is a guy with top-level ability.
He is, man. He's a great athlete. He played really good football as a true freshman at USC.
He did.
Clay Helton got fired, so he brought his game to Oxford, Mississippi. He went all the way across country, and he shredded people in the most difficult conference in football. I spent the whole day with him. I mean, Brandon, this guy's got a great brain. He loves football. His players love him. He gets the guys around him to play better. He's an excellent communicator. It's very important to him. He is a great-looking guy. They're going to love him in New York. It's exciting, man, to see this young man get his opportunity in the Big Apple, man. I'm excited for him. Quick arm, he's accurate, and he can really stand in there under fire and take some hits and deliver strikes.
New York boys, are you excited?
You get a guy from Ole Miss, the premier program in the state, head and shoulders above any other program in that state, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, that joke was worth repeating, Rico. All right, so goodbye, boys.
I did hear it the first time. He heard it. I didn't know he heard it the first time.
Yeah, no, I heard it. We all heard it. Anyway, you got it off. So, New York boys, thank you very much. Congratulations. Big night for you.
We'll take it. We're all Dart boys.
Hold on. Am I wrong here? The Falcons are on
the Falcons have just traded up with the Rams.
So the Rams have now traded out. The Falcons are now on the clock. I saw Big T walk in. I was like, the Falcons aren't on the clock, but here they are, and the pick is already in. We're going a mile a minute. We just have a quarterback go. What are the Falcons doing, Big T?
It's time to do it. Let's bring Shadur home.
Let's bring Shadur
Let's
home.
do it, boys.
Same team that drafted Deion Sanders, correct?
Yeah, I think Atlanta's in a great position. They just got a really good defensive player from Georgia. Why not go get a pass rusher?
Yeah.
There's a couple really good pass rushers sitting there, and they need that in Atlanta.
Teams are, like we said, we thought they might get active in this spot, trading back up as they see who has not come off the board. And obviously the Falcons see somebody out there that they wanted to come back up and get. I don't know what they're giving away to do it, as we're watching the Jackson Dart celebration.
First next year.
What's that?
No.
They gave up next year's first-round pick to move up to this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
goodness,
substantial.
Yeah.
That is quite the.
All right, so the Rams move back from 26. They also give up their third-round pick. They're getting number 46 overall this year, a second-round pick, a seventh-rounder this year, and next year's first-round pick.
Gotta be Shadur.
Who is this
Gotta
that they're
be
trading?
Shadur.
They're trading a first-round pick for the number 25 pick in the draft, or 6, wherever we are.
I think this might be for Big T's guy.
Who?
I think that
Don't play with me, Blutman.
I think they might be taking the big swing for your
Don't
boy.
play with me, Blutman.
James Pierce?
I think if you're investing that much capital, it has to be for someone with such booming potential. I think it's your guy.
You think it's James Pierce? You would
Don't
walk out
do
of
this
here.
to me,
You
Bloodman.
would,
This would be the best draft we've ever
you'd
had.
skip out of here.
This would be the best draft we've ever had.
If you're spending that much capital to go right here, who else would you be taking?
Mike Green?
So, Coach, let me
I don't
ask you
think
that.
You're saying that for Green.
Obviously, they're spending a little capital here. Obviously, they're taking a risk. They're taking a shot. What are they doing it for?
Well, they're doing it for their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they already got one really good player. Now's a chance to get two. They like this team. I still love Malachi Starks. He's another Georgia Bulldog.
Oh.
And you're talking about a 5-star character, a guy that started over 40 games. But I do like the pass rusher. Judon just didn't deliver last year. They could use another guy to get after the passer, man. The Buccaneers, they're going to throw the rock. They just got a Buku. They got all kind of firepower. Carolina added a big receiver.
Yeah.
I just think it's got to be one of these pass rushers. They gave up a lot. That was
They
surprising.
gave up a lot. And then we never saw, I don't know, did we ever see what the Giants gave up to move back up to get Jackson Dart? I don't know that we ever went over the particulars of that deal. But obviously the Falcons making a splash here, giving up next year's first-round pick for this pick.
The Giants gave up pick 34.
There it is. You're going to love it, Big T.
Number 99,
Don't
a
play
third-round
with
pick,
me,
and
Coach.
next year's third-round
James
pick.
Pierce,
Don't
baby.
play with me, Coach.
It is from the University of Tennessee.
Oh, let's fucking go.
James
Let's fucking
Pierce.
go, boys.
It is Tennessee volunteer legend James Pierce.
That'd be worth 8 first-round picks.
You just walked out of here. You walked in here wanting a little defensive help. You walked out of here with Jalen. Was it Jalen Walker from Georgia?
Yeah, Jalen Walker.
Yep.
Jalen Walker from Georgia, and
What a draft.
you thought they took him instead of James
What
Pierce.
a draft.
They took
knew
him
we could get our guy later.
in addition to James
Wow.
Pierce.
Wow. Take a bow, Terry Fontenot. What a draft.
All right, congratulations,
What a
Big
draft.
T. Is this the happiest somebody? Actually, the last two guys, the New York guys and him, walk out of here happy. Everybody else has been sad.
I mean, it's expensive. Hopefully for Big T, it turns out to be
What?
he's a boom player.
I don't like the trade. I think they gave up way too much.
Yeah.
I like Pierce. When you look at his flashy splash reel of 10 or 12 plays, you go, wow. But then there are some plays
There's
you're
some
like,
gaps.
where is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't think he's an every down player that you should give up that much inventory
Is he a
for,
designated
personally.
pass rusher for
I
you?
see him as a situational rusher. That's what he
But
is.
if you're able to unlock those 10 or 12 flash plays, and you're
well,
able
if
to,
the dog had to stop to take a crap, he would have caught the rabbit. I don't like that.
There we
you
go.
know what I mean? If you're going to give up a first-round pick and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
you better get a guy that you know
Right.
can get it done as a 3-down player. That's
Sure.
my opinion. But the guy does have ability, and you're seeing some of the splash reel right here on TV. He's got great get-off. He can get you on the edge. But can he stop the run? Will he stop the run? And how's he going to perform against some of these professional pass protectors? We'll see.
He's 6'5", 245. I mean, he's tight end size. So, right, Coach. Can he hold up against the run is the question.
I'll say this. If I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan and I was questioning my defense and I wanted my team to do something about my defense, they have at least, dug in and taken a big swing. They have said, we know what the problem is. We're going to try to fix it tonight. If they didn't fix it tonight, that's a problem for later. But they obviously have put great effort into it. Now, back on track. We had 2 trades in a row. It looks like, and I think I'm just trusting everybody here. I believe we're at 27, and the Ravens are on the clock. And you're talking about a perennial playoff team, perennial Super Bowl contender, perennial one of the better teams in the AFC. I don't know what they might be going for here, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, this could go a number of ways. Offensive line, Rosegarten was kind of up and down as a right tackle. Ronnie Stanley's had some health issues. He did play a full season last year. Cornerback is an area they could look at. I know Kyle Hamilton plays both the nickel and the safety, but Marlon Humphrey is really their main guy at corner. He's certainly getting a little bit up there in age, and productivity's fallen off a little bit. There are some different ways they can go. Is this the craziest spot for Jalen Milroe as a backup?
I was going to ask this question. We have 6 picks left in this first round. Shedeur Sanders, not to beat a dead horse, but also Jalen Milroe. We just saw the Giants trade up. Does that keep the Browns from thinking they need to trade up to get a guy? If they are still in the quarterback market, do they think, all right, the Giants are out of the picture. We don't have to worry about them. Maybe they can sit where they are at the top of the second round and get the quarterback. Or do they still get aggressive and possibly come get a guy, Coach?
Well, I think the Steelers and the Browns.
Yeah.
They got to be, they got to be looking hard at getting back in here and getting Sanders or getting one of these quarterbacks. Now, The Baltimore Ravens signed Cooper Rush, gave him a lot of money in the offseason to be the backup. So I don't think Baltimore is going to take Milroe. I go back to the two safeties, Malachi Starks and our friend from South Carolina.
Nick
They
Emanuari.
just play like Ravens.
Yeah.
They can be dime linebackers, big nickels. The thought of Malachi Starks playing for the Ravens, it just has me feeling nicey right now. You know that? Ooh.
Yeah. He really does look like a guy who would be a Raven.
Yes.
Like the Ravens
Yeah.
have this habit of sitting around this area of the draft and just this magical, awesome defensive player falls right in their lap. It feels like they do that a lot, and this could be in play right now.
They were 31st or 32nd last year against the pass. This is the number one rushing defense.
Yeah.
But they're 32nd against the pass. They gave up way too many big plays. Marcus Williams is gone. I just think solidifying that safety position, to get a guy like Starks to play with Kyle Hamilton, you can't do better than that.
That's crazy. Kyle Hamilton, of course, one of the great young players in the National Football League.
Right.
So we're waiting. The pick is in for the Ravens. We got a little Edgar Allan Poe action over here, Frank.
Yeah. From the whole family.
Yeah, I figured it's.
Why'd you say Edgar Allan Poe? Is that who it is?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Is that who it is?
That's who it is, right?
Yes, indeed. Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. Yes.
He's just a Poe man from a Poe family.
Yeah, it's a poet, writer. It's what the Ravens are named after, I believe.
Ravens mascot names.
Edgar Allan and Poe.
Really?
Bang, yeah.
Okay, didn't
What
know
does that
that.
got to do with the Ravens?
That's how they named the team.
Oh.
Yeah,
They're named after Edgar Allan Poe. Coach, you're too close to football, man. You gotta.
Quit looking at me with that
Ravens.
mask. I feel like I'm watching The Walking Dead or something.
You gotta broaden your horizon.
I'm gonna stab him with a fork.
All right, so we wait the Ravens pick. We don't have anybody joining us for the Ravens pick. We still have the Lions to come. We still have the Commanders to come, the Bills to come, the Chiefs to come, and the defending, reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are still on the clock. Now, obviously, any of these teams could trade out of those positions, but that is where we stand right now. Blutman, give me a ball no overtake right now. Give me a name, drop me a name that could go in the next 2 or 3 picks that we're going to go, wow, Blutman knew that.
Well, I kind of just did that with James Pierce thing.
Okay, well, you can't really
Yeah, but
retroactively.
That was good, Coach.
That was
good. Well, then you were good. I wanted to give credit to something else that I wanted to bring up when the Giants made the move up.
Yeah.
I didn't get the thought of. Joe Shane's kid last year told his dad, draft Jay Daniels. If you don't, you'll regret it. Well, they didn't draft Jay Daniels. What do they do this year? The kid's all in on Jackson Dart. Kid GM. Carson Shane made the move for Jackson Dart.
That's what you're going with?
Correct.
Okay.
In
And
the-
so are we
The kids run the show in New York, and I respect the heck out of it.
Are we in a new era of kid GMs?
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in that. I think we're actually our smartest when we're teenagers and high schoolers.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think it is for ball watching. I can tell you straight up, I was at my smartest ball watching wise when I was in high school, middle school, high school.
I'd rather have someone from high school drafting than Chris Greer.
See, thank you, Frank.
Oh boy! All right, we are finding out the Ravens pick. We are screaming to the finish right now. Goodell,
Oh, baby, it's my guy.
Is it? Oh, it is. It is. This is absolutely, and I'm going to announce right now, Malachi
Wow, look at
Starks
you.
from Georgia is the pick. And you know who this guy is? This is John Gruden's game-changing player of the draft, Malachi Starks, brought to you by Sport Clips. Sport Clips isn't just where you get a haircut. It's your playbook for looking fresh. You can walk in, catch the game, and sit back while the pros in men's hair handle the rest. And when you're done, walk out feeling like you're ready to take on anything. No hassle, no surprises, just a solid haircut every single time. It's simple, it's easy, it's made for guys who want to feel like they've got the home field advantage. And if you want to track your real-time wait times, download the app, check in online. Sport Clips, the haircut experience, dialed in for guys. It's a game changer. Once again, Malachi Starks is John Gruden's game-changing player of the draft, brought to you by Sport Clips. And why, Coach, is he your game-changing player of the draft?
Well, we spent a lot of time with him. He's down in Tampa training. He's in my office just about 3 times a week. He's what you call a badass, Stephen Shea. I mean, this guy can play nickel. He can play safety. He can play anywhere on the football field. He's got over 40 starts. He's an All-American. He's all SEC. The bigger the moment, the bigger the guy plays. He's got ball skills. You just saw that there if you're watching TV at home, but he's good in the box. He's good in the briar patch. He's a vicious tackler. He plays at full speed. Great communicator. And he's been well coached by Kirby Smart. They're a step ahead of the game at Georgia. They do a lot of pro concepts. He's going to fit so good with the Ravens. How would you like to go out there with Hamilton and Malachi freaking Starks? I mean, this guy walks in the room and you go, that's a first-round draft choice.
Yeah.
And you watch him on the field, the way he runs and moves and turns and interacts, the way he studies football. He's a 5-star kid, 5-star competitor, notorious badass out of Georgia. This guy's going to be a great Raven.
All right, we've been talking legends tonight. We've had a couple legends. I'm going to give you a legend right now. For the Detroit Lions pick, I've got Pro Football Hall of Famer and co-founder of Primitive Performance. It is Calvin Johnson Jr. I got Calvin Johnson here. I got the legend himself. Look at this. We got the Detroit Lions, and I got Calvin Johnson here. Calvin Johnson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Looking forward to this pick here. Enjoying watching you guys. What's up, John? How you doing, man?
Megatron, how you doing, man?
Well, wonderful. Thank you.
Is there any chance you could come back and just play one more year?
Man, my kneecaps might pop off.
You know, all the great things you did on offense for the Lions. I mean, spectacular. We knew, they knew, everybody knew they were going to throw you the ball. Double coverage, rotations, it didn't matter. What's it like now for you to sit there and see the Lions have turned the corner and have become a power in the NFL? What's that like sitting in your shoes?
You know, it's exciting to see just the city turn with it. You know, this is a sports town through and through, and we bleed blue for the Lions. And to see this team come around, to see Dan come back to Detroit. You know, I played with Dan. Dan is, you know, the same guy, authentic. You know, what we're seeing, you know, what you see on TV that's just who Dan is. And, you know, the culture that he has brought here to Detroit, the level of experience he's brought here to Detroit with the professional coaches that he's brought onto his staff. These guys played in the game, so the guys on the team, but it's hard not to buy in when you got guys that have been there and done that. So when we've seen this thing turn around for the better, and, you know, like I say, perennial playoff team. So just looking forward to, you know, this season. We got some new coordinators over there. So, I mean, this is a big pick for us too right here.
Every time I see a Lions game, I see you at the game. You're up in the luxury box. What are you doing now officially? What's Calvin Johnson up to with all his time?
Yeah. I manage a cannabis company called Primitive and a CBD company called Primitive Performance, who we been able to partner with the Detroit Tigers to be their official CBD sponsor. You know, it's important for us to be able to create products that professionals can use, that people that were in our shoes can use. So that's why we're NSF for Sports Certified, just so collegiate and professional athletes can use it. But just trying to create, be innovative in the natural wellness space.
Now, Calvin, after, you know, Herman Moore, after Johnny Morton, there was Calvin Johnson, the greatest receiver in Lions history, a Hall of Famer. But they got a heck of a bunch of receivers over there in Detroit with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Tim Patrick, and others. What are your thoughts on the Lions receiving core this year?
I love it. I mean, for us, it's just a matter of staying healthy. Somebody's going to go off each and every game. You know, we're going to have a 100-yard receiver, whether it's Saint, whether it was J-Mo, or, I mean, even, you know, Tim Patrick may have been able to come through and have some big games. Sam Laporte's going to do his thing. And obviously we got some running backs that catch the ball as well.
Love it.
You guys had so many injuries on defense last year. It was almost insane. Not only Hutchinson, I mean, just every level, the defensive backs, the linebackers. It just looks like the Lions need to add another pass rusher here. Even though Hutch is coming back, you lost Zaire Smith. What's your take the Lions do right here, Calvin? What do you think you would do if you were making this pick?
Man, I can't disagree with you, Coach. We just saw was it Pierce just come off the board?
Right.
You know, like, he might have been a target, but we still have the young man. Where's the guy from? The Boston College or
Donovan Ezeriku.
Yeah. Okay. That young man right there. Yep. So
well, you guys just took a defensive tackle from Ohio State. You just took Tyleek Williams,
All
big,
right.
massive run stuffer. So you got DJ Reader, and now you got Tyleek Williams inside.
We need that too.
Need that too. Calvin Johnson, I want to thank you for your time, man, and congratulations on all your success, and good luck. And we appreciate you being here.
Of course, man. Good to see you guys. Have a good one.
See you, Calvin.
All right, so that is again legend after legend after legend after legend. What are you doing?
Why don't we trade up and get him? We were at number 4 in, what was it, 2007? He was number 2. There was rumors we were going to get him. Why don't we pull the trigger there?
You know, Steven, my plane leaves here shortly. I want to get back to Tyleek Williams. I mean, here's a guy. He was also down training with us, Brandon. He was in there training at the Tampa facility. He's a massive guy. I think he's got to lose a little bit of weight personally to improve his pass rush. But here's an enormous man that can stuff the run, push the pocket. And if they get Hutchinson and Davenport back, this is a great pickup for Detroit because this guy really knows how to use his hands. He plays with great pad level. Going to be a good pro.
All right, the run of legends continues as we move from Calvin Johnson to PFT and Nate.
Wow.
The Washington Commanders are on the clock. I thought that was a compliment. I wasn't saying that sarcastically.
Hey, Coach Gruden, what would you give us in terms of draft grades for the people that you're working with here tonight? I'd like to hear your grade on Brandon and Steven.
Yeah, I give Brandon an F. And Steven gets a B minus.
F seems strong.
That was close to a C plus. You heard him start with a C plus. Then he's like, that seems mean.
I got B minuses throughout college and high school. It got me here.
He was just.
I'm at least passing.
Brandon's been a hell of a host. He's been an A plus.
Hey, Nate.
Coach, you recognize this jersey here?
How are you, Brandon?
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey Sanders still?
That's what I want.
Yeah, I know you want it. So I tried to buy this jersey for you during the Commanders playoff run. They didn't have it in the size that you wanted. I got one for me. I got this delivered to my house the day after
No way, really?
they lost. So I got this on Monday after the NFC Championship game. Then I just had to stare at it for about 3 months. But
That's
now I feel
my man
brave
right
enough to put
there.
it on. This
Still
guy's a beast.
It's a sick jersey.
Thank you.
All right, Nate, where are we at right now? Obviously, the team is the arrow is pointing straight up after Jalen Daniels last year, and now the playoff run. Where are we at right now, Nate?
Yeah, it's really good to be us. Like all night, you've had these sorry saps walking in here, like Dolphins fans and Jets fans and Chargers fans. We couldn't be happier. Like we went from number 2 last year, taking pretty much Jesus reincarnated, to picking 29th tonight, being able to go best player available, maybe go linebacker, maybe shore up safety or corner. But honestly, anybody we take, trust Adam Peters to do the right thing. Probably the best front office in the NFL right now. Couldn't be happier, Brandon Walker.
I never thought I would hear that about Washington, and I still don't believe it. But anyway, PFT, who's the player here?
I would just like to remind everybody that last year we took Jaden Daniels, and that's what really matters to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy. The big takeaway from the draft tonight, too, is that the draft is so much more fun when your team sucks ass.
Is it?
I kind of miss sucking ass just because, like,
Being in that first-
tonight
Yeah.
it used to be a fun night for me. Today
Right.
it's just like sit around, see all the players that you really want to get taken. Like, I wanted Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get him. So, yeah, I just trust the process.
March and April are a lot more fun when you got a top 5 pick, too.
Yes.
It sucks getting there,
Yep.
but when you have it, it's fun. But
Agreed.
I'm not going to cry for anybody that has the number 29
No,
pick because
don't
they're a
cry
damn
for
good
them.
football team. So the pick is in. We're going to find out soon. They're on commercial right
Stephen
now. We're going
Shea
to find
has
out.
us taking linebacker Carson Schweizinger out of UCLA, which actually I wouldn't hate at all based on what Stephen Shea wrote about him. We have Bobby Wagner, who's aging. Frankie Louvu's good. But you have to stop Saquon Barkley to make the Super Bowl, which we did not do last season. So getting a linebacker who can cover and tackle would be, pretty optimal.
These guys are basically handing out gold jackets
Yeah, they are.
to the whole
They are.
organization. The GM, the quarterback, they're all Hall of Famers now. They got to get a pass rusher.
Yep.
I mean, they got to get a pass rusher. Frankie Louvu was probably one of their best pass rushers. He's a linebacker. Let him play linebacker. We still have our guy at Boston College. We still got our guy Mike Green at Marshall. I'd love to see Coach Quinn, who's a defensive line coach at heart, get somebody that can really improve the pass rush. I can see that happening, and I love the safety from South Carolina to replace Jeremy Chin because we lost Jeremy Chin to Tampa.
I actually had him ranked higher than Malachi Starks. I misspoke earlier when I said that, just in in case we end up.
Oh, we're
taking
doing
them.
this again. The PMT guys, man.
I said that last year. Hey, Brandon, check the tape.
You
check,
guys retroactively.
Check your fucking tape, Brandon. Last year, Brandon fucking Walker.
When
we drafted Jaden.
Hey, you don't come in here and get after my host. This is my host, man. He's the man.
I told the world I had Jaden Daniels #1 ahead of Caleb Williams last year.
He did say that.
And I was right. So put some respect
That's
on my
not
goddamn
what I was talking about. I was talking about you acting like the safety. You just said Malachi Stark.
I love Malachi Stark.
What are we looking at?
I love Mike Green. He was a great defenseman for the Caps in the early 2000s. Now he's going to be a great pass rusher for the Commanders in the early 2020s.
He's also from the area.
What I love about the Commanders, PFT, is not only did you have a great offense last year, you went out and got Laramie Tunsil to be your left tackle, and you got Deebo Samuel to go with Noah Brown and Terry McLaurin. This is going to be a hell of an offense. I can't imagine them not taking a defensive player, either the safety or one of these two edge rushers.
So is it confirmed we got Mike Green?
No,
or was that just Nate saying
That's
it?
Nate saying it. Now, he might have confirmed it somewhere else. The pick is in. They're entering. They're going to the podium right now. It is not. We are finding out that it is, in fact, an offensive tackle, looks like. Is that an offensive tackle?
Nate, what did you just do to me, Nate?
They showed it on the TV.
Josh Connerly Jr.
They showed it.
From Oregon. Give me some thoughts about Josh Connerly Jr. because I don't think PFT knows what he's thinking
Well,
right
no,
now.
I had Josh Connolly Jr. ranked right ahead of Mike
Starks?
Green. No, of Mike Green,
Mike Green.
and then Malachi Starks. But yeah, Gruden knows what he's talking about. So Green.
I thought Brandon Coleman was a really good rookie right tackle. I thought they liked him. They just drafted him last year, and the left tackle they had from the Kansas City Chiefs, Wiley. They brought in Tunsil. So now. There's another tackle. This guy's all Big Ten. This guy's a hell of a player. He plays 100% of the snaps.
With this,
is somebody moving to guard?
It might tell me that we had a guard Cosme get injured against the Lions last year. It looked like a pretty gnarly knee injury. So I thought the plan was going to be move Coleman over to right tackle, and then let him kind of move around, maybe fill in at guard because he's a versatile player. But yeah, I guess we're getting younger.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a $500 million quarterback. I want to protect him at all costs. You can't have enough tackles.
You know who this guy is? I was on a plane. This was before Oregon played Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl, I believe.
Sure, yeah. Beat them to death.
I was flying to Arizona, and on the plane, this guy walked on. And I saw how big he was, and I said, oh, Oregon's going to smash him. Not even close. And it was because this guy's so big, so we got a real big guy.
This guy's a hell of an athlete. He played running back in high school.
Wow. I love that.
And they convert him to play left tackle for the Ducks, and you can't deny his athleticism. I bet Andy Reid and the Chiefs are kind of ticked off because I think Kansas City was hoping to get a couple of these tackles to fall to them to protect Mahomes.
He scored on a direct snap this year.
All right, PFT.
Maybe a fullback. Maybe put him at fullback for a little bit.
He scored a touchdown in his freshman year.
PFT, Nate, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry I lost my temper.
On your, I don't know why you did. I wasn't even saying the thing you thought I was saying.
Okay.
All right, well.
Check the tape.
All right, well, experts. All right, so we're going to go. We got the Buffalo Bills up there. 5 minutes left on the clock. The Bills, we are down to the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. Isn't it remarkable? The different dispositions of the fan bases here at Barstool. You have some walk in, they're miserable, they hate the world. You got the Commanders fans, which was 365 days ago, they would be miserable and hate the world. Now they're on top of it. It's just up and down, up and down.
That's why I enjoy working with you because you're a miserable sumbitch year round. And it's a consistent quality that you have.
You know what you're getting.
So let's go to Buffalo. Who have I got for you? I got a little Deion Dawkins.
Ooh. Wow.
Deion Dawkins
man.
For the Buffalo Bills. There he is, the man right there. Things are good in Buffalo. Things are good. Playoff team every single year. What's the mood of in Buffalo?
The mood is get to work, man. The mood is get to work. We just got started. OTAs got started. And, obviously the draft is here and we're looking to, get over that hump.
Coach, when a player says the mood is get to work, I heard you smile over there. You like that shit, didn't you?
I do. Deion, you guys played so well as an offensive line. I mean, Josh had the MVP season, and usually that's because the guys up front played well. But Aaron Cromer's a good friend of mine, your offensive line coach. Maybe just give me one or two things about this Buffalo Bill offensive line that has allowed you guys to really take off. What are the key components?
And you said it best. It's Cromer. It's definitely Cromer. It's Cromer has allowed
the O-line to be who they are. They don't make me play like Spencer. They don't make Spencer play like me. They don't make Osiris play like Dave. And they let Connor be the center. And, as a team and as a coach, we could appreciate that because we're all different. I'm not the tallest tackle. Spencer is the tallest tackle. So why should you teach me everything that you're teaching Spencer when Spencer is this Eiffel Tower of a man and I'm like this, giant calf muscle as a tackle. So it's just like I appreciate Chrome. Chrome allows us to be us. But when you got an MVP quarterback, you know, the explosion is there. And that's kind of what it is. But I'm excited, Round 1, pick 30, who we about to get?
You guys are a very unselfish team. I mean, you throw it to 3 different tight ends, 3 different running backs carry it, all kind of different receivers. What do you think the Buffalo Bills need with this pick to help you guys get all the way over the top?
Man, I'm going to tell you the truth. If I know anything about this football team, I think we're probably going to get like a corner. I think we're going to get a corner. I think we're going to get a nice defensive player, and we're going to hit the ground rolling because, the more we could do with defense, the better and we could do. But, Josh has weapons. Like, not that we don't need anybody. I'm happy whoever and we get. But I would like to see a defensive player come off of the board in round 1 to help us with the deep balls and things like that.
So you're going to be practicing against your new teammate, Joey Bosa, very soon. How excited are you to be going up against him every day in practice?
Man, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait because when players are good like Joey, and you got tackle like me and a tackle like Spencer, it's just gonna make everybody better, and I'm happy for it. But we'll see. We shall see, man. Joey is one of those football guys, so hope he brings that football life to it. Look, and we're picking now. I think we're picking right now.
You are. And Shay, Deion Dawkins said he thinks they're going defense here. What do you think?
Yeah, I could certainly see them going defense.
If we pick a defensive person, I'm jumping in the pool.
You jumping in the pool right now?
I'm jumping in the pool if we pick a defensive back.
All right. Well, we're going to get to see. Oh, boy. I want to see him jump in the pool. I don't really care about who the pick is. I just want to see him jump in the pool. That's all I want to see in my life.
Now, Deion has been a big proponent of making an offensive lineman of the year. Deion, did you know that I run the Block of the Year award? You've actually been a finalist before.
I did not know that.
Yes. Your block, I believe, was against Denver. Or New England, where you took out a couple guys way down the field.
100%. Yo,
yes.
And the crazy thing is, like, we call that tackle pull. I actually broke somebody's scapula, man.
So it is a cornerback. Hey, get in the pool.
Maxwell Harrison, cornerback.
Maxwell Harrison, cornerback from Kentucky. He's going to the pool. All right, here we go.
Go.
Yes. Where's the phone going? Oh, he just jumped in with the phone.
In the pool.
What? He's in the pool.
That's the best interview in Barstool history. Way to go, Doc. Great job.
That's awesome. Deion Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills. So excited about their pick of Maxwell Harrison. He has jumped in his pool. How excited are you, man? He might not be able to hear us.
He can't hear you.
The phone's all wet. All right, that was awesome. That was incredible. Thank you, Deion Dawkins, for giving us that highlight. Congratulations to you and the Buffalo Bills. Well, that was great.
That was great.
That was a little juice that we needed to get the last couple of picks. The Chiefs, by the way, the Chiefs have just traded the pick to the Philadelphia
who is
Eagles.
Picking right after them?
The Chiefs and the Eagles.
We got a Super Bowl trade?
A Super Bowl swap here at the end. Now, what makes sense of this for me, Coach? You've got the team at 32 trading with the team at 31 to take their spot. What is the logic behind this?
Unless they both thought they were taking the same player. I have no idea.
But why would
this
the
trade.
Chiefs?
I don't know why you would do this.
I mean, per my mock draft, the Chiefs.
I'm just watching this Deion Dawkins get out of the pool. I'm more interested in that. And this, I want to go back real quick on this Maxwell Harrison guy from Kentucky.
Yes, please.
2 years ago, he was one of the top corners in the SEC. He got hurt this year, had a little hamstring. Put the Vanderbilt game on. This guy has 2 pick sixes. I think the only downside of this kid is he's light and slight. He's only about 178 pounds.
Sure.
You know, can he come up here and tackle the big backs consistently? But he can cover, man. Great ball skills. And I know Sean McDermott, Deion Dawkins, they were probably looking at this kid from the jump.
All right, Coach, buckle up because the Eagles are on the clock. And when the Eagles are on the clock at the Barstool Draft Show, That means Gilly's in there in the picture.
Yes.
And who knows what's going to happen? There he is, Super Bowl champion, Gilly. You're on the clock, Gilly.
I think we'll take either a defensive lineman or a cornerback.
Now, wait a minute, Gilly. This is the lowest key I've ever seen you. You're almost just whispering right now. Why are you so low key?
Well, I'm at a draft party right now with Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, we saw you.
And everybody's watching the draft, so I don't want to interrupt what everybody's doing.
But what if this is an exciting pick? Are you going to be able to hold it in? Okay.
Not at all.
Well, the Eagles pick is in. So he's trying to be all cool. But it could get crazy here in a minute. We just had Deion Dawkins jump in the pool, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so Jay, what do you think right
Well, we've
here?
also got definitely.
Oh, Max is here. Hey, Max.
Hello, Mr. Walker. How are we doing?
You are also a little low key, but it looks like you're ready to pop.
Pick in the
I don't-
2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Maxwell
Oh.
Harrison. Let's go.
Where's this coming from?
I thought that was something that I was supposed to be.
That might be.
listening to.
That's from Gilly's party.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're a little bit behind.
That's okay. That's okay. No,
Yeah.
I can't necessarily say that I'm a big draft guy and know exactly what's going on here, but I trust Howie. Howie moved up.
Yes,
and I'm
he
going to
did.
trust Howie with his. I'm going to put my trust in Howie. If he has a guy that he wants to go up and get, Howie's going to get a guy that's going to be right for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So you have no idea who could possibly be the pick here.
There's a safety from South Carolina.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
I'm just looking at the best available and thinking of like what we could use.
Yeah, Gilly, thoughts? You like a safety? You like defense? You like offense? What do you?
Yes,
thinking?
I do. I think our offense is already set up. The defense is where we need to attack.
I mean, we just won a Super Bowl, so we're not that worried about the draft right now.
No, you are worried about the draft because you want to win another Super Bowl.
No, but we have a guy who can worry about the draft for us. Howie knows more about the draft than I will ever know. So who am I to go into a show like this and tell Howie how to do his job?
We're not telling you to make the pick.
That's what it would be doing.
Feisty for his size.
Coach, you've obviously been a huge proponent of the safety from South Carolina all night. You like this kid a lot.
Yeah, I do also know that Nakobe Dean got hurt last year for Philly. They might be looking at Campbell. They might be looking at a linebacker.
Sure.
I do love the safety from South Carolina. Darius Slay, he left. He went to Pittsburgh. Sweat, Milton Williams, two really good players in the front four are gone. I still like our pass rushers from Boston College and Marshall, Mike Green, Campbell from Alabama. But I think Max said it wisely. No one's really done better at the draft than Howie Roseman.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just shocked he traded up one pick. I've never heard of that happening very often.
They also, if it is Campbell who has, a labrum issue, they took Nakobe Dean when he had an injury coming out of college, so they're no stranger to that if he is the pick here.
Can't tell if Gilly's frozen or just remarkably still.
No, just remarkably still.
Yeah, that's the most still I've ever seen you. You're usually just moving all around, but you have found a corner of that draft party and you were just posted up.
Yeah.
Look at it. There's the party right there. We're inside the Sanders draft party.
So wait, are we getting Gilrell Owens to lead the Eagles out of the tunnel during the regular season, or is that just a playoff thing?
No, that's the regular season, playoffs, whenever. Bring the great energy.
Well, we are waiting. The pick is in, guys, so we are waiting. They know who the pick is. We're just kind of waiting for ESPN to pay some bills here as we find out who the pick is, whether it's defense, whether it's offense, whether it's the safety from South Carolina. It could be offensive line help. You mentioned the Chiefs. You thought they were looking for offensive tackle help here. Maybe when they didn't get it, maybe when the guys got picked, they said, screw it, we'll just get out of here. But they only moved back one spot.
Yeah, and pick something up. And maybe Josh Simmons from Ohio State, the injured left tackle, is what Andy Reid and the Chiefs are looking at. But right now, I think Philadelphia, coming off that Super Bowl win, has to fortify their front four. Losing Milton Williams, losing Sweat, they might want to try to find some players that can come in and contribute right away.
Tell me who's still on the board that can fit that profile that he just said.
As far as defensive tackle?
Front four,
defensive
line.
I mean, defensive lineup, the Boston College guy, Donovan Ezeriku. Mike Green, who I think is a really good player, but definitely does have a little bit of character stuff you have to be okay with.
This is where Howie got Nolan Smith a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's an undersized pass rusher out of Georgia. Everybody was bitching about he can't stop the run. Well, now he's a player. That's why I like our guy from Boston College.
Yeah.
You put these guys in this Vic Fangio system. Fangio has developed a lot of young players. They got a lot of first and second year players, and they're going to find another one right here. You'll see.
It's a shame the Georgia defensive players, for the most part, are off the board right now because this is usually what the Eagles like to do late in the first round, just grab the Georgia defensive player that's available. We'll find out shortly, boys. And Gilly, you bored to death over there? You look like an oil painting.
I can't even believe that's Gilly.
I'm a little nervous right now.
Gilly, what's the vibe in the house? Where do we feel like Shedeur is going now that it would seem the Giants are off the board?
The vibe in the house was we thought he was going in the first round, and he didn't go. So God knows best. So wherever God places him, that's where he's going to go do his thing.
So the Eagles received the 31st overall pick in the draft. The Chiefs, in exchange, got the 32nd pick and a 5th rounder. So they got a 5th round to go back one spot.
I have a question. Did the Chiefs must have known who the Eagles wanted to get and reached out to the Eagles and been like, I'm picking him unless you give me a 5th round pick.
It could have been they wanted Hairston, who just got picked, and then they were comfortable with a couple guys.
Take up a little asset.
Quarterback, Adoree Jackson.
They are taking right now. Your selection is Gilly. His name is the linebacker from Alabama that Coach has been talking about. Jihad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama. So you got a linebacker.
Okay, I'm happy
This guy's
with that,
interesting,
fellas.
man. This guy sure looks the part. I mean, if
I'm
you
happy
talk
with
about
that.
a guy that looks like a linebacker, it's Lance Briggs type build. I mean, he is big and strong.
That's
and
a good
fast.
name.
He has some missed tackles. He doesn't break down. He overruns some plays. He's been criticized for that. But this guy, really good football player. I think Alabama's defense, without Nick Saban, took a step back last year. Perhaps hurt this kid. But this guy will rock you, man. He'll be a great Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, Gilly, not that excited with the pick because he just let out the biggest yawn I've ever seen in my life.
No, I've been here for hours since 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, Gilly, thank you for joining us. I'll let you get back to the party, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate
Max,
you, B.
We'll have a discussion later, me, you, and Coach, and we'll fill you in on who this linebacker is because you have no idea.
No, he looks great. He looks like Howie's guy. He looks like he's going to swarm the ball handler right there. I'm watching
the ball
tape.
handler? We doing basketball now?
He's swarming the ball handler right there, and it's depth. That's all we need. There's no glaring holes in
That's
the
not
Philadelphia.
depth. That's probably a starter.
No, it's.
I don't know.
It's probably not. It's not. That's not going to be a week one starter.
I don't know.
If
it depends, I guess, if Dean is healthy or
Yeah,
not.
if Dean is out, then yeah, he certainly could.
All right, then he could be.
So he just had surgery in March to repair a torn labrum. If he doesn't have that surgery, I think he goes in the top 20.
Okay, love it. That's how I knew about my guy, Jihad Campbell.
All right,
he's a Philadelphia Eagle. Howie's guy. We got Howie's guy. That's a win for me.
Leave this room, Max. Thank you. He was just going to say it was Howie's guy regardless. That's all he was going to go with. Anyway, the last pick of the draft is in. The Chiefs pick is in. John Gruden. So far, so good. We've had some trades. We've had some moves. It hasn't been an explosive night, but it's been a pretty good night, I'd say. What's been the story so far?
Well, the story for me is Jackson Dart going ahead of Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
I think that's an incredible thing. The Jaguars trading up, giving up a lot to get Hunter with the second pick in the draft. I think that was a shock to me, honestly. And I love the fact that the Giants did what they did. They took a lot of heat last year for losing Saquon and McKinney and whatnot, but they go get Abdullah Carter to go with Brian Burns, Thibodeau, and they got Dexter Lawrence, and then they go get up and get Jackson Dart. That's exciting for the New York Giants.
Yeah, I think the Falcons also got to look at as a team that made some moves today. Whether Jalen Walker is a prospect that was a nice fit right there. Whether you're playing at stand-up linebacker or at edge is an interesting decision. But then they also mortgage a little bit of the future by next year's first-round pick coming in, getting James Pierce. It'll be interesting to see how those moves work out for them.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are a team that really surprised tonight with their aggressiveness. I love the fact that the Giants rolled the dice and did what they did. Whether it pays off or not, you got to show your fans you're going out there and you're fucking trying, man.
Yeah, they got two really good players too now.
They did. And you know what? Shout out to the Jags too, because that trade early was a nice jolt to the draft. It was like, wow, we're here, we're here, and they gave up a shit ton to do it. And the Browns The Browns might have made out like bandits, but we'll, yes.
It reminded me a little bit of whatever it was, 06, 07, whenever it was the Joe Thomas and Brady Quinn year, how the Browns were sitting at, I think it was 2 or 3, and they did take Joe Thomas, but there was some local pressure at least to get Brady Quinn. They did go back in the 20s and get their guy. If Dart was the Giants' guy, then that's exactly what they did too.
I like Dallas's first-round pick, Booker.
Yeah,
he's still bouncing off the walls in Green Bay
Yeah,
somewhere.
that was probably the most electric entrance I've seen in a while from a draft pick. That guy really bounced. He was bouncing. He was dancing. He was hitting the logos. He was doing that. He grabbed Goodell, threw him around.
But he might be the straw that stirs that young offensive line.
Yeah.
They took a young offensive tackle in the first round last year. They brought in Cooper Beebe in the second round to be the center. Took a first-rounder out of Tulsa 3 years ago.
Yep.
They've
Thomas
invested
Smith is a
another
good player.
first-rounder today in Booker, but he might be that guy that really gets them together and raises their level up front.
The straw that stirs the drink.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's the Chiefs going to do? They got to take an offensive lineman, don't they?
I would think so. Boy, Andy looks real. He looks real flustered about it, doesn't he? He looks like he's really put out. He's really putting a lot of thought into this. But anyway, yeah, offensive line. But this is a team that year in, year out, they're just plugging some holes here and there. They're never.
Well,
it doesn't feel like they're wholesale. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
They struggled offensively last year.
Okay,
I mean,
fair
Joe
enough.
Tooney went to Chicago. Joe Tooney played left tackle.
Okay.
They don't have left tackle.
All right. Well, there
That's
you go.
why perhaps it is Josh Simmons, the injured Ohio State Buckeye. Maybe they put him on a shelf, and Andy Heck, the offensive line coach, I know would do great things with him, but they got to address the left tackle position. They couldn't block Philadelphia in a Super Bowl.
I liked your thought process. Maybe they traded back because they were sitting there thinking the tackle was going to fall to him. He didn't, so then maybe this was even to buy him a little time to say, all right, well, what are we going to do here when that happened? But anyway, we'll find out shortly.
If
the
they
Chiefs
weren't
are
going
on
to
the
take
clock.
Jihad Campbell, it's a smart move because you pick up a 5th-round pick and you're no worse for the wear.
Yeah, now you're going to get who you want anyway. So the last pick of the first round belongs to the Super Bowl losers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and we find out who that is right now. It is, in fact, the offensive tackle from Ohio State, exactly what Coach said. He nails another one. Josh Simmons. Chiefs fans are thumbing down. They have no idea who Josh Simmons is. I have no idea why they're doing that.
This might be the steal of the whole draft.
You like him, huh?
If he's healthy, he's the best tackle in the draft the way I see it. This guy's a shutdown left tackle. He has length, he has athleticism, and he has nastiness. This guy will plant you. I love this cat. He got hurt, unfortunately, for Ohio State and missed most of the season, but I'm sure the Chiefs have done a real good job studying his medical, seeing that he's going to be ready to play.
Boy, just from what I've seen, 2 plays, his tape looks. He is.
You see that?
He is popping off the screen. He's killing people out there.
Yeah, I mean, he played 6 games this year, but he's a really talented player. He can play on the left side or the right side, and yeah, really versatile player.
So I guess that puts a bow on the first round with the Chiefs getting that offensive tackle help that you guys both believe they desperately needed. So let's do a little recap. Obviously, going into day 2, Shedeur Sanders still there, Travion Henderson, still some receivers, still the safety that you've liked all night from South Carolina. Still a lot going on, but that is a wrap for night one, the first round of the draft. Che, I know you have some business to take care of.
Yes, now the draft, the first round of the draft is officially over. We've got a killer deal for you. Head on over to the DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers who bet just $5 will instantly score $200 in bonus bets. That means with just a small bet, you're loaded with extra power to back your predictions and cheer on your picks. Whether you're watching the draft or gearing up for the season, this is your chance to join the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Barstool Draft, all one word, Barstool Draft. The crown is yours.
All right, let me hand out my draft grades for the first round. Liam Blutman, A+. Frank the Tank, A+. John Gruden, A+. Stephen Shea, A+. How about that? Huh?
That's pretty damn
How about a little niceness to go around, a little positivity to end the night, huh?
Love you, brother. That was good.
An F. You gave me an F,
I
Coach.
thought Frank the Tank did a great job.
Yeah,
man.
he was good.
The piano playing, the hats.
I was shocked.
What was the guy's name from the Ravens?
You didn't know Edgar Allan Poe was the
heard of
reason?
him. I've heard of him.
Yeah, but you didn't know he was the Raven? Okay, anyway, whatever. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing all that. Again, DraftKings, the crown is yours, all that. We thank all our sponsors. Thank everybody who was a guest. That is the 2025 Barstool NFL Draft Show.